Let's go.
Wipers!
All right. We're in. All right, Nick, you want to kick us off, my man?
It's Friday. We dropped an episode today, and now we're recording another one. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Travis Warren in the house.
Hell yeah. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is my adoring fan.
Travis and I go way back. We first met as soon as I got out of the Army in 2013, doing executive protection for probably one of the most hysterical individuals in all of San Diego. And worked that live pretty well. And one of the funnier parts about it is as soon as I showed up to the detail, I got read in, everybody's like, yeah, hey, what's up, brother? And they're like, don't talk to that guy.
like dick measuring contest.
Not the first time in my life that's happened. I'm usually that guy, like, hey, don't be friends with that guy.
Yeah, and so they told me not to be friends with that guy, and then sure as shit, I ended up being friends. He was my only friend at the entire fucking detail.
It's funny how that works.
They're like, great, now we got two of these guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then hence probably why I ended up getting fired.
Yeah, it's all right. I was right behind you on that one, so it's all good, man. Anybody who was worth a shit in that company got fired, so.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But, yeah, when I reported too, they did the same thing. They were like, hey, this guy over here, Larry, like, don't talk to him. He's a cancer or whatever. Of course, me and that motherfucker became, like, best of friends, too. So we're like the outcast, man, the broken toys.
Dude,
We're like,
sucks,
whoever
man.
they said don't be friends with, I'm like, I'm probably going to be friends with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other, opposite end of that spectrum was just the goat ropes, the people that suck dick in order to, like, stay in positions, I don't know.
People do that?
They drink the Kool-Aid.
You can.
Yeah.
You actually can do that.
So, Travis, let's kind of go into it. Give us a little bit of your background.
I guess, I'm originally from Santa Cruz, California. Grew up in the high desert, not far from here in a shitty town called Victorville.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't usually like telling people where it's at because they're like, yeah, I've heard of that place. So I joined the Coast Guard to get the heck out of that place.
I've driven through there before.
That's the only reason you should ever be there. If you don't have a court date or something, you're not visiting somebody up in the prison up there. They have like the American Taliban guys up in that prison.
Oh, that's where that guy is?
They have like some historical people in this prison.
Is it a
up there.
federal prison?
Yeah. They have 3 of them up there.
Wow.
They may have even more. So the old George Air Force Base is just converted into like prisons now. So when I was growing up there, it was all during the Gulf War. So it was like an active military base. And it's like A-10s and shit flying out all the time. And then it's just slowly turned into Gang Central. And so graduated high school, joined the Coast Guard, did the Coast Guard active duty for about 8 years. And then got in the private sector doing executive protection right out of that. Did that for a year. Hated it, went back to school for 3 years, then was like, fuck it, I'll give that another try. And lo and behold, that's how me and Nick became friends, and like we became friends instantly. It was like the only person I met that actually had anybody's back. It was the most toxic group of people I've ever worked with in my life. Doing like the executive protection is not a job I'd ever do again. It was cool to say you did it, but like I pretty much hated most of the time I was doing it. I did it for about 6 total years. And then kind of went to the private sector and found myself doing on the side photo and video, and kind of Nick gave me the intro to that. And then here I am talking to you, gents. So,
all right.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
So what was the Coast Guard probably has minimal or multitude of options. Like, why the Coast Guard out of all of them? Just because you want to stay on the West Coast?
No, actually, my entire life, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And because of this movie right here,
Nice.
Navy SEALs, I was like, I'm going to join it, man. This is the only, and I had every advantage to go do that. I played water polo, swam. I had friends that were Navy SEALs that would go down, like when I was a little kid, would come down to Coronado and like watch guys train and shit. And I even got the recruiting packet when I was like 14 years old.
The warning order.
Yeah, and I'd watch the video. Dude, I'd watch it every day, and I was a lifeguard at the time, junior lifeguard. So I'd go to the pool and practice my drown proofing and all this shit. And then that movie when they're about to jump out of the plane, and Charlie Sheen's like, for God's sakes, be careful. And then Bill Paxton goes, if I was careful, I'd join the Coast Guard. And I was like, so there's an option, Coast Guard. So, and then the day I realized I was not going to join the Navy or be a SEAL, we had a swim meet in the middle of winter. It was snowing. And I was like, I remember our pool deck was outside, and I was like, this is crazy. We're going to go like actually do this and cancel it. And I had to go outside to like get my Speedos out of the dryer. And I remember I was so cold. I was like, I don't think being a Navy SEAL is for me, man. I don't like this cold stuff. So I actually was going to join the Air Force. I enlisted in the Air Force right after 9/11 because I really didn't want to join the military for a little while. And 9/11 hit, and I was like, I'm joining the military. And I was going to join the Air Force. My brother's in the Air Force. My stepdad's retired. And my stepdad one day comes up to me. He's like, dude, you're going to hate your life in the Air Force. You're not going to be near the water. I was like, well, I'm not joining the Navy. And he's like, dude, join the Coast Guard. I was like, I don't know what that is. So I met with a recruiter. They gave me a pamphlet. And I was like, you guys can let me leave before the Air Force. Like, I'll go tomorrow. They called me like, can you leave this week? And I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
So I learned about Coast Guard on the way.
You're over like 6 feet tall too, right?
So we can walk, to shore.
So if the boat sinks, you can walk to shore.
I'm still under. Yeah, I was a little short. I had to get the waiver. Yeah, I had to get the waiver for that one. So like, yeah, you could probably walk a couple feet and be above water. But yeah, I learned about the Coast Guard, and I wanted to be a rescue swimmer. That was like why I joined. But yeah, I learned about it on a pamphlet on the way to boot camp, and I got there and I was like, what the hell am I even doing here? So, but kind of fast forward a few years, I was lucky enough to go to boot camp again. When I went back into the reserves, I had like a 10-year break in service, so they freaking sent me back to boot camp, which was the most humbling shit you could ever do at 35 years old.
I bet.
Dude, bro, let me tell you, watching kids cry in front of you because they're getting yelled at, and you're just sitting there like tears rolling down your face, you're laughing internally, and you're like, what is going? But at the same time, you feel like you're this big. You're like, what am I even doing here? But
where's the Coast Guard boot camp? Like New York
New
or something?
Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
So yeah, when I went through boot camp in 2002 when I was 18, right out of high school. It was middle of winter. I mean, I went, I guess, October into December, so I got to see like how shitty New Jersey actually can be. Like the weather is insane. I wonder everybody's angry out there because it goes from the hottest place humid place you ever been to like the coldest place you ever been in like 2 months. Yeah. Places suck. So, I found myself there. I was like, had no idea what I want to do. I was like, I'm going to be a rescue swimmer because that's the only thing that I had on the pamphlet that showed that looked relatively interesting. And that's took a different route kind of on accident from there.
How did that different route even come about? Like, if you were trying to figure this out on a bus, right. When did you figure it out?
So, so we have, like, in the Coast Guard, we don't have as many rates as the Navy. Navy has, like, 65 rates or something like that, and the Coast Guard has, like, 20. So you have, like, 20 different jobs you can choose from, and they're all kind of combined. So you're, like, you have GMs, and you have BMs, and so I was, like, in ASTs are what they call, aviation survival technicians, what they call a rescue swimmer. So that was the only thing I had to go off of. Well, I became a non-rate. You don't have an MOS for you guys who use the term MOS. Yeah, we're in the seagoing service it's called rate. So non-rated. So I'm just a peon. So I got stationed in Alaska, and I was like, F this place. I was 18 years old.
We're in Alaska.
Ketchikan, southeast.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
There's no women anywhere. I'm not even joking, dude. It's like 4,000 people on the island. I think they said it was like 12-to-1 women to men ratio. So 18 years old, there's no girls anywhere.
Great,
I was like, I need to get off this island. So I put my pack in to be a rescue swimmer, and the warrant officer I was working for was like, yeah, cool, it's 6 months. You got to be here, and then you'll be off to, somewhere in New Jersey or North Carolina, wherever the AST school is. So I wait my 6 months, and I knock on his door. I'm like, hey, man, like, when am I leaving? When am I getting orders? And he's like, oh, man, I forgot to put that in. Let me put that in for you. I'm like, shit. No shit, another 6 months. And so, like, by the end of the day, he calls me to the office, and he's like, hey, the AST is so impacted. Like, it's going to be a 4-year wait list. And I was like, I am not sitting here for 4 years. I'll kill myself. This place sucks. Let me kind of backtrack. Where I was at in Ketchikan, that base was basically the holding tank for everybody that's getting kicked out of the Coast Guard. They put him there. So it's like, dude's convicted of like child porn. Like, I'm not joking. Like, guys are about to go to Leavenworth. They're like sitting here.
The Miramar of Coast Guard.
Yeah, it's like the brig. Yeah, it truly was, man. So I was like with all these kind of shitty human beings. So they're trying to like shield me from like this kid actually might do something with his life. So like, don't let him with like these normal.
Can't rape any women when there are none. No wonder they put him there.
That's literally it, man. Yeah. Just sexual assault each other. So yeah, I was like, well, what can I do? Like, what school's not impacted, so I can leave first? And like, well, gunner's mate, that's wide open. I was like, put my name on that. I don't know what that is, but I'll go do that. So I went to, after being up there for about a year, I went to Virginia to A school. And then while I was in A school, you get your billet list. And they tell you kind of what's what on there. And there's 20 people in my class. And as long as everybody picks something different, you get what you wanted on there. And we had some really good billets, like the Hawaii, Tahoe. Like, we had some places where like everybody was like getting where they wanted to go.
Coast Guard in Tahoe?
Yeah, Lake Tahoe, man. Half the year, the Coast Guard is up there. In the winter, they shut down and they keep like a skeleton crew. But during the summer, because that body of water sits on 2 states. So that's if it's federal waterways, something like that, ports or waterways, the Coast Guard has jurisdiction on it.
Interesting.
So
okay.
We have the Great Lakes, stuff like that. Coast Guard is kind of all over. So, I'm sitting there in A school in the middle of winter, and San Diego's on there, and there's it says TACLET. It stands for Tactical Law Enforcement Attachment. I was like, well, what's that? And everyone's like, I don't know. So I was like, oh, I want that. and kind of the unwritten rule in A school is if two people want the same thing, you can go in the you go in the barracks room and fight, right? Yeah, dude. So this guy, thank God, man, this guy named Pete Elizondo, man, shout out to that guy. He's like one of the coolest dudes in the world. But he came from the Army. He was like jumped. I mean, this guy's wasn't a Ranger tab. He's like had his little Ranger, not the battalion guy. Just
the scroll or the tab.
Oh, he had the tab, but not the scroll.
It's the leadership school, not the
So
he
had
the
tab.
But he'd been around. Like he was not like he was not an 18-year-old 150-pound kid like myself.
No, he's got no problem with that.
Oh, dude. So he was like, I want that unit, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to fight this guy for it. So yeah, we get in the barracks room that night, and I remember my roommate was like, hey man, we kicked everybody out of the room, and it was just him and I and my buddy Brandon Bunch, who's like, hey man, I'll make sure like whoever wins gets the billet. And I was like, I'm gonna get my ass throttled by this dude. And thank God, right before we're about to fight, he's like, hey man, why do you want this unit? And I was like, I got a girlfriend, this and this. Give some bullshit story. I was like, I just want to be in San Diego. And he's like, all right, man, I'll take some other one that he likes. I'll take that one, man. I'll let you have this one.
I'll go to Ketchikan.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, man.
Yeah. But my heart was in my throat because I was like, dude, I'm about to get my ass kicked first. And I'm not even going to get the billet. This guy's going to rake me over the freaking coals. This dude would have definitely kicked my ass. And thankfully, I didn't have to fight him. So I go around the regiment. And I'm like asking all these chiefs. I'm like, hey, man, what's TACLET? Like, and everyone's like, I don't know, man. Go ask so-and-so. And I was like, what's TACLET? And this one chief is like, yeah, it's you're going to do law enforcement, you're going to work out every day, you're going to hate it, man. It's going to suck. And I was like, no, that sounds freaking awesome, man. Like, work out every day? Yeah, but that's the Coast Guard. The old mentality is, like, nobody does that. They're like, you're a life-saving service. We had a lot of rescue-type things that they're doing, small boat stations, cutters. That was kind of the culture of the Coast Guard. Law enforcement was just kind of a small thing they used to do. And, yeah, man, I reported to San Diego not knowing what it was, and I went to a unit on the MCRD, on the back side of MCRD.
Yeah.
They had this, like, shed, and I was like, I think this is the unit. I was like, it says TACLET on it, but it's, like, on a Marine Corps base, and I walked in, 150 pounds with my 3 ribbons. I had my little expert from A school, pistol and rifle, and my little national defense.
Yeah, red and yellow piece of candy.
Yeah, man, I walked in there freaking just blinging, dude, with my 3 ribbons. Dude, and I walked in there, I was like, no one was there, and I was like, it's like, am I at the wrong building? And I remember I like knocked on a door and I opened the door and there's the command master chief. He's like, hey, come in here. You're our new guy, right? And I was like, yes, master chief. And
put this in your mouth till the swelling goes down.
You may as well have done that, man. Because I sit down and I have, my training record is like this big because I've just been to ASCO, like 2 papers in it. He's like, let me see your training record. I'm sitting across this giant table in his office and I'm like nervous. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. I don't know what you guys do.
Yeah.
And, he's in civilian clothes. I like, you can't tell who people are around there because everyone's walking around in civilian clothes. And,
I like it already.
yeah, and he's like, it was super rogue back then. And he goes, how old are you? And I was like, I think I just turned, I was 19. And he goes, throws it at me in my training record, like not throws it to me, like throws it at me, hits me in the face. He goes, you shouldn't be here unless you're 22. Get the fuck out of my office. And I was like, I just got kicked out of this unit. I just got here, man. So I like tuck tail, like walk out. I'm like, I guess I gotta leave. And I'm like looking for someone that I need to like report to. And I walked in the CO's office on accident. He's like, hey man, you're our new guy, right? And he's like, come on in. And he was the only guy that kind of welcomed me. And then it ended up being like a haze fest for like 6 months to get qualified. And they don't have like a selection for that. You just kind of report.
Like CMC told me to leave till I was 22, so
Let's go do push-ups.
went
for
back
3
to
years.
Victorville.
Yeah, the best part is come to find out that CMC was there because he got kicked off of like his other command, so they just put him in this unit that didn't have a CMC. So it was kind of this weird.
That's funny.
Everyone was just kind of like at odds with each other in this unit at the time, and yeah, man, that's kind of the MSRT started as an MSST.
Yeah.
At that time, it opened up across the street, and it just kind of morphed into this this career path that didn't exist in the Coast Guard. I was lucky enough to be on the ground floor for it.
So what was the development process
Hold
for?
on. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah.
Is my mic like,
Loud and clear.
it's getting all staticky and shit?
To the Costco return.
I just did that with a fucking TV. And we're back. Technical difficulty. Like my shit just went out now.
Did it
really?
Are you good?
Yeah.
We can still hear you. Though.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got you
I've
loud
had
and clear.
It's fucking weird.
Headset issues.
All right, we're back. So we were talking about the development of fuckers and civilians who know their job to MSST and MSRT.
Yeah.
Was the premise of that like the whole drug cartel and that kind of
Oh, yeah.
process?
So, like, how did it come about? Like,
Yeah.
So, right after 9/11, the Coast Guard stopped being under the Department of Transportation, and they set up the Department of Homeland Security. So So the first guy that was in charge of that was Tom Ridge, and he was like, hey, we want the Coast Guard to have this port security unit. So that's really what it started out as, is we have all these vulnerabilities at our major port. So how do we secure that? So
that's cool.
Yeah, we'll put these special boat teams, and we'll have like, they call them force protection teams, so they can respond to any type of like terrorist threat. But it's all like CONUS, it's all stateside stuff. So that's where it kind of morphed out of. So, the San Diego was one of the last ones. It was 91109. I think there's 11 at the time. They've shut them all down. I think there's like 3 MSSTs left. So they spent a ton of money building these things in every major port. You had Seattle, Boston, New York, Miami, LALB, San Francisco, San Diego. So every major port had one of these units. So then they had these force protection teams inside of them. So when I was at TACLET, the kind of the pipeline for training for that is you got to be a boarding officer, and that's like a law enforcement school. And they do a bunch of kind of, it's an anti-drug smuggling operation. So narcotics is kind of the bread and butter, but you find the boat and then you tear the boat apart. So it's like, a lot of it is, and I'm going to like kind of categorize what it is. It's been so long since I've freaking done that job, but it's a lot of finding compartments on a boat that you can't find, like hidden compartments.
Yeah. So it's like SSC maritime version.
It is. It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like the exciting part's finding the boat, but then after that's no longer exciting once you find the drugs. Because you're like, cool, now I got to ride this boat to whatever, nation state it comes from. So, and then offload drugs and then go back. So, yeah, once you find the drugs, it's actually no longer fun. It's a ton of work.
Did you guys have to know like a bunch of different types of boats in order to know where all these little hidden pockets are?
Yep. So, we'd go to schools with, every 3-letter agency, because a lot of them knew kind of where the smuggling trends were, because they're in the drug trafficking like business as far as like monitoring. So a lot of times we would have intel on boats, and we'd be on the boat searching for it, and we'd be with our contact like on a sat phone going, hey, we haven't found anything. It's a dry hole. And like, no, it's there. We know it's there. Keep looking, but they won't tell us where it's at because they burn the CIs. So you'd be on this boat for like 8, 9, 10 days tearing things apart in South America somewhere, like sweating your friggin' balls off. And like you're like, we haven't found anything. Like, and then we'd sail the dang boat to wherever, whatever country it came from. They'll either take custody of the boat or we'll sink the boat out at sea. But
what size boat are we talking about here?
Ship, sometimes big old ship. Yeah, we everywhere from like a carrier, like a roll-on, roll-off to all the way down. The Pongas were kind of easy because the drugs are right there. But like fishing vessels are more often than not what they'll throw them on and they'll hide them in like ship or like fish holes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're doing a ton of just like shitty work trying to find the drugs. I mean, you're
shit's been like epoxied over, or fiberglassed over, and
your kit working in like
exactly.
super tiny spots.
And it's hot as heck, and you're sitting there with like an ion scan swab. I don't know if you're familiar with those are, but it's this machine that looks like a little refrigerator, and you take a piece of paper and you swab things throughout the boat.
It's a TSA hand thing.
It's literally exactly what it is. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then you take it on this vessel, and we would travel with these damn things. We deploy the Pelican case with this ion scan machine that weighs like 80 pounds. And then you take it back to the vessel, you like swab them, like something pops. Then you had it written down where you kind of got the positive reading. And you go back on the boat, start poking around, and you're drilling things, and you're taking measurements, and you're doing these like float tests in like fuel holds to see if they've put stuff. I mean, it's wild the lengths people will go to hide stuff.
What's the rules as far as disassembly? Can you just go in there with a quickie saw and a crowbar and just start like tearing shit up?
You absolutely can. I mean, we've definitely done that. For the most part, because you're on it, you don't want to do too much damage because you're going to have to sail that thing out of there.
Yeah.
So it just depends on, it just depends on.
Shooting full of fucking holes.
Well, that's happened too, man.
Taking on water.
Yep, that's definitely happened with some of our guys where they've sank the dang boat. Like, they didn't find it and like, well, it's sinking, it's taking on water, so we're just going to get off this thing and call it a day. So that's happened more than you think. But right after 9/11, there was this kind of push where they're scuttling the boats. So there was this thing with the cartels where they're like, hey, we're not going to get caught with it. We'll just scuttle it real quick. So they're putting scuttling valves in the back, and they could sink an 800-foot boat. They could sink that in like 10 minutes with these scuttling valves. Like it would just take on water at the right above the fan, or
like a reverse bilge. It literally sucking water in.
So it became a little more high stakes when we're boarding these things, where we have to do positive control boardings. We're like sending guys to the bridge and the engine room like right away. Then you secure that, and then you can go about working. But it got a little dicey.
They were doing that same shit in the Gulf with in like the late 90s. because they were smuggling oil out of like Iraq and shit. And then they started getting smart, and that's when we started getting smart about like our breaching and stuff, because they would hug the coast of Iran, like because whatever 12 miles or whatever.
International waters, they stay within theirs.
Yeah, and they would, but there's a few places where they have to come out around some of these islands, and that's when we would hit them. But dude, some of those boats, they were just like helicopters are like turn the valves, and you see the back end of this fucking boat just start fucking going down. They're like, motherfucker, like they ain't fucking around. And then they lost so much fucking oil that way. They got smart about. They knew that there was only a certain amount of time that we could board the boat and start to prosecute it and take the bridge, take the engine room, to where they're like, if we could just put a little bit of thought into this, where essentially some of these cats are getting welded into the fucking bridge, and like we would have to pull off the fucking boat because they're starting to go back into Iranian waters.
Yeah. As soon as they got boarded, they just like turn left and just like steam right into the
especially right
border.
there where you have like such a narrow area where you like, because the international waters are the exact halfway point between nations. But if you have a 5 mile in between, that 2.5 mile, you go 100 yards this way or that way, you're in their waters. And so, it's this weird game of cat and mouse you got to play, because if the Coast Guard, that's our jurisdiction's kind of all over the world. So, and that's what we kind of like. Our bread and butter is like the fact that we have so much jurisdiction. It's why everybody wants to come work with us. Isn't because we know what we're doing. It's because they can come use our jurisdiction to go hit boats.
And you guys are the scapegoat.
Yeah, it's literally it. I mean, that's why most of the deployments I was on with TACLET, it was all like coalition forces, like Dutch and Brits.
Well, you guys have authority in I thought it was just around the United States coast.
So we have, and I don't want to like say what I'm, but we have a lot of authority with the high seas. Anything having to do with like international crimes. Yeah. And I'm going to, the
Where
SF.
the fuck's Zach?
Like U.S. Code SF or.
Yeah, it's like Title 10 or some shit or.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna missay whatever it is, but yeah, we have some laws that dictate like international waters, high seas. We can do quite a bit. There's some countries that we have bilateral agreements with where they'll let us operate in their waters for certain things. So then you have like some laws that have to do with hot pursuits. If you're chasing somebody out in the high seas and they go into somebody else's waters, as long as we don't break contact with them, for certain countries, we can pursue them until it ends somehow, and then we either break contact or we can just take them in their waters. So, there's a lot of like
14 U.S. Code 522.
Okay, I would have said that
powers, duties, and administration, chapter, function, powers, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's why everybody, we did a lot of stuff with the U.S. Navy, and kind of the U.S. Navy's workaround with that is the minute you have, I think it's a Coast Guard chief or higher, once they get on, they can hoist the Coast Guard jack, and it's no longer a warship at that moment, just by the flag. So then now that boat can get into waters it normally couldn't because it's a warship, and then we can take the VBS teams, train them up, and have them assist. So we did a lot of that as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
some good workarounds.
It's a law enforcement ship.
It's no shit what it is, man. It's with big old freaking cannons on it. So
well, and I think that was just some of the initial thought process to when they started letting coasties come in to go to Buds. Because we had a handful of guys come in because they did have
like
that
10 dudes, I think.
They had like arrest authority, and so like when we were doing shit in certain places like South America, the PI, stuff like that. Like U.S. Navy, if you're, there's some weird laws there to where if it's wartime, if you're doing fucked up shit, then that falls under like GWAT terrorism stuff. But if you got a dude who's just running drugs and breaking the law and shit, like U.S. Navy, it's like, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? It's like, well, I guess we can hold the guy, but until somebody with arrest authority gets there, like
law enforcement,
it's a lot of it can be construed too as like unlawful detainment if it's not, war powers and all that bullshit. So
and that was like a bit of a gray area, and I think it probably continues to be so with like having the coasties because they're technically attached to the Coast Guard still, but they're on a SEAL platoon with a trident and everything.
Yeah,
but the way it was originally set up, and that came about right on my way out of the Coast Guard off active duty, is you would do 6 years on a platoon as like a working SEAL, and then you owed 6 years back to the Coast Guard so that we would have guys with experience at it. And that was like our biggest deficit was...
None of those guys ever went back, though, did they?
No, I think that was the problem. Is the first two that like made history didn't go back, and then I think one of them eventually did after like 10 years.
One of them ended up at Dev Group too. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say
fucking hilarious.
Because the Navy was like, man, we're not going to
legit.
push the issue. We paid the money to like have them here, so it was this weird thing that
Yeah, because not a lot of people know this, but there was I forget what time frame this was, but there was a push to get a group of Coast Guard officers, two buds, to go to a SEAL team to learn, and then the idea was they would go back to the Coast Guard.
Train the trainer, yeah.
But they sent, and we're all like, Coast Guard guys coming through buds, what the fuck? Dude, they were fucking legit. Because I was an instructor when these guys went through. They were some of the best students I've ever seen come through training, except for one guy was not the best. He wasn't that bad. He just wasn't as good as the other guys were so good. They kind of made him look bad by not being super awesome. Yeah.
Poor dude.
They were some of those guys, man. Like, I don't want to say the guy's name, but like fucking some of like the best fucking team guys I've ever met, dude.
So
really
went Coast Guard to the teams and then went to
But they never went back. They never went back to the
and
Coast
it was like
Guard.
I think one of them did eventually. I think if I remember the story correctly, because I was kind of not really connected to that community after I got out for a little while. But that was kind of the rub. Is these guys are like, no, man, I'm definitely not going back to the Coast Guard, and they didn't. Which would have been crazy to see some Coast Guard dude walking around with a trident in his uniform. But I think one of them ended up doing
valor!
it. Oh, dude, that's what everybody would have said. Like, no effing way, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how that kind of came about. Is they wanted some guys in the Coast Guard because
it makes sense.
There's no attraction for anybody that's from special operations to go to the Coast Guard. Zero. Like even with kind of what we're doing now, it's still kind of hard to do, which is why they had the advisors.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the workaround is, until the Coast Guard whets its appetite enough to actually do this job, we still need some people to know what they're doing. So, but the funny thing is when we kind of first kicked this thing off, trying to build this, what's now the MSRT, it was all Army guys that were training us. It was all these like former CAT guys or current CAT guys, like they were on rotations on deployments, were training us out in North Carolina, and it was all
for water stuff. Do they even know anything?
Nothing.
About water
That was the craziest. This is why the Coast Guard. Again, censor myself a little bit on talking
crazy,
shit on the Coast Guard, but it was wild because they never thought, hey man, there's guys across the way that do this every single day. Maybe we'll just ask them. But like, no, man. Is there any Army guys who want to help us out? And of course these guys are like, heck yeah, man, we'll get a little break, like train some Coast Guard guys. And so in Camp Lejeune, which Coast Guards, they call it the DSF, this Deployable Specialized Forces, had a couple different name changes. I don't know what they're calling it these days. But all of our training centers are on Marine Corps bases. So Camp Lejeune's one of the main ones. So we show up to Camp Lejeune, it's all these barrel-chested freedom fighter dudes right out of combat that are like still like just off the plane looking at us like, who are these idiots who are about to go like mess up their day for a couple months? And so it's really weird because we were learning all these like Army TTPs that translated zero to like, and I remember the first time
water's different, man.
Well, and ships are completely different. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess in a general sense, maybe they're the same. A room's a room, but but I remember the first time we were like 5 weeks into this like training pipeline with these guys, and we go to train on this big ship in South Carolina, like kind of like the Midway. And I remember these guys getting on, and they're all looking at us, like 6 of these instructors, and there's like 2 of our team standing behind. We're all looking at them like. And they're like, yeah, man, I think you're kind of fucked if you have to do any of this stuff. We're like, well, thanks, man. If you guys can't figure it out, like, well, what hope do we have? So, there's a lot of like kind of undoing of, this is early on in the war, so there's not a lot of, like, we're operating off of.
Everybody else is busy.
Right. Everybody's busy. The stuff that we know from these Army guys is really the, like the TTPs from like Vietnam era stuff. So there wasn't like this change in like how you clear rooms and how you breach and how you, there's all these considerations nobody had yet.
CQC on a ship is different too, because it's almost like more of a mount environment. And then you've got like an engine room where you have walkways where you can see a couple stories up and a couple stories down. It's like a whole 3D environment. It's
then you
really
definitely
doing like go-plats and shit where you're like.
And then you can't necessarily shoot up or down because you have grates. So you're kind of like, you can get, get lucky and get hit or lucky and get a hit. But I mean, there's so many like considerations. Like you can't just breach inside of the hull of a ship. You just blow certain rooms up. So like we're going with like Broco torches, and they're like, probably not. Some rooms you can't have a Broco. So we kind of went through all these different phases of like equipment they were using until somebody got smart and was like, hey man, like
let's ask the SEALs.
What they were doing. Like no joke, it was hilarious. Like and then everything changed after that. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
okay, this is how you do it. So we were trying to reinvent a wheel, and the MSRT now, to their credit, they've really done a good job of kind of taking from your guys' playbook on how to even set up a command and how to set up, like, what do the guys on your team do? Like, what are
collateral duties and shit.
And that wasn't really a thing. It was just kind of, I went to breaching school just because I was like, that sounds cool. Go blow some stuff up. Went to a bunch of different kind of random schools, but none of it really applied to like going on a ship. I learned how to breach like brick walls and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't apply to anything I'm ever going to do. It's fun to do, but I'm like,
brick ship. Yeah.
There was so much stuff that was like, it was kind of goofy. Like, it's fun to learn how to do, but I'm like, it doesn't.
It's not practical.
Yeah, like I'm like breaching with a shotgun. I'm like where? Like where? On a smaller boats, yeah, because you got balsa wood everywhere. But for the most part, a shotgun doesn't do you like a ton of good on a big boat. So,
Cookie saw on a crowbar, man.
exactly. Yeah.
Dude, wooden wedges or even metal wedges and a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, we started getting the fire department those pneumatic tools.
Yeah.
So we started carrying those in our
Nice.
kit. And let me tell you, man, those things will pop just about anything.
Yeah.
So I can get a wedge in there. Takes a minute. 'Cause you're like popping stuff, but once you do, you can pop an entire door off the hinges
Yeah,
with those
fucking
things.
hatch.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. When me and Eddie got hired for that Coast Guard gig, this was like 2014, and we had to go to the school in Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to go through. We were just watching it. Mm-hmm. Holy fucking shit, bro! That was like the worst. Like, we're up in the rafters watching, and dudes were doing, and like there was a B-Talk, and then there's A-Talk.
Yeah.
So there's basic tactical operator course, and then advanced. And dude, each course was like 8 weeks long. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, our CQC in SQT is only like 3 or 4 weeks long. But it was weird because the B-Talk, they would break it down to the lowest. I mean, it's like, okay, this is how you load a magazine.
Yeah, no joke. It's like basic.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, dude, you guys need just like a basic range, like 2 weeks of this is how to load a fucking gun.
Yeah.
This is your basic shit. And then go into CQC and just hammer it for a month. Because what they would do is they would go to like B-Talk, and then guys would go back to their unit, and then they wouldn't do shit. They would have to prove themselves at the unit. And then once there was a billet to A-Talk, then they would go back, and like 3 or 4 weeks of A-Talk was rehashing B-Talk shit.
Oh, man.
I was just like,
And then
dude.
you can wash out, which like later on in the evolution of that, because when we started it, I was lucky enough to be like the first class of both of those.
Yeah.
The first, we call it TTC before they call it TAC.
Yeah.
The tactical training course. And yeah, it was a lot of like, we don't know what you know, so we're just going to show you. And luckily for us, we had known like this old Coast Guard way, which is completely wrong. And I remember like the first couple days, these Army dudes are trying to like feel us out. Like, what do you guys know on the range? And these guys are like, dude, time out. Forget everything you know about everything, man. And like, we'll show you what. And that was where the Coast Guard kind of started adopting, like, how do you hold a gun? Because like, no joke, like even like we would do this weird thing. Yeah, with like you a teacup, or you do these like weird funky things they teach you, like on like Coast Guard firearms instructing. And we get to this class,
NRA
these guys
stuff,
are like, like, the hell are you guys doing? And then the
old Weaver stance, dude.
the modified Weaver, or whatever they call it. Where you're like, you're like
one-handed, like
doing the James Bond thing. You're just like, we did some goofy crap, man. And like even with CQC, we called it tactical procedures. And we had our version of it, but it was like this goofy version where you like get on a door and you look at your buddy across the way and you're like button hook or crisscross. You'd have to like let them know what you're gonna do before you do it. Yeah, it was so wild. So when we got to that school, these guys were like, please forget you knew any of that. We'll show you how to do it. So that's where it kind of
here.
But that's no joke, man. We just started with this like goofy version of what it is now, but but it was like the Army guys showing us. But they've changed it now where you had A-Talk and B-Talk, and now it's just called TAC. Now it's like a 10-week school.
Yeah.
But they do a ton of training up into that, so you don't you're usually not going there like super green. So you know enough to pass the school, but I mean you will fail out of it. So that's the Coast Guard at the moment. The version of kind of selection is you can go to the unit and you can do all these things, and as long as you don't like screw something up and get booted, then you can make it through TAC. And then as long as you don't get booted from that, but then throughout the whole time, it's kind of this. It's like an OJT sort of thing where you're just kind of assessed the entire time you're on the team rather than assessed before you get there. So you can still you can definitely still get the boot. I've known guys that have, but there's no. The Coast Guard hasn't really figured out a good selection program.
Their pipeline is still kind of in its infancy because this was over 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago when I was there, and me and Eddie were sitting there watching the shit from the rats. We didn't have whistles or anything, and they would because when we do shipboarding, all of our shit, and not to give away a whole bunch of TTPs, but most of this is fairly well known and unclassed.
It's all the YouTubes now.
Yeah, but dude, we do what's called strong walling, and you come in and you stay on one wall, and everything you're essentially, when you think of it this way with a ship, you're pushing everything outboard towards the skin of the ship. Whereas when we were watching a lot of the stuff going on at this course in Lejeune, they were doing these
the width and depth
point of
point of domination,
something like that. Where if you happen to run into like a corner-fed room, like if the one dude doesn't realize it's a corner-fed room and happens to go straight, and I think it was the number one guy was able to take multiple walls.
It takes like 2 walls.
Yeah, it takes 2 walls.
Yeah,
and the other guy comes in and sticks in the corner. So now you got one guy in this corner, one guy in the opposing corner, and you got a threat in the middle. And that's exactly what we saw. And me and Eddie were both up there like grabbing each other's hand. We're like, well, I don't have a whistle. Dude, we're about to see a blue on blue. And they were shooting live rounds and shit. And we were just like, holy shit. And the takeaway from that when we came back to our unit was, we're like, hey, both coasts, because we went up and down the East Coast. Like we flew out to Virginia Beach and we did a liaison with the guys. The East Coast unit is just predominantly in Chesapeake area. And they had like 3 DASs, whereas the West Coast only had like 1 DAS at the time. And so we saw their pipeline, and then we went out to Fort Pickett and watched some of the stuff they were doing there. And then we drove down to Lejeune and the booming city of Jacksonville, North Carolina, and watched some of their stuff there. And it was like just eye-opening. But when we came back, we were like, dude, you guys need to get both groups, and you guys need to do a tactics review.
Yeah.
And figure out why you're doing what you're doing, because it works great in a house, but when you get on a ship, dude, you guys are going to kill so many people.
Yeah.
You're going to have ricochets, and you guys aren't using frange. You're not using, using green tip and shit, and you're like, oh my God.
Well, that was always the rub too, is like, on the skin of a ship, I always ask this question. I'm like, why are we not using MP5s? Like, why are we using a freaking 5.56 when I'm like, I'm trained to shoot a guy as close as we're sitting. Like, what do I need a 5.56 for?
Yeah.
The Coast Guard was so against like any type of like these non-conventional kind of service weapons. But I thought the same things. I'm like, green tip, man, I go shoot through body armor with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like so did they, when you were doing that, did they get away from doing the strong wall?
They never were doing strong wall. So
the width and depth where they're like running the point.
Oh,
Did
no.
they ever get away
did
from
that.
it?
So I was only there for like a year.
Yeah.
So the 3 guys I know, they're still there. Like Mo being one of them. He said they have did some revisions in their tactics and stuff, and they've gotten away from a lot of stuff. And I think what they're doing now is a little bit more to like what we, what the teams do.
Yeah, we definitely, when we first got into that racket, it was all strong wall. And everything was, it's just super basic CQC. Yeah. And then I remember when we started the talk, the first course we went through is when they were like, hey, we're going to show you this other way to do it. And I remember my very first time running a kill house with live rounds where I was the number 1 guy, and my poor OIC, who wasn't the freaking most tactically sound human being I've ever met, was the number 2 guy. And I was like, this is not a good situation. So they're like, hey, just go slow. So I take my little corner. I go to, and I remember there was a target right here. I was like, shit, I know he's gonna have to shoot it. So and it's like 1 meter off your gun. So you're like, so I ran the wall and I look back and this guy's gun's freaking pointed right at me. It's just boom, because they're Mark 18, so you feel the freaking. Oh yeah. And we're not suppressors at the time.
Fucking flamethrower.
And I remember looking down the barrel of his gun, and I just went like this. Just went. I did this thing right here. I was like, oh, and he took 2 shots, and I was like. Okay, all right. Yeah. But that was how it was, man. We were like, it made you go a little too slow, where it became unsafe, because you really are like waiting for your guy to not cross your freaking barrel. But to your point, if you had anything in the middle of the room, you're screwed. Like you're gonna have a blue on blue or a crossfire situation. But I don't even know where they got that from.
It's the Army version of it.
Is it?
Yeah. So we do Strongwall. Army does. It's a variation of the Sephardic
Like some
stuff.
Sephardic. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I
points
don't know if I think Delta has their own thing that they do, but at the time we were in Djibouti, we were working with the Green Beret guys, and they were doing Sephardic stuff.
Huh.
And it's okay. I think we're partial to our own stuff, obviously, and I'm sure they're partial to theirs. I think as long as you all on the same page, either one works fine. It's when you have like one dude's doing Strongwall and one guy's running into the room, you're like, that's a fucking disaster.
Yeah, I mean they'll have like the give and take for it for sure. Like I definitely could see, especially when we're doing like working with like SWAT teams and stuff, where you're like, you have couches and stuff that you're hitting these like kind of standard American homes where you're like, okay, that makes sense where you can kind of clear some red zones like as you're going. But I mean, you get stuck if you got like a door over here, then you're like stuck on that door and you got it became a little chaotic.
Yeah.
But I mean, in Lejeune, we're hitting, we weren't hitting boats, we're hitting just standard houses and getting, but yeah, I do remember the first time, man, I was just like, oh, this guy's going to shoot me in the fucking head.
Well, I think the tactics are what they are. And it's honestly, it's just being able to flex and have common sense.
Exactly.
Whereas, with some units, you don't have that flexibility. Obviously, in the teams, we're all able to like call, hey, short wall, or hey, it is what, whatever the case may be, to a point where, maybe you're not going 6 to 8 feet down your wall, or, maybe every entrance isn't a 4-man entry. It's a 2-man entry, and you're calling, able to call shit on the fly.
Yeah.
But, same thing too, like with the way the SF does all of their stuff, it's all being able to flex and adjust on the fly and basically just be a thinking shooter. Not to say everybody, I mean, everybody can do it. It just takes repetitions. And it takes,
not everybody can do it.
Some people better than others, some people not at all. But,
yeah.
That's like the deficit with the Coast Guard is because it's not a closed loop system being in the Coast Guard or in the MSRT world. People transfer out. So
that's what I was going to ask is how long is the billet there?
So nowadays it's a 6-year billet. You go on there and I guess theoretically you could do 12 years where, and they're working on a program right now. I don't want to kind of speak out of turn. But the way it's currently set up, my understanding of it is it's a 6-year billet and then you can go to like their training detachment off that and that's another 6.
Okay.
And then you could technically roll right back into a 6-year billet with that, I guess theoretically, but the problem with the Coast Guard is nobody joins the Coast Guard to be in special operations. So there's not a lot of people that are joining for that reason. I'd venture to say like nobody's joining the Coast Guard for that reason because people kind of just found out about it.
Wouldn't they want to keep that knowledge set in there and like keep those dudes in, like, why not make it like its own little MLS or something?
Closed loop.
So they did that. The Coast Guard likes to kind of do things and then just be their own undoers of the things they created. So we did create our own MOS because we had that same problem where you have the SEAL teams had it back in the day where you have HSs and all these guys joining, but then you can't promote because you're like, I'm promoting this in HS and I'm a SEAL. Like I don't work in my MOS. So the Coast Guard created an MOS that was geared towards that community, the TACLET and MSRT. And then they decided, well, we don't want to keep them right there.
What was the rate? LE or something like that, or LN or?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this because that's what I am currently, and I'm an ME. Man,
yeah,
I was
ME.
like, what? Where am I? Yeah, ME, maritime enforcement specialist.
ME. That was what it was. Not LE.
So they're currently, the word on the street is, and I could be completely wrong about this, is they're now trying to reassess an MOS or a rate for just this, like narrow it down a little bit more. Because you're absolutely right. Like, why would you ever you would never want to leave a unit like that. You don't want to go that's why guys would get out because they do 6 years there and they go, the Coast Guard goes, well, we want you at a small boat station, Chesapeake Bay. And you're like, nah, I think I'll just go be an instructor or go do whatever, do anything else. So the attrition within that unit is
and dude,
atrocious.
I'll say those cats, those MSRTs, I mean, when I showed up there, dudes had massive Pelican cases with like better gear than we had in the fucking SEAL teams. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Every time we would work with a SEAL team for training, guys would we would jockey you guys because of like what you guys did for work, but it was hilarious the amount of times guys would be like, dude, you got new ops cores, you got this, you got that. And I'm like, y'all don't have this? Like, we don't even know what we're doing with it, but we have it. So it was like, it was weird.
That was like one of the first times I saw one of just like the quad knots was at the Coast Guard. And I'm like, what the fuck?
No way.
Yeah, it's my reserve unit that I'm at now. It's within this deployable specialized forces group, but it's, I call it the tip of the spork. So it's a good group of guys that the mission set is just like completely opposite, but for whatever reason we're rolled into the same group as MSRT. We have nothing to do with them. But yeah, I mean the gear that we have there, when I showed up, I was like, good Lord, man, this is insane. Like, and again, buddies of mine that are SEALs are like, dude, how do you guys have this as a reservist? I'm like, I don't know, man, that freaking DHS money, I guess.
Yeah, no shit. That's awesome.
The one thing that Coast Guard, I will say, like, has done well over the years is like, they're really like when people give you an example. When I first kind of started doing this, we weren't allowed to have lights on our guns. We had the Beretta M9s, but we were like, we're just going to do it anyways. And we had straight blades on us. We weren't allowed to have that per the Coast Guard. And my buddy Brett wound up on the cover of Coast Guard magazine, fast roping out of a helicopter. And the commandant looked at the pictures like, what's that on his holster?
Who's this
guy?
Like,
yeah. And he goes, that's a light. He's like, nope, freaking, what are you doing with lights? Canned all of them because Coast Guard just wasn't ready for this. Like,
why were they against lights?
They were against everything.
Are you talking about Christensen? Brett Christensen?
Oh, do you know Brett?
Yeah.
Dude, Brett's one of my freaking closest friends, dude. He's up in Idaho now. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I just talked to him just the other day.
Good guy.
He's a really good guy.
Is he the ground beef eating meathead at that one shoot?
Giant,
yeah, he's
giant
fucking
dude.
yoked.
Yeah, and he's like the nicest human being you've ever met. Actually, funny story about Brett. The first time I got my ass kicked at TACLET was from him, and he was my size when I met him. He was just jacked, but he was like not a big guy. Now he looks like Brett ate Brett 3 times. He's just like,
dude, he was doing like strongman competitions.
No shit.
And like,
he's big.
Yeah.
He is a massive human being, but thank God he's also like one of the nicest guys in the world because he's like just this soft-spoken, like sweet dude. But yeah, he's the first guy that I ever got a broken nose from, like in training, like because it was just hazing when I showed up at that TACLET I was telling you about, and I like one of my first days training was with him, and I was like nervous as heck, and I'm fairly certain he was the one that broke my nose with that. But dude, me and Brett go way back. He's such a good dude.
Yeah, he was like the training, like LPO. Whenever me and Eddie got there, he was like the because they slowly were bringing dudes from the East Coast, and then dudes were getting trained up on the West Coast.
Yep.
So Brett it was a chief billet, but he was an E6, and I think he finally made chief. But yeah, good dude. Yeah, really good dude.
Yeah, it's funny. I hadn't seen him in about 8 years, and I went back to the unit for one of my good buddies who was the command match chief, was their first one. He was retiring, so I went back there to like watch his retirement ceremony, and Brett comes around the corner because he was out at East. I hadn't seen him in a long time. He like comes around the corner. I was like, good Lord, dude, like he's just freaking. I was like, yeah, bro, you look like G.I. Joe, man. Like he just like I was like, I didn't even recognize him. He was so freaking massive, but he's just like shredded too. But yeah, he was
Gotta love peptides.
Yeah, peptides. Yeah, it's just extra chicken, man. It's all he was eating.
Yeah.
It's just extra chicken.
Just eating the yolks.
Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of to your point about the East Coast. That was kind of how it started. Is the MSRT became officially the MSRT on the East Coast, and it used to be called TACLET North. So we had 3 TACLETs. We had PAC TACLET, South TACLET out of Miami, and then North TACLET, which I believe was in Virginia at Chesapeake.
Like Chesapeake.
And then they became MSRT, like in the midst of all these other units becoming MSSTs, but they didn't really have the capabilities yet. And then all of a sudden they started dumping money into this MSRT, and all of our guys from our units, these force protection teams, all flocked over here. And then that was kind of how it bled out. So that was like the first.
Well, dude, they had their own helo fucking wing
that
for a while.
that was what separated them from the San Diego team. Is the helicopters, so which was insane that they had 2 dedicated helicopters to them.
Yeah, they were hot shit for a while until they got like a new commandant of the Coast Guard, and he was like, "Where's this giant pot of money going to maintaining these helicopters for this one unit?" They're like, "Nope."
Yep, and that was the same guy that was kicking guys out for tattoos, and it was. Jeez. We had some the Coast Guard. It's
what a
weird.
Nerd.
The
undoing, like you said,
for real, like. Literally, it was like, and one of my buddies was on the chopping block, just tattooed head to toe, and he'd been in for like 18 years, and they were like, hey, man, you're out. You have too many tattoos.
Pack your shit.
Yeah, and luckily, I don't know what happened at that time. I got out like right when that kind of debacle was taking place, and a new commandant came in pretty quickly, and was like, time out. released this statement. I remember reading it, and he said that tattoos are as much a part of a seagoing service as like boats themselves.
Yeah,
and it was
makes
like, as long as you don't have them on your throat and your face, we don't care. So then it became a bit of a free for all after that.
People start buttoning their collars.
Wearing turtlenecks.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
But it was funny because, like what you said earlier, like the Coast Guard is much undoing all the shit that they've kind of done. Like they got to a point where this MSRT was super bulky and it was a force, and they were, for DHS it was like tier 1. It was on the same level as like FBI's HRT and all the shit, but they didn't have. I mean, they had a mission, but their mission is like
response, not offense.
Yeah, it's like what if
and it was the Coast Guard. There's two trains of thought like in the Coast Guard as a whole, and the old ones started to die off. Is that it's a life-saving service, not even a law enforcement or life-taking, and now. That old school mentality that I was like, we're fighting against to like set these units up is they're all retiring. When I say die off, they're not dying, but they're they're on their way out. And the guys, if I'd have stayed with, it's all my friends are like moving up into these command positions that are like, down for the cause.
That's awesome.
So that's why you see like the way it is now. But you had to fight this like curtain of guys going, and commandants on down, like, nope, we don't do that. And again with the pistol lights, like. What a dumb thing! Like, how
do you not want to see where you're shooting?
Yeah,
so
man.
crazy.
And you remember those old school I don't know if you guys had this. You guys didn't use the Berettas, right? You guys had SIGs back in the day. So we had these conversion kits for the Berettas. So you put this gigantic surefire light, and it's a Picatinny rail that you like bolt to the freaking.
Oh yeah,
to the trigger well.
Yes,
and shit, right?
exactly. So you have this giant light, but man, it was like the most high speed shit in the world back then. And drop holsters, they were like had a problem with drop holsters for a while. And then we switched to like carriers that back in the day was a slick carrier with some heavy ass plates, and you have the Blackhawk vests on
over the top. Yep.
Yeah, which were like I was like, man, we made special forces because we got this Blackhawk shit on, but they had a problem when we switched away from those. I mean, everything was just this climb out of this like hole.
Well, then some kid basically drowns in like Louisiana.
Yeah, during hook and climb. Yeah, his peckies didn't open. So we had a couple casualties.
Peckies at the flotation device.
Water wings.
Yeah, they call them something else. Sounds like the tactical flotation device, I think. But back in the day, the peckies, whatever that stood for.
The water wings.
Exactly. And then did you guys ever carry the Heats bottles on you? Yeah. So we'd have the heat, you're carrying so much gear.
with the regulator.
In case your helicopter goes down.
Yeah, it was so fucking crazy. I mean, dude, we even had them in our RGs, in our RG-33s, because one flipped over and a bunch of dudes. Yeah, a bunch of dudes fucking died. I remember the 08-09 deployment in Basra, like we got a shit ton of these Heats bottles.
Yeah.
And then no one thought, like, how are we going to jam these fucking things?
Right.
Because there's no compressors. So like, what the fuck? We're in the middle of the desert.
Just use them and chuck them?
Yeah, but they basically were like, put these in, want these all installed in all of the RGs because one of the SOCOM, RG-33s or RG-31s had like flipped over and, in a canal or some shit. Yeah.
Ours is the same way because after that happened is as soon as we got them. As soon as we get to Ramadi, they're like, here. And it had like the full like bite valve on it kind of thing. And I'm like.
So what was the purpose of carrying them over land?
Well, no, it was because we were traveling over bridges all the time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and these fucking goddamn these damn vehicles
are 100,000 pounds.
They're ridiculous, dude.
And not meant, because normally they're using technicals.
Yeah,
like a Hilux.
Yeah.
And so now when you're taking a Bradley over something, we did. I mean, I was even in it where the whole thing gave way and we went upside down in the Euphrates.
Yeah,
and so also we didn't bolt anything down.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes died.
And so it all started filling up with water, and luckily I was able to get the true patch open. But now I'm a saw gunner, and this is back in the day when saw gunners are this wide. So it's like putting 10 pounds of potatoes through a 5-pound bag. So I had to strip, and then luckily grabbed one of them, and because then like the little red toolboxes.
Yeah.
Dude, it came down and just crushed my squad leader's face, which secretly I was kind of pumped on. But so water was filling in. It was for that operation.
Yeah.
But we're like, what's this? And then one guy's like, and his cheeks go. We're like, we're in the Army.
Use sparingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the weirdest things whenever we were training with the Coast Guard because obviously they brought guys to be advisors because of because they knew we had assets and we knew of training areas and stuff, and we had the we could work with NSW because we were part of NSW. So they were like, well, hopefully we bring 2 retired team guys in. They can get us to some of these training areas. They can get us some of these assets and blah, blah, blah. So, but the interesting thing with that is, we had a great working relationship with our tradeette. And, every now and then they would hit us up and be like, hey, we have a ship for tomorrow, but, our guys had blah, 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 whatever. Somebody got a dental appointment or some shit. Yeah. Like, can you guys use it? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And then we would hit our guys up and they're like, nope, sorry. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, they're like, well, our regulations say we have to do a dip test within 24 hours of this, and we have to do this.
Oh, wow.
Dude, they had just so many regulations. Whereas as a team guy, it's like, dude, you're a team guy because you went through this gauntlet. We know you know how to swim.
Yeah, you can troubleshoot.
We know you can tread water with a bunch of shit on your body. We know you can do A, B, C, and D. So we don't need all these useless regulations and say, hey, do this. But it's like one of those things where, some of the rules are written in blood because they did have some guys drown. They were doing hook and climbs and shit happens. And almost to a detriment because, even doing stuff where everything was cleared hot, we would have dudes climbing up ladders and you'd have water wings inflating and shit. You're just like...
We definitely had that. I've had that happen to me. I've pulled my peckies before on accident, like climbing a freaking...
Dudes dropping shit,
Well, they're on your... It's like bladder right here and just like, you got to pop it to like get it down.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think the ones that they were using...
Yeah, they're poles.
They're poles, but then they got some kind of device that attached to them to where it's like saltwater activated also.
Yeah, there's a tab. And that's what... the guy that died in training, his tabs weren't up to... So we used to have to do our own PMSing of our own gear, and then they, again, like you're saying, written in blood, where you're like, well, maybe we should kind of make this a standard instead of like, hey, just check your own stuff. Like, if your life's going to depend on it, let's get extra eyes on it. That was definitely one of them, is the salt tabs. Because if you went unconscious, then they would pull for you. Yeah. So that way, if you went under and,
you come back up.
Yeah. The problem with those is because they sit on your belt, they more often than not like get to your back and you're going to drown anyways if you're unconscious. Like, it's not going to keep your head above water.
So now you're just
so
your feet are out of the water.
Can find you.
Seriously, because the heaviest part is your body arm and shit, and you're just gonna makes you invert.
And in the early days, man, we were cutting out to like make us a little more positively buoyant because our plates were so heavy. We were cutting out like yoga mats and stuff and shoving them under our just to like give us a little bit extra.
Yeah, we had these kits that they gave us for a while, but initially it was like PT padding.
Yeah.
You shove under your plate. But yeah, we had all number of that stuff to where they'd go do a dip test at the pool over at Point Loma.
Yep.
And dude, it was so funny. Dudes had their water wings attached to their belts with like zip ties. And they would jump in and their water wing and the zip ties were
small little ones.
Stupid little ones. And dude, they would like these water wings would blow up and they would just shoot to the surface and the person's body just keeps going to the bottom of the pool. We're like looking down there, like these 2 things are floating at the top. You see the guy at the bottom like this, like he's got all his fucking shit on. You're like, well, save yourself.
Right. Well, the
kick, stroke, glide, motherfucker.
And they definitely do to this day. Like, that's like one of the main things that we like focus on. Even at the unit I'm at now, even though it's like technically a ground unit, we do so much water survival, but it's all for that reason. But like our little TTPs for all the different ways if these things don't go off or if they go half off, and now they have them big enough. They have like a straw on them, so you can still blow in them, so you get at least one puff in it. But I don't know, the Coast Guard's, their motto is nobody outranks safety. So we'll freaking regulate safety to death on things. But
Well, did you guys ever get the carriers where you had like the wire system that was hooked all the way through?
Dude, so the ones we have now.
Yeah, you can pull it and then it drops everything.
I'll do you one better. So we have that now, plus a straw built in and a bladder across inside of your carrier that you can get a blow in to get a little buoyancy if you hit the water. Buoyant. So I have a straw now on my freaking carrier and have the freaking pole. Well, they got rid of the poles.
Just put some bourbon in there.
Like, oh, my bad. Like, man, you were acting really funny after that evolution. We had it like this. I mean, that's a kind of a weird thing for me. Is like, but we have these bladders inside of our carriers themselves with a freaking straw in them, and the straw goes over to the back so you can get like a breath in it, I guess. Which even in training, I still haven't figured out how you're going to do that if you hit the water and you're already struggling for air. How you're going to throw a freaking couple breaths in that thing. But yeah, we had, over the years, we've definitely had some like training accidents. A buddy of mine, actually 2 friends of mine, felt like doing fast roping. One of the guys fell 40 feet on film, missed the rope completely, like Black Hawk Down style, like in training. And we have one of my buddies was taking photos and video, and so I was already on the ground, and all you can see is his feet dangling on the other side, and you just see my buddy Steve's on the rope, and then he just falls straight, hits, and it's like frame by frame, and he hits so hard, lands on his back, and his helmet bounces off like a basketball. And you just see, like, because again, it's frame by frame. He's like zipping through.
Like, is that his head?
Yeah, and he fractured freaking everything. He was in the hospital for quite a while, and we flew him over to Scripps.
Yeah,
and he was laid up there for quite a while.
That was out here.
Yeah, so that was our one of the things when we were jumping with Coast Guard pilots, we're always like, hey man, if anybody goes down, we're not going to Balboa, we're going to Scripps, and they're like, cool, like wherever you guys want, we're good. I was usually the jump master, and I was like, that's where we're going. So because you get treated over there.
Yeah. That's a level 1 trauma unit. It's like UCSD or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, my team chief, we were doing 2 sticks one night, and he got about halfway down. I was like the 3rd guy out, and I'm got my feet dangling on the 2nd helicopter, and he gets about halfway down, gets kicked off the rope. Somehow his M4 like punches him in the face, like on his way down. And he like let go somehow, and I see him hit the deck and roll. So I'm on comms with the pilot, and I'm like, hey, just wave off because it's training. So we're like, I was like, wave off, we got to jump her down. And then I'm listening to these guys, switch over, I listen to these guys on the ground, and my poor team chief's like, just like hit pretty hard, broke his arm in half.
Fuck.
And so I'm like, hey, we're just going to, carry on with, we're going to all go to Scripps. So we land 2 helicopters at Scripps like 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday with guys fully kitted in dry suits and all our stuff. We just go marching off the helicopter into the waiting room. So we're like sitting in Scripps with like all these people are like, what is going on? We have
Somebody call an Uber.
Yeah, so we're like, we told the pilots like, hey, like you can go back to sector. We're just going to stay here. We're going to van back. And we just sat there for like 3 hours, make sure he was okay. Just broke his arm in half, had some other like injuries. But like, it was pretty funny because we're sitting there in the waiting room. Everyone's like looking around like, what the hell is going on in this freaking hospital? But
yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah. It's so training, that was probably the most kind of crappy situations that I was exposed to. While I was there, but we had a guy up in Seattle on our boat forces team, and when we first stood up the MSSTs, they put me on the boats. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm a boat guy. So I was like, well, I'll be the bow gunner. So they have a 240 on the bow of a freaking 25-foot RBS with twin 450 Hondas. Yes. Dude, we would launch these things and dry out the props on them to break them in. We used to we destroyed so many motors when we first got these boats. They were just like, hey, break them in. We're like, all right. So we'd go out Point Loma and just we'd dry out the motors, like jumping them on waves. And they'd have to replace the lowers every time we come back. Like, hey guys, please stop doing that. But as a bow gunner.
Spin the bearings or whatever the hell
yeah, exactly.
it is.
You just rip them right through. But as the bow gunner with a 240, I'm just holding on to it. We're not strapped in anywhere. So we're like doing J turns, doing like 40 knots, like
no,
practicing.
that thing's just a handle.
Yeah, and I just keep the bolts in so it's like upright, and I would just hold on to it for dear life while they're doing J turns.
Yeah,
and I never
cover your mouth so you
keep your mouth away.
Yeah, I never got dumped, but I mean, we would hit wakes and like the wave would come over and just like kind of douse you. But we had a guy in San Fran, he got dumped out of the boat on that, and the prop hit his head and it killed him.
Oh fuck!
And then they were, back to the, some of these things written in blood is then after that, like, hey, you're strapping in. But right around that time is when the FP team stood up, and I was like, I'm done with boats, man. It was fun, but it's not that much fun.
Well, I'm curious to know with, talking about dudes going overboard and stuff, because we had 2 team guys that died
recently.
in the
we had our guys
Gulf.
over during that time,
Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm just curious, like, I know they said one dude, I don't know if it was Chambers or the other guy.
Or Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram and, was it Chris Chambers?
Yeah.
I don't know which guy went over first. I think Chambers went over, and then the other Ingram went in after him.
Went in after him.
But I'm curious, like, what those guys actually had on their kit that was to keep them afloat and shit.
Well,
and
I've heard a rumor, but I don't want to perpetuate anything.
Yeah, I asked the guys about it that did know, and I don't know exactly what it was, but the long story, without getting too much details, it sounds like there was a little bit of they didn't dip test as well as they should have, and maybe it was kind of a gear issue.
Guys were super heavy.
It was a gear issue.
Yeah, it was a gear issue.
From my understanding.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, fuck, dude, it's...
Well, this is pretty high seas too, right? When
Yeah,
you were
it was
going
the-
in.
It was rough too.
Yeah.
From my understanding.
So we had some MSRT guys out there as well, and a couple of friends of mine were on scene doing the joint thing over there, and it was definitely, the sea state was not for like the risk versus gain probably there.
Yeah.
So,
stuff's no joke, man.
yeah,
People think,
hooking
you
climbs,
just
that's the most
climb a
dangerous. In my
ladder.
opinion, that's the most dangerous thing you can do.
Oh, dude.
Because especially the bigger boats, you got those props spinning in the back, and they'll suck you under. Like, people don't understand. Like, if you're on a, guys that haven't done it before, I guess, don't understand. But you're on this little caving ladder, and then if you fall off, you're either hitting the boat, or if you're lucky enough that the boat's moved, then you have every other obstacle with those big ship rudders underneath. I mean, that creates a vortex that'll suck you under.
And
I don't
now
know that it would
70
suck
pounds
you
of gear.
into.
Yeah.
And you're
In
going
high
in quick,
seas?
and you're doing it at night. Like,
Not to mention your helmet weighs fucking 10
yeah,
pounds.
and you're gonna if you're hook and climbing, you're probably 40 feet or more. I'd imagine. Like, you're probably on your way up. So when you hit, it's gonna knock the wind out of your M4, hit you in the face or whatever.
And also, for those listening, even like right here, right now, if we had a caving ladder, it is not fucking easy to climb.
No.
It's a skill, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
then
got tons of shit hanging off your body,
every
man.
little thing on your gear adds up too. Like
Yes.
any little zip tie that's hanging off is going to get caught on that. Like any carabiner that you have to make sure they're locked at a time, because otherwise it's going to lock you. It's going to catch, and then you're stuck. You can't go up.
That's
you can't
Murphy.
go down.
Yeah.
Murphy's like clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, you're
It's
trying to
gonna
keep it as
happen.
slick as you can, and for fast rope is the same way. I mean, not quite as extreme, but yeah, you want everything as slick as you can. And that's why when we had the cries, we're having to use the Velcro flap, because the knee pads are like, when you're hook and climbing,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
like,
that'll
they're
catch on it?
sticking.
On that
Guys are
little
like,
lip.
I'm not using these knee pads, man. Like, and then when they started coming out with the flaps, and that kind of solved the issue for us.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's why they made them, but it definitely helps.
It's a lot of little stuff like that you
Yeah.
don't realize until you do it. And you're like, oh fuck! I didn't. It seems like keep your carabiners locked. It seems like a stupid thing until you find yourself hooked
And
to a
inevitably,
fucking
I mean, doing
ladder.
the shit for real too. Like you can train as much as you want to where like, hey, train like you fight, and you try to do that as much as you can. But inevitably, when you're downrange and you're doing this shit for real, inevitably you have, some jackass who hands you, here's the newest Blue Force tracker. Make sure you put this on your gear, and you better take an extra 7 hand grenades, and here, take another 14 slap charges in case you have to breach it. And then you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's all the shit you don't think about.
And you add a little bit of adrenaline, and by the time you were up that ladder, you were freaking gassed.
Yeah.
And your breath hold sure as fuck ain't 3 minutes anymore.
No.
It wasn't never 3 minutes to begin with.
No, not at that point, not at all.
Yep.
But you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, good time for a break.
Wipers!
Check.
But yeah, I will say those working on that show last year up in Hollywood, a guy brought in those carnivore snacks,
Yeah.
which are more like beef jerky and less like those beef crisp, but they're like super like oily, like not really necessarily fatty.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
you can't see the fat on them and
They're
stuff.
just not dry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're good,
Yeah.
but dude, they're fucking pricey though. Those
Beef jerky is, man.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, seriously, like, you can buy a steak. Like, I'm gonna start making my own beef jerky, because I have a
dude,
I have a
just
big
buy
old,
some of those beef crisp.
No,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
I figured out the trick to this, right? Because I did it with my elk, and it's hard to do if you don't have a deli slicer. But if you go to Costco and you get the Korean barbecue thinly sliced meat,
Yeah.
and just buy a bunch of packs of those, and then just salt it or do whatever you want to it, and then a dehydrator. Which,
Yeah.
dude, I got one on Marketplace for like $80, and it's like a 9-trayer.
Yeah.
It's all you need for at least a month, and I just let it go.
I've got a jerky tray for my smoker, and my wife bought me a meat grinder for Christmas, so I can like start grinding up my deer that I kill every year, like making hamburger out of it. And I just haven't gotten around to it, but I'm for sure going to start making beef jerky.
Dude, the corncob pipe and Jamaican jerky.
I'm making my own jerky, dude.
You could not
Yeah,
be more domesticated.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, these days, low test does that to you, man. Like, having my testosterone's in the toilet right now. So, but Pete Hegzef is going to change that. So, I just saw the.
You're
Oh,
back,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
You're back.
I'm back,
Flyovers
yeah.
are in,
Yeah.
and TRT's
Dude,
in.
I can't wait. My wife's like, oh, dear God, no. I'm like, back to being a douchebag.
Bring that pussy back, mama.
That's right. Like, the last thing you need from me is high testosterone, man. I do not need to relive my 20s.
Who knows, dude? It might rejuvenate your marriage.
Well,
Oh,
dude,
it
not
definitely
even
will.
high testosterone, just normal testosterone.
Dude, I know. You know, I went to the VA and got the VA does these like you can kind of opt for them, I guess. These like genetic tests where they'll test everything. It's out of some company out of Utah.
Really?
Yeah, so I did, and they took like 9 vials of blood. I almost passed out on the way home. I'm all like, well, you took too much blood, man. Yeah.
They're like, turns out you've got an extra chromosome.
Like, oh shit, man. Yeah. So yeah, well, it is that time of month. We're celebrating that this month. So.
Gay Pride Month.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's
man.
special needs, man.
Oh,
they wrapped it into one?
No, I think
Shocking.
there may have been a day for that or something. Like everyone only gets a day. Pride gets a month. Everyone else gets a freaking day.
Yeah, that's placating.
Yeah, exactly. But but yeah, my test was like in the toilet, and they were like, "Hey, can you come back and like redo your test because you're like under 200?" And I was like, "Oh shit, man, that makes sense." I feel it. Like I go to the gym all the time and get 0 results from it. I'm tired all the freaking time. I'm pretty docile, which is maybe that's a good thing. But so I now that Hexeth is gonna allow us to just shoot up in the reserves, I'm gonna do it.
Dude, I love the way that Department of War is going right now.
It's pretty
Because that Blue Angels pilot got relieved of command, or no, her command relieved her.
The one that just did the low flyby?
Yeah,
I thought there was
really
no
low, though,
dude. That was
dude.
60 feet. They said.
Yeah.
60 freaking feet.
Checks out, dude.
Yeah.
Every single umbrella was like,
Dude, all the kids are like blown over.
Yeah.
well, dude, what about the fucking TF-160 pilot? They were right outside Kid Rock's fucking.
That was badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, what are these
They
guys
tried
getting
to
in
relieve
trouble
them
for this?
of their flight or hours
Yeah.
or try to ground them, and Hexeth's like, negative.
They're all
Yeah, that was cool.
And I know a couple Black Hawk pilots, like over at NAB or Naval Air Station, and they're like, "That's so just not right." And I'm like,
That's because it wasn't your idea.
Yes!
Yeah.
Because everybody would do it, but if you weren't the one that did it, then F the person who did it.
exactly.
Yeah.
You would be boasting about that at the fucking at the
Guaranteed.
Shut up, bitch!
at the iBar.
So the low flying one got relieved?
She originally got relieved and kicked off the Blue Angel, or
Oh, is the female?
if it was
like,
the Blue Angels. So
good for her, man.
The female commandant or their boss is a female, and then the pilot was a female. And then Hexeth is like, nope. And I saw last night on White House and POTUS fucking Instagram that said, make flyovers great again.
Yeah, and I saw the other one. Hexeth said is the flyovers will continue until
morale improves.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was
And I'm
like,
like,
America's
yes!
back.
Yeah.
America is back.
America is
Dude,
back.
sometimes I see those, I'm like, oh, that's a good fucking meme account, and it's the actual government account. And I'm like,
That's
fuck
the
yeah,
craziest
dude.
thing, man. Sometimes I have to double check. I'm like, dude, somebody hacked the freaking White House account. I'm like, man, this is real life. Someone is putting this out on.
I love it, dude.
I
I'm
too.
here for it, man.
I'm
Isn't
good for
it
it.
such
It's
a
comical,
dichotomy?
bro.
It's such a dichotomy compared to like where we were 4 years ago and where we are now.
Yeah.
Like before, I'm like, am I in China?
Back,
and now I'm
baby.
like, I am sure as fucking America.
Yeah, it's weird because like statesmanship is kind of like dying a little bit, and then you have this kind of like the fringe on the right kind of doing what the fringe on the left has kind of always been doing. So I mean, I don't hate it, man. I like, some of these like mean tweets and whatnot. I'm for them.
Yeah. I'm all about watching
Well, I
this.
think, I mean, there does need to be a little bit decorum for the
Sure,
office and shit.
yes.
I totally get that.
Trump doesn't have decorum.
What was
No.
that? That hashtag was like BBB, like bring back bullying.
Yeah. But the
You're
pendulum
like,
has been so fucking far on the other side. And have you seen all the stuff that's being uncovered now about they're proving that the
The election was
Oh,
fucked.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
all the
saw
stuff.
I saw
Oh,
the
and
thing Trump
Fauci.
released, or about the like China interference. Is that what,
there's so
yeah.
much stuff that's coming out. Like we almost lost the entire country because of this placating to this complete fucking asinine mentality. So now, yeah, I'm fucking happy that it's coming back the other way. Does it need to stay that way forever?
yeah.
Probably not. Should probably be reeled back into center a little
Yeah.
bit. But at the same time, yeah, fuck you, dude. This is our fucking time.
I will
Fuck
say,
you. We're
I
back.
will say, unless something happens, though, it's like, who gives a fuck? Because they're gonna sit and release like, oh, and this many, 320,000, registered
Dude,
voters were registered twice, which that's not necessarily a fucking
Dude,
gotcha moment.
They gotta
Like,
start hanging motherfuckers on the White House lawn.
yeah, I mean, dude,
right now.
They're already beating them up.
Even fucking Maricopa County came out with some shit that was like, hey, this was like this part of the election was like completely fucked. I mean, until there's some type of accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
the
not
problem,
saying that Democrats are the only ones that do it.
No.
No, I don't
But
care. I don't care which side you're on.
There's some
Like, if you
fucked
do
up
this
shit
shit,
Same
on
way,
both
yeah.
sides. But,
Yeah.
dude,
Yep.
it is definitely the point where unless there's accountability, the shit's just going to keep fucking happening. And, I mean, California is a fucking classic example. I mean, just the
Nick Shirley
goddamn
Act?
the fucking
No,
mayor.
yeah, what-
Oh, yeah.
That's
well,
a
just,
wild. I haven't looked into that one. I've like kind of glossed over it, but have you
So
like?
I clauded it, and I pretty much trust Claude.
I
Claude's my
trust
boss.
Claude more than most people.
Yeah, exactly. And
Claude is my
so
co-pilot.
What it is essentially.
In Claude, we trust.
Claude, take the wheel.
Our Claude is an awesome Claude. We're making
coming,
shirts
man.
right
That's
themselves, man.
They really do.
Ryan's already like, all right, new shirt.
Stand by, team. But essentially, it prevents outside influencers from investigating fraud. So you essentially have to go through the California state fucking legislature in order to petition an investigation, which we all know is just going to get churned up into bureaucracy.
Which is fucking horseshit.
Petition
and it passed
to
the
launch an
first
investigation.
run of the
Yeah.
bill.
Like, no, we're going to investigate ourselves.
Yeah,
Which,
you,
which,
we will, yeah.
which coming out and saying that, you're basically shitting on the First Amendment that says there's freedom of press.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking investigative journalists have been doing this shit since
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, the
the beginning
inception
of
it,
fucking
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, that what used to be
It's
what
fucking
kept
horseshit,
That's
dude.
what used to be what kept government honest was journalists.
Yeah, real
And now
true
that
journalism.
that is literally what props up
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
side of the
But
government.
journalism died 20 years
Yes,
ago.
it's done.
And now
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
just
the
zombie
whole reason Nixon
walking
fucking resigned was not because of what was done. It was because of the exposure from
They were trying to fry
who
him.
was that deep throat?
Deep Throat.
and
Yeah, Deep
fucking,
Throat.
which was a frame job from either the FBI or the CIA.
yeah, don't Google that on
CIA.
a government computer.
Right.
So not the website I thought I was going to find.
Pull your cat card out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the second time I made
Deep
E6.
thoughts.
Well, but going back to the whole fucking election thing, where you have it takes a week to count the votes just from the mayoral race
Right. Bullshit,
in
dude.
L.A. And
Yeah,
it's-
what a crazy
it's like, what
middle of
the
the night again. You pull ahead when you weren't even like a number on a wall. You're
Yeah.
like, how, that doesn't make any sense.
You have people
man.
in the polling station going, yeah, at like 1:30 this morning, we had a box or a truck with boxes of ballots show up. And you're like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
what
only
is
and
this?
it's-
From Skid Row.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing is,
exactly.
and it's only in one direction. That's how you know something's up. Because it'd be
Yeah.
one thing if it was like
It's not
once in a
this.
while it was like the
just-
other side, but it is never the other side.
yeah.
It's only one side.
and they
that
were
that
all for
benefits.
they were all for that one chick who
Yeah.
wound up coming in second, who was initially third, and there was a prop attached to some shit that all of them decided
for
like,
more tax.
oh, we're
We
gonna
also
vote
want
for
more
more
tax.
tax.
Yeah, we're
No,
gonna
we-
say
yeah.
yes to that.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's such bullshit.
And then the
man.
governor comes out and goes, we were gonna fuck you over if you're uncovering any of this fraud.
Yeah.
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 By the Nick Shirley Act.
Because of course our government's so good at uncovering shit. Dude, they spent $20-something billion on homelessness, and the homelessness got
worse.
Got worse,
increased. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, because you incentivize people
Yeah.
to. You didn't incentivize getting them off the streets. You incentivize creating more homeless. Like that's what
yeah,
you're going to
So
get.
creating
Santa-
these
yep.
NGOs to go, oh,
Yeah.
guess what?
So
I'm
Santa
making
Cruz-
$600,000 finding housing for homeless people. Well, how many homeless people have you put in houses? Well, none.
Right.
None yet. We're getting there.
Yeah,
It's on a bullet train.
Santa Cruz County, when I was growing up in high school, was kind of one of the first communities I've seen that started this enabling homelessness, where the soup kitchens became everybody could go to the soup kitchen. You got a paycheck if you're homeless. You just had to register, but you could go pick up a $150 check. And this is in the the 90s, so $150 actually got you something. But you would go get your check, go to the soup kitchen, and then they called it the Starving Artist Network, where there's these like really nice condominiums that were built all through Santa Cruz County, and it was just homeless people living there free of charge.
Wow.
So, and then that bleeds out. Like, why would you not vote for the guy who just did that for you? If you're,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen the
Free shit.
Save Act stuff too. So it made it through the Senate, and I think it has to go through the House now, which is a 50-50
Oh,
shot.
opposite.
Or, yeah, one of those
The
two.
Senate were the ones that were throwing.
I still don't know how the whole thing works.
Roadblocks.
But maybe I'm a bad American. But But yeah, so it made it through one of those. Still has to go through other.
I'm just a bill, a lonely old bill.
But now you've got the Democrats coming out and straight up saying, and the SAVE Act is basically saying that you have to have ID to vote, right? And you've got Democrats coming out and saying, not this shouldn't be a political issue, but it's like, oh, the Democrats will never win an election again if this is passed. I'm like,
Yeah.
You realize what you just fucking said?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
the only reason that you're winning is because you're fucking cheating?
Yeah.
And you're admitting to it? Like, what the fuck? And nobody's like,
Well, also
calling
they're
on
like,
it.
hey, we don't need ICE agents at any of their
Yeah,
polling
yeah.
places. They're going to start putting people in jail. We're like, well, why do you have illegal immigrants at polling
yeah,
places?
I thought they couldn't vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go to interview.
It's a fucking, it's the double talk
Yeah.
that blows my mind, you know. And the latest polling was, 80% of Americans wanted some form of
just makes
accountability, and it's not that you have to show up at a polling place with an ID. It's the fact that you have to prove you have to be a fucking citizen to register to vote.
An eligible voter.
You know?
You have to
Key
prove
eligibility.
you have to prove via ID so many things in the United States, and you would think
It's
the
retarded.
one thing that should be one of the most important things we do, which is voting,
Yeah.
to elect officials. And I hate saying elected leaders because they're not leaders; they're elected officials. And I think we as Americans have allowed them to be leaders, and that's not what they are. They're elected officials to speak for the people on behalf of the people who voted them in. But like to take place in this the thing that makes America, we're just like, it's now a free for all and anyone can do it, is the wildest shit.
You can't even
on
drive a
earth.
car without a fucking
Well, you get,
certification.
but you get that certification now just for coming over, which is crazy. So they give the driver's
Well, yeah.
licenses. Just
you get a driver's
yeah,
license,
it's-
and it automatically registers you to
Right.
vote in
And
some
who are you
states.
going to vote
Yeah.
for if you're going to vote for if you're here illegally and somebody gave you that?
get
Why
for
would you
free
not
shit.
vote for that? Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
would if I'm a refugee to Italy, and Italy's whoever is in charge is like, here's all the things you get under us. I'm voting for you for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
of
Yeah.
course.
And this is not even like, we're not really a political show. This isn't a left or right issue.
It's
This is
not.
a basic American common sense
Yeah.
issue. It's fucking crazy.
This
that
is
anybody
also
opposes
why
that.
the rape stats in Europe have skyrocketed. This is also why when I was over in Rome, like, dude, my entire Instagram feed, probably because it knows me well, was just like Ireland when that beheading was almost transpired, and they're like, "You fucking cunt," like just yelling at him, and he's just sitting there yelling over
They
this
had the
dude's
one in
son
England
over
where the
his
guy,
fucking
the
neck.
two dudes actually chopped the dude's head off while everybody's watching, and it took some special
Like videoing.
unit, special unit with guns to
Because
come
they
up and
actually
put those
can carry
dudes
'em.
down. Yeah, which is insane. Yeah,
Like police officers in England cannot carry firearms.
right. They have special units
They
to
have a
carry
bat.
that. Yeah, yeah, like a
Kinda
little one.
whistle.
You're like,
Beep. Stop. Stop, or I'll say stop again.
I'll say it louder. I'll say it way louder.
Yeah.
Let's get back on topic.
God dang, man.
There's
the-
your political
That
rant
was the
for you.
topic. That was good.
Yeah.
Aliens are next.
I do feel like one of the shows we should do is to have somebody on that's like some civics
Yes.
expert
Yeah.
that understands all the
Yeah.
ins and outs. And
I do
don't-
have a good guy for that also has a really good podcast. Also a
cool.
former PJ.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
BK.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Like very fucking
Yeah, what's
down
his
the line.
Instagram? Like BK runs the world. Or...
BK Actual. And then
Yeah.
his podcast is Real World News with BK.
Yep.
And it is one of the most bipartisan fucking podcasts that I've ever heard.
check that
And
out.
it's just actual news. He does it every Saturday. And also, I just want to call him a fucking bitch because he would never shout us out on his podcast.
Dang.
But we're going to pull you on the podcast, BK, because actually he's our second most requested guest.
no shit.
Really?
I've had
Who's our first?
Me.
Biss?
No,
Me.
it was Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, Gallagher.
Yeah.
Well, guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would be impeccable if we did kind of like a monthly.
Is he local?
Yeah, he lives in OB.
Oh, nice.
I
He
didn't
was
realize
my
he's an
neighbor.
OB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he not want to come on, or like?
I asked him. He's like, I don't know.
What's his reservation?
I don't know what his resume. Probably because it's not all about him.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
don't know. I'm chirping him right now. He's not. He's not fucking fooling himself. Actually, currently right now he's doing EP for the official World Cup podcast.
Interesting.
So he's been going from city to city
Oh,
to city
shit.
to city, just getting ransacked.
Nice.
Dude,
And
that's
he's
fun,
like,
man.
dude, get me out of this heat.
Yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
have a question for you before you went out. The photos that you did when you were on tour with Zach, how the fuck did you get pictures of like these iconic places with no other tourists around?
Yeah,
did you
that's what I
edit
was
them out? Like, how the fuck did you get these pictures with no people in them?
Claude.
Claude is God. No, it was a 50-50. So because we were flying from Tokyo to Rome and like all the different time changes, there was really kind of like the first day was like no sleep to be had. So we would like rack out for like 2 hours. And then next thing I know, I'm up at like 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, let's hit it. And so we would just go out and kind of wait till like daybreak, and nobody was out. Tokyo it spins up early, but Rome doesn't.
You know, it's funny. I noticed that when Disney and I were in Prague as well. Dude, the Starbucks doesn't even open till fucking 9 a.m. Dude.
Jeez.
Same in Italy. Like Italy is a
nobody is
very
up.
late culture. Like
Yeah.
they'll go to bed at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
but nothing
Yeah, they eat
turns on
dinner at
until
like
10.
11,
Dude,
which is
there's-
insane.
There's like this crazy bridge that like everybody goes to, and it's fucking crowded. But we're up there like 7 a.m. We're the only people on the entire fucking
Yeah.
bridge at 7. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah, we
crazy
did
early.
a tour, like a
You see a
European
guy
tour.
at the end.
Yeah.
He's got a clock and fucking road flares,
flavor flavors.
suicide bomber.
Like, oh, that's why nobody's here.
Yeah, we're in Spain, same thing. Like, because where Spain's at in the international date line, it's like 8 a.m. and it's still dark. But my wife and I are like walking around because 8 a.m. and we're like up at 5, so we're like 3 hours of no sun. But yeah, doing all like, you know, obviously the shops don't really open until 8 also. But same thing, man. Like daybreak, nobody was out. But
Yeah.
you know, until
So that's how I'd mitigate it. And if there was like onesies or twosies, then now the software is good enough. And I'm like, dunk, 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 get the fuck out.
Yeah, software's amazing
Yeah.
these days, man.
But a lot of it was earned via, 4 or 5 a.m. And then the rest of it was just kind of onesies, twosies. Because like when it comes fucking noon,
yeah, it's a
there's no
freaking
AI
zoo,
good
man.
enough
Yeah.
to eliminate 5,000 people, waiting
Yeah.
in line for the Coliseum.
Yeah,
That
that
shit's
line's
hilarious.
no joke, man. Coliseum's the coolest place I've ever been. Rome's my favorite place on earth, just history-wise. I don't know if you
History-wise.
ever had a
No,
chance
I
to go
haven't.
there, but if you like history at all, Rome is like the place where everything kind of converges. But
And it's a great place, I would say, for like 3 days of pure history.
yes,
And then
because it's dirty, man.
And then
It's-
you don't need to go back.
I need to go back though, man. I feel like
Ever.
Not ever.
Well,
I mean, it's a good time.
so like
That's how I
there's
feel about London.
yeah, there's this like pyramid outside of the main kind of area in Rome. And this pyramid's kind of a little bit steeper than a normal pyramid. It looks like it was built like a couple of years ago. And I remember walking past it thinking it was nothing because when we were doing our European tour, I was like, if it's not 1,000 years old, I don't even want to look at it. So I'm like, no joke. I'm like, oh, that's 400 years old? Don't care. I'm like, walk past it. I'm like, show me the oldest
Newbie.
shit you have yet.
Yeah.
But this pyramid I walked past because I thought it was brand new, and then I like Googled it when I got back home. Turns out it's the actual oldest thing in Rome from like the original Roman emperor. I believe it's like one of the top, like the 1 to 3.
like 6th century BC.
Yeah, it was like he built it for himself. It's the oldest thing in Rome. There's a sidewalk that goes around it, and everybody walks past it like it's nothing, and it looks like it was built
Wow.
like a couple of years ago. And I was like, fuck, I didn't even go like stop and look at it and take a picture. But that's the oldest thing in freaking Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing about Europe in general. Like whenever I was out in Hungary, I mean, we're in like this bathhouse. No homo.
Sure you were.
You
You went to a lot of bathhouses,
Literally, this
Kevin.
thing was built in like the 1400s.
Wow.
Or some crazy shit like that. I'm like, dude, this
medieval.
thing's been around like,
Yeah.
300 years before our country even existed or some shit, But, and I think it's weird, like you're saying about like history and stuff. I get nerded out by a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
but it's so weird how perception of history, like you're saying, like, I don't want to see anything past 400 years or everything 1,000 or more. Like it's weird, like when you talk about like Shakespeare and shit
Right.
that evolved around London and Rome and all these European countries and shit. But I was reading a thing today, and it was talking about Julius Caesar when he was fucking stabbed to death, and the Ides of March and all that. Like throw it out to any of you guys. Like, when do you think that was? When he died?
Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Fuck, Zach's going to kill me.
I'm totally ignorant.
Zach's going to kill me. I
it's
wanted to say
probably like-
1400.
Nah, the
380?
Julius Caesar.
80?
I would say it was probably like 1100, maybe or older than that. Maybe Julius Caesar. I don't remember the
I
emperors.
would
I'm
say
not really.
1500 AD.
I said 380, but I don't know.
I'll say
I'm guessing.
180.
God.
30 years before Christ was born.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, so 1st century BC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was
like
Nero.
32
yeah, 'cause
BC.
Nero
Yeah.
Nero
I'm
was
like,
the
hold
emperor
that
during.
shit blew
Yep.
my mind. I'm like, so Julius Caesar
Yeah, it's
was
crazy, right?
killed before Christ was around.
Yeah.
I'm like, that threw me for a loop.
And then, you go even deeper. You see, like Nero was the emperor during Christ, and then you get into like that sort of history where it's like kind of living history, where like it intertwines with the Bible and kind of what's going on. But the Roman history, for whatever reason, like I don't know if you guys remember this like trend going on a couple years ago where chicks were asking
assassination in 44 BC.
Jeez, man.
Sorry, and the other fucked up thing too. I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
The other fucked up thing, he didn't invent the fucking salad.
No, I know. Mexicans did.
Who is this motherfucker? So we name a salad after this guy? You didn't even invent it?
The Caesar
No, there's
salad.
That's
It's
stolen
actually
valor
a
right there.
Caesar
That's
salad.
stolen valor. Yeah. Fuck that guy. Fuck you, Julius Caesar. Not even a salad
Could have
after
been the
you.
Jose salad. What the fuck?
So
Yeah,
not even
so
the
it's
pizza?
absurd.
Not even the pizza.
Caesar
not
pizza?
Even, yeah.
No, Little Caesars.
Napolitano pizza.
Well, that was his midget fucking little kid that he hid away like
They
number
threw,
one.
I was gonna say they threw him off a freaking cliff.
Yeah,
That's how.
Pizza.
Yeah.
But all right, before we get back to this, one of the things on this whole Euro trip that I did with Zach Masick that we had on the podcast, that was incredible. I had my own fucking tour guide, like my own personal Green Beret tour guide going through this, and like I will tell you,
That must have been fun.
Yeah, that'd
he
be cool.
does have a motherfucking degree in history because we went through not only Japan but Rome, and he was calling out things, and so. You know how you'd like come up on something you need to look at and they have like a little plaque in 9 different languages? He's like, all right, this is from this century AD and it's in this design and blah, blah, blah. And then I would walk up to it and he's like, told you. And he'd get so fired up. And he was dead spot on every single time.
Dude, that's crazy.
How does he feel about Elliot Page playing?
Oh, he is irate. Irate.
Yes, I love it.
It's been very fluent and prevalent on his Instagram where he's like,
I love it.
Fucking kidding me.
I
This
didn't
is
check
how you
that
want to
out.
represent.
Still can't wait to see that movie. That movie's gonna be
I'm still gonna
anything
do it.
Nolan makes. I'm watching
dude, it blew
man.
up. It was supposedly at like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
guaranteed,
It's also the
man.
most expensive movie I think made since
Yes,
Titanic.
240 million or something like that was the budget for it.
That's
It
it?
was shot in IMAX and they
Yeah,
lived on the
100%
ships.
IMAX.
I'm gonna wait till I get it for free. I'm not contributing to that shit.
I gotta watch it in IMAX. I watched Oppenheimer. Anything Nolan does, I'm a fan of that guy's. There's not a movie he's made that I'm not. It's not like one of my favorite movies, but
There's great movies. It's just the DEI shit. It's fucking. I
yeah.
just
So
can't
I
stand
read
it.
something, and I don't know if this is true or not because I didn't vet it, but I did read that a lot of the DEI things that are going on is because the Screen Actors Guild has made it. You have to meet certain criteria to qualify for an Oscar. So you take art out of it, and you go, it's not about the art anymore. It's about who am I appeasing?
How many blacks, whites, Asians do you have?
So I guess we'll see
How
with
many were there
this.
in ancient Greece? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Oh my God. All right. So this is one of the funniest fucking moments. There's caveats in what we were saying. So Zach and I took a train out of Rome and we were on it for like 3 hours. We went to like the middle of nowhere in Italy, but it was like right on the coast. And it's one of the oldest cities, ancient Greek
Like the
cities
Amalfi
in
Coast.
Rome. I can pull it up.
Yeah.
But this place is literally just like a €5 ticket and you scan it and you just get to walk in. I have some of my favorite photos I've probably ever taken in my life at this place. And it's just like massive coliseums that still exist. And now probably like 3 to 4 foot, just kind of like squares everywhere of like the villages and the market and like the roads still existing. And like now you
That's how
still have
Pompeii
these
is. Yeah.
like waterways and stuff. And I was just blown the fuck away. Guess what? 6th century BC
Yeah.
is when this place existed.
You ever gone to Pompeii? It's out of
It's
Naples.
on my bucket list.
I went there. I spent a day in Pompeii. And I didn't think I was going to give 2 craps about Pompeii until I went there, and that is one of the most incredible places because so much of the architecture actually still exists. Even the domes, where there's paintings on the domes and the bathhouses, and like the amount of things they had. They had heated floors in their bathhouses. They had running water.
Pretty advanced.
This like ancient civilization was so advanced. And that's why the pyramids, I'm like,
Another
I
one
don't know,
of
man. I don't
things
think we were going to go down that road. Like, I'm like,
Definitely
man.
aliens, bro. Definitely
Gotta
aliens.
be the aliens,
Yeah.
man.
Energy source.
Have you met Egyptians? Definitely fucking aliens, bro.
Facts. Same with Somalians.
Yeah.
Except
Yes.
they're the retarded ones.
Oh my god.
So we're going through this, and we're walking in the middle of this temple, and I'm just like looking up, and I'm like starstruck, and Zach leans over, and he's like, "You want to know what Africa is doing in the 6th century BC?"
Yeah, right.
Same thing they're doing now.
Same fucking
Literally
shit.
same thing.
Exactly, dude.
Dude,
what's-
I
yep.
lost it. I just fucking died. I'm like, you're so not wrong.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, and then so they have a museum.
It's not a color thing. It's a culture thing.
Well, if you look at like
Exactly.
Ethiopia is like as like archaic as Ethiopia is, the amount of world history that still is preserved within Ethiopia and how much
yeah.
Ethiopia has to do with like these other cultures, that's kind of a crazy rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff. Fuck, I had a point with her. I forgot what it was though.
What are you looking for?
I'm
by the
looking
way?
for. I know. I'm looking around like
You're
a fucking
looking like
rabbit.
a cat with a
I
laser.
know. Yeah, totally.
It's like, where's my keys at?
Because I was gonna say I have these little like that's a rock from Sir Richard Branson's island. All these little
shit.
rocks
All
from
right.
other places around the world.
I want to ride.
When we were in Prague, I took this little these roads had been there for fucking I don't know 1,000 years or something like that. So I probably shouldn't do this, but I took a fucking little block. It's a cube. It's a cube
Yeah.
of fucking whatever rock it was. So I took it home and I have it. I thought I had it here, but I don't know.
Oh, like a cobblestone.
yeah, it's part
Oh,
of the
you
rock.
took the cobblestone.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's funny you said
It's
that.
like
awesome.
it's like 3 by 3 inches.
Yeah.
Little thing.
When I was on my honeymoon, we went to Greece, and we were on Naxos, which is kind of like an off the beaten path island, but like very touristy. And the Temple of Apollo is there, and it's literally a wire. And it was like,
Dude, that's crazy.
1
From
a.m.?
The guy from Rocky?
Yeah.
no, that's
crazy.
barbed wire. So I step over and I asked Nikki to like take a photo, and then I ended up just kind of like picking up some marble and like putting it in my backpack. And all of a sudden now I'm just like going home like this. But now I have all this like OG marble from the Temple of
Yeah,
Apollo.
That's cool.
That's what William Randolph Hearst did for the Hearst Castle. You ever been to the Hearst Castle?
No.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
full circle for where me and Nick come from, where we met, is the grandson of William Randolph Hearst, is who we protected. And if you go to the Hearst Castle,
That dude's in San Diego?
yeah, so it's insane.
Damn.
But I've gone with him and his family to the Hearst Castle. If you ever get a chance in San Simeon,
Yeah, that
Go
place is
there.
amazing.
but
It's
if you look,
friggin'
yeah, it's
crazy.
so you want to talk about priceless artifacts. So during, not to give you the history lesson on this guy, because I don't really give two shits about him, but if you go there, it's pretty cool because what you're saying, he has parts of the different Colosseums. One of them being, I forgot which, the Acropolis. He has stones from the Acropolis on his pool deck that make up, and then the tile in there.
Parthenon.
Or is it? Yeah.
The Acropolis is the rock.
Yeah, it's not the-
the
yeah, it's not-
Parthenon is the.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
okay.
right.
So, but he has these pieces of history at his castle, the Hearst Castle,
Wow.
and you walk through the castle, and he has these Egyptian, like he has these things, he has like shelves everywhere, and there's like things on it that look like, like this, but
Hieroglyphs.
they're like this is from, somewhere in Egypt, out of one of the, some tomb of
It's like a whole
whoever.
museum over there.
Yeah, and they're like priceless artifacts. And he has ceilings you walk through, and you're like, man, this is a crazy looking ceiling. Like, oh, this is from some 2,000 or 1,000-year-old.
Michelangelo painted
Yeah,
it. We're
yeah,
like,
it's from
what the
some
fuck?
church in Belgium that he bought it off in like the turn of the century because World War I, the entire world's bankrupt.
Yeah.
This dude's the richest person in the world at the time.
Yeah.
They called him a kingmaker. So basically, any presidents were made because of this guy, and he's just traveling around the world, going, "Man, send this back to my place. I'm gonna put that in my freaking house."
I want to look at this more often.
Dude, yeah,
That's really cool.
it's if you walk through, it's cool, but it's also kind of sad because he just bought people's history. It's just sitting in this San Simeon castle.
Well, a lot of these things do need to be preserved, and sometimes
Sure.
it's not up to the country to preserve it. Even
Yep.
our own history here in the United States, we're
I agree,
toppling
yeah.
statues, we're pulling shit down because of whatever fucking
Yep.
Well, look at
whatever
those two
fashionable
giant
mentality at the
freaking
time.
Buddhas that were destroyed by the Taliban.
I was
in
about to say that
Afghanistan.
exact
Exactly.
thing,
And
man.
Syria.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the temples that are being burned down
Yep.
in Japan right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy
that.
stuff.
I mean, we are like, because unfortunately, history is written by people who win, right? So these countries take over and they just try to wipe out history, which is.
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%, Ryan. Like I feel like preserving world history is like a humanitarian. Like it's our job as humans, not as that's American history. That's world history. American history is world history.
Like right or wrong, it should be preserved.
Well, yeah, you have those
Yep.
UNICEF like world, whatever they're called
Right.
now, which even that is like, okay, great, it's a world, whatever the hell it's called, UNICEF World something.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like the
World Heritage Site.
Yeah,
There you
World
go.
Heritage site. Yeah, that's what you said, Rich. Yeah. But that's one of those fucked up things. I mean, it's not like the United Nations has like an army that's going to come and like.
They do it. Then we like Somalis in white vehicles.
Yeah, like we
blue helmets.
Like
Lord
they just blew up this shit. It was a World Heritage site. They're like, we strenuously condemn this country. And they're like, get fucked, poser.
In the
Like,
strongest
who cares?
terms.
You know, you got like the Taliban's like, fuck you. We don't even have shoes. What are you gonna do to us?
Yep.
But that is crazy, man. That like countries can go in there and just like they'll just wipe out history. Like you go to like places in like Jordan, you have like Petra, right? These places they're just carved into the side of a mountain, and you're like, dude, the fact that nobody is, I mean, because Hitler tried to do it. He ran through countries and was just like
he was
mortaring
just stealing
things,
shit,
trying to, stealing it or destroying it.
Yeah.
And Russia did the same thing. But I mean, it's you ever watch Monuments Men?
Yeah,
where
that's
like,
pretty
they
cool.
like hid. Oh man, that's a great story. It's a true story about this group of, not to go down this rabbit hole, but this group of American GIs or a special task force to preserve these world things.
Cool.
So like hiding. And it wasn't the Mona Lisa necessarily, but like things like that. These world famous things are hiding in a mountain so that Hitler can't go destroy them because that's what he was doing.
They found like a shit ton of like priceless paintings
in mounntons,
in like a salt mine in like
Nicolas Cage on
Salzburg or some shit. And
I think so, actually. He's in the sequel, I think.
it was like George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney. I almost said Dan Aykroyd.
Who's the dude that was the dad in Rosebank? John Goodman. Yeah,
there's a lot of people, but if you look into the history of that, like that was a whole thing during World War II where, again, Hitler was trying to destroy people. That's what every conquering country tries to do. Is the first thing you do is you destroy their history, and then the people are demoralized.
You rewrite it.
The Romans are kind of like the guys who started that. You become a Roman just by us conquering you, or we kill you, or put you in slavery. So it's your three choices. So, but we destroy your whatever history you have. But, Hitler tried to do the same thing with the Third Reich, which was the Third Roman Empire, which is what the Third Reich essentially is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you go to Rome, a crazy thing when you're going through
Rome.
Rome.
What was the second then?
The Second Reich, I don't remember exactly
I thought it was the
where.
Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and then Hitler wanted to be the Third Reich.
Yeah, but it was an extension of the Roman Empire essentially. And again, I'm not a historian, so I will probably misquote.
Well, because the Roman Empire was essentially pushed down by Germanic tribes.
Yeah, and if you look at history as a whole, like the Roman Empire is one of
from inside too.
I'm so sorry.
It kind of it kind of came about slowly that no one really knows exactly how the Roman Empire kind of became, and then it died after a couple thousand years, which is insane when you look at the reach of it.
Yeah,
and somehow it doesn't exist anymore.
Because it used to be insanely pagan, and then all of a sudden now you start seeing all the art, and then now you start seeing crosses and like all that stuff, and so that's where the dichotomy lies.
Yeah,
how we got there, and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Know.
Well, it's ton of it's theory, though. Like,
and shit.
Yeah, and a lot of it's theory.
The Huns and the
Mongols.
Yeah, exactly. They have tons of different tribes, and there's a lot of different influence within kind of what caused the fall.
We need a history teacher on here.
Because they'll probably look at me and be like, "You were wrong about everything you just fucking
You're
said."
so fucking stupid.
There are comments on this episode. Like, you guys are all fucking dumb.
That's why I apologize to Zach. I'm like, dude,
I'll apologize to anybody who knows anything about history because I, as much as I love history, I'm probably misquoting all of it.
Yeah.
So.
And it's weird. I mean, you're never going to get it all 100% correct. And again, history is written by the winners.
Yeah.
So
who knows what the
who
actual
the fuck
truth
knows?
is?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
there's two sides of history. Always. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Are we ready to get back to
Sure. Yeah.
to you?
Let's do it. That was a long side quest.
The side quest was good though, man.
That was the longest side quest.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But that was one of the things when we were talking about
Back on it.
some of the stuff you were doing with, scuttling these boats and shit like that. I was going to say, I'm like, you probably got to go to a lot of like pretty cool countries and shit like this. And then we were talking on the break about like Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the shit that went on down there.
So I think when Katrina hit 2005, I was 21, I think maybe 22. I don't remember how old I was, but I was pretty young. It was the first kind of experience with like true mass casualty. Like I've never been to war, never been overseas to see kind of. I've been to third world countries, but I've never seen.
And you were stationed in San Diego.
Stationed in San Diego. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my introduction to kind of what humanity can do to itself. So, and I think probably maybe the thing that makes it the most shocking is Americans doing it to Americans. It's not something we think we could do as a society, but just to kind of, tell you what my team's kind of role was in this is a few days before the touchdown of Katrina, we got like an alert that we're going to be recalled for probably security reasons. So as this thing kind of became a Cat 4, and I think it was a Cat 5 when it made land, we got put on standby and like, hey, we're going to need all hands on deck for this. And because we're the Coast Guard, they're like if you don't have a job currently, you are going to go do this. And it was I would say at least 3/4 of the Coast Guard was on scene in New Orleans during this time.
Oh, wow.
So
Dude,
ours was
crazy.
Yep, ours was specifically security related. It was kind of a trip because again, our teams are very new. Our capabilities are extremely new. We're just kind of out of training with people. We've worked with all these advisors and whatnot, but we've never done anything yet. So we get this kind of op order, if you will, for this thing that's maybe happened, maybe doesn't. And they said, hey, here's your government credit cards. Go get everything you need to live off the land for 30 days. And we're like, okay. So we went to REI, bought them out of freaking everything. Like it was kind of crazy because we literally were going to REI and Sports Chalet and just being like, I need 16 of everything. I need 16 showers. I need 16 North Face sleeping bags. I need 16 North Face everything. So we just loaded up these pallets, threw them on the back of stake beds, and we drove out 16 dudes to Texas. So we staged in Texas. I think the hurricane had left. We were on the road while the hurricanes touched down. Hurricane leaves about a day and a half later, and we're in Texas and Dallas, and we're just kind of waiting to see like what's open. Like, how are we going to get there? We're going to go across Pontchartrain, or we're going to have to go around the long way. So we're just, it was kind of a ragtag thing. We didn't really have a plan. We're just in stake beds and there's 16 dudes, and we're just sitting there, all of our shit, not really sure what we're getting into. So we get the kind of clearance that Pontchartrain's open, so we're going to go around whatever highway that is from Dallas. It's like a 12-hour drive or something like that.
And you guys are loaded out with guns and everything too, right?
Yeah, so we get to Pontchartrain. So we're just, and here's like kind of the crazy thing. The Coast Guard really had no like life within the media. Like the Coast Guard wasn't really mentioned. Nobody really knew about the Coast Guard. Katrina hits and that all kind of changed. So on the way out, people were like, hey man, we're like, I remember like the night before we like went into New Orleans, they were like, we're at Hooters. And some dude was like, hey man, what do you guys, you're obviously like military guys. Like, what are y'all doing here? We're like, oh, we're Coast Guard about to head into New Orleans, and people are buying us dinner, and it was this weird time that I was like, people thanking you, like, thank you for your service, like the weirdest thing to me still, because I'm like, it's a job, right? Like, that's how I think of it, and probably most of us do. So, so we drive across Lake Pontchartrain, we get to the other side, and we stop, and we know the only thing we knew at this time is it'd been 1 day since the hurricane, like an entire day since the hurricane passed. We knew there's no electricity.
1 day.
1 day. We knew. And we had like no comms with almost anybody. So electricity's out. There's an order. It's not under martial law, but there's a
curfew type thing.
Yeah, well, everyone needs to be out that's non-essential personnel. So it's like a mandate, but it's not technically martial law. So it's this kind of, I don't even know what it, what it kind of is. But so we get to the other side of Lake Pontchartrain. We do a little regroup real quick. We're like, hey man, let's get up. Let's freaking throw the nods on because we're not gonna like roll through. We don't know what's going on. But I remember as we're coming across, we get to the first town. I don't know what the town is, but I remember these like tall buildings, and the whole side of them you could see into the office buildings because the windows are gone, top to bottom. It was like Resident Evil. It was the best way I could describe it.
Metairie.
Is that the town?
Metairie?
Maybe, yeah. And I remember sitting there. It's a ghost town. There's nobody out. There's no street lights on. And it's the sun's about to go down. And I was like,
Which
man,
is
what are we?
Just east of the airport, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kit up, throw some guys in the back of the stake beds. We're like, we don't know what's going on, but we'll just kind of make our way towards Sector New Orleans, which is the Coast Guard base there. So we throw everything on, and again, there's no lights anywhere, so like your headlights don't do you any good because they're not bouncing off anything. So we just throw our nods on, and we're like, we'll just cruise through, and it's back in the single tube days. There's a lot of in the green. So you're
14
by what
greens.
back then you're like, this is the coolest shit in the entire world. We're freaking doing it.
We own the night.
Really doing it. Yeah, serious. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's literally how it felt. Everyone's just like, "Yeah, man, we freaking went to training for a reason."
We're there, man.
We're like, we're finally off the freaking bench. We're in it. So we get to Sector San Diego or Sector New Orleans at some point in the middle of the night, and kind of group with what's going on. It's weird, man. It's like refugee camp. So we're driving through like tents everywhere, and we're like, this is kind of odd, but you don't see anyone out. The next morning, it's hot as freaking, I can't even describe, like, all the time I spent in South and Central America. That one trip to New Orleans at that time was the most hot, humid time of my entire freaking life.
Muggy.
Just miserable. So you're trying to sleep and you can't because you're in a tent. Yeah, and you're like we had these tents, we set them up, and we're like, dude, you can't even sleep because you're just like sweating your ass off. Next day,
breathing
wake
through
up.
a fucking straw. It's so fucking humid.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It took a couple days for like the smell to kind of kick up, but where Sector New Orleans wasn't too far from where the levees broke. So the first probably week, it was a bit of a free for all on what we're doing. So we got tasked out for probably a million different things, but our primary job was to assist the firefighters who were in these P-row boats, these little shallow bottom boats.
Oh yeah,
cruising around because they're getting pop shots taken at them. By around the third day is when this kind of kicked off, where it actually started getting a little dangerous. So they put us in the 9th ward, which is like the gang central for.
It's like the Beverly Hills of New Orleans.
Yes, except the toilet version of that. So yeah, so it was a pretty. I mean, I'd never been in New Orleans before. I had no frame of reference on like what it looked like before, and a lot of the guys we were with, like, hey man, it didn't look that great before. Like it's now just underwater. Right. So, but yeah, the mission kind of evolved from doing a lot of rescues. So we're trying to rescue as many people as we could to like, people are just dead. So now we're like probably about the first week into it. We're not making a lot of rescues. It's a lot of just kind of like breaking windows and just smelling, see if people are dead.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, there's the most amount of like death I've ever seen in my life before or after.
Damn.
And I remember it was about the second week. One of the things that we had a bunch of different tasks within this like security thing, but we're also, we're on these little boats with these firefighters. So we're also trying to help them. And we were lucky enough, we were like San Diego Fire Department was the guys we were grouped with.
Cool.
Yeah, randomly. Just, we like meet up with these guys. Like, hey, we're SD Fire Department. We're like, cool, we're at SD. And we're like, what do you guys need? We'll help you. But we're like pulling bodies onto boats. And I remember...
it's like bodies just floating in the fucking water.
Dude, it was everywhere.
And they're all bloated as fuck.
Yeah, by about the 5th day, we call them floaters, man. I remember, like, because they're just bloated. So you could see them, like, I have pictures of it I should share with you guys, but...
When you put them on the boat, you just tie a rope to them and
so
drag
that's what we ended up doing, yeah.
Like,
So
clean this body for San Diego. Big fucking flag.
But yeah, dude, that's kind of what happened is we're doing body recovery, and then it got so gnarly. I remember I was helping one of the firefighters like get this body on, and I went to grab the dude's arm, and his skin just came off the arm. Dude, I remember like holding the skin in my hand. I like dropped it, and I was just like, I was in shock. Where I was just like, I couldn't process what just happened. And I remember seeing this skeleton, this perfect skeleton with nothing on it, like a fake skeleton of an arm.
It's like you smoked it.
Yeah, no joke. And I remember just looking at it, and I was like staring. I remember the one firefighter, because I was young. I was like 20. I think I just turned 21. And then one firefighter was like, hey, man, just like turn away. And I was like, I can't. Like,
what kind of watch did he have on?
Well, I wore it after that. So I was like, this guy's not going to miss this. It was a Timex. And it was a Velcro.
G-Shock.
Velcro. Still got it right here. Here it is. But yeah, it was, it just became this weird, yeah, to your point about dragging them. So that became the thing kind of after a while is, I'm like, hey, man, we're not going to pull anything on because it's still a little bit too dangerous. Like, grab these, and they're falling apart. So we're dragging them to like telephone poles, and we're taking a GPS reading, just hitting up the corners, and be like, hey, man, at this section, we have like 15 bodies we have tied.
Fuck.
And
So you're
like
doing
fish.
like anchor points.
Yes, and
Which is smart.
dude, it was. I mean, you could smell that by the end of the first week, the water was so gnarly because you had all the cemeteries. You had all the bodies from there, and they don't bury their people. They're in, I forgot what they call it, but the
mausoleums.
Yeah, crypts.
Yeah, crypts. There you go.
Yeah.
So you have
Not
bodies.
to be confused with the Bloods.
Yeah, same. They were all there, the Crips and the Bloods. But yeah, so you have the gasoline. You just have this like concoction of like shit in the water, and the smell. they say smell is the most tide sense to the memory.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to OB and I smell low tide, it takes me back to that exact moment. But for whatever reason, low tide to me smells like Hurricane Katrina.
Or hippies.
Yeah.
It's a shitty.
Just disappointment and
Come down to IB.
It's like rotting seaweed and shit. And you're like,
literally, yeah. But it was it ended up just being this we saved a lot of dogs and put a lot of dogs down as well in some of these drug houses. You go into these in the Ninth Ward, particularly like these ghettos where these multi level places where just these gang hideouts where it's trap houses essentially, and they have their their freaking pit bulls. And, yeah, so you put the pit bulls down to be able to go through the house and make sure nobody's there.
Is that why you're a big dog lover now?
No, I was. Yeah,
mean,
probably.
You're probably
I think so.
indifferent now.
I've always been kind of I've grown up with dogs, but I think that's when my kind of weird, my dogs become my children was probably after that. But I didn't have a dog at the time of this, which is kind of weird. But but some of our guys actually adopted dogs that we rescued that we couldn't
really
find.
Cool.
But I mean, I think that for me that was the hardest part. Kind of post this many years later was I remember one in particular was this beagle in a tree, and we're trying to go get this beagle, and it was we're week 2, this thing's freaking starving. We're fuck it, let's go get this beagle, man. So and and he was so weak that he went to jump in our P-row boat. I was gonna grab him. I was on the end of it, and he hit the water and just never came up. And I almost went, and I was taking stuff off to go in the water, and the firefighters got me around the waist because bro, just chill, man. Just there's nothing you can do. Let it go. And I remember just I was just in shock. I wasn't it's just kind of one of those things you didn't think about till years later.
It's one of those very sentimental moments.
Yeah,
he's
man.
Nice catch.
Leave it to you to be a dick.
That's how it felt, man. Where I'm but we were on top of roofs, cutting roofs up. Yeah, dude. And there'd be German shepherds and shit, and people, because the water level came up. And
that would tear me up.
Dude,
Yeah.
the owner died. I'll tell you one in particular.
Especially if I saw a pug.
Just specifically a pug.
Well, he's got a couple pugs.
Do you have a shirt that says Pug Life?
Yeah, I have a tattoo that says pug
Do you
life.
really? Dude, I had a tattoo artist that did this shitty tattoo back in the day that sedated his dog and had his Pug Life tattooed on his dog's fucking stomach, dude.
Oh, shit.
For real, yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
But I remember in particular, this one house we went to, and we broke the window, and because the water level comes down, and it's kind of all fogged up, so you can't see, and you just kind of smell, and you call out, see if anyone's in there. And I remember looking through, and I could see this, floaters, we call them, dead person in the water, just expanded, and the water had come down, and the dog had gotten its collar hung up on the chandelier, so it was hung. And it was dead.
Shit.
And I remember I'm looking at
Dude,
this.
that's fucking crazy.
And I went and I looked at the chandelier on the or not the chandelier. I'm sorry, the hearth on top of the fireplace.
Oh yeah.
And I could see the pictures of the family, and I was and you could kind of make out who they were. And I was dude, that person, that dog is sitting right there. So and that was, I could tell you 1,000 stories of that while I was there. That exact scenario.
Dude, that
where
was fucking crazy.
dude, just
Damn, dude.
and it's funny. I have friends that are firefighters these days, and I talk to them about this stuff, and they're oh yeah, man, that's ops normal, man. We've seen dogs eat their owners and shit. And one of the craziest things I ever saw in my life is these dogs eating these kids. We're clearing the school. Ugh. And long story short, water level had come down, and I don't think it rose up too high, but everybody in this school that had was seeking refuge when the flood came through, they all got wiped out. They all drowned. But I remember we're walking through, I had one of my buddies, and we had a team of firefighters, and we're clearing this school, and it was like Resident Evil. It was freaking water this tall, and kind of trudging through it. Me and my buddy are on point with our freaking M4s, making sure there's no sketchy people in there, looting, because looting was a real thing. And this firefighter, we heard this door kind of is crinkling, splashing behind us. This firefighter is going hysterical. My buddy and I, again, we're in a school that's enclosed, so it's dark. And it's a little chaotic, flashlights everywhere and the reflection off the water and whatnot. So you're what the hell is going on? And the guy's hyperventilating. The other firefighter's hey man, just chill out, just breathe. I was hey man, we got to clear that room. Because dude, don't go in there. And I was dude, I apologize, man. I need you to step aside. We have to clear this room. He's dude, I don't think you should go in there. And I was just, and he moved, and I opened the door, And it probably took me a year to process what the hell I even saw. Because I remember just sitting there looking at it. I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. And then the firefighter like kind of came up behind me, like slowly backed me out, closed the door. But
was it Bigfoot?
Bigfoot's dick, actually. It's crazy. But there was there's bodies that had, the water came down there on the desks and the dogs were eating them.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, but I didn't process it. I was just like, that's kind of crazy. I don't know what even I'm looking at. But like, it was just kind of weird shit like that. My friends that are firefighters are like, oh yeah, man, we see that shit like once a month. And I'm like, okay,
wow.
Well, now I don't feel so kind of weird about what I saw. And it wasn't until just the last couple of years I've talked to some firefighter friends that are like, oh yeah, man, we've seen cats eat their owner's face. They pass out and, they die in their home. The dog starts licking them and, next thing you know, they're eating them to survive. And, but yeah, it was just a ton of that, man. Just everywhere you look, there was no escaping it. The water would come down every day. You'd see the roofs of cars that you'd start hitting in your boat, and you'd have to go around them, and you'd see the skeletal hands of guys or people that drown in their cars, and you just see their hands sticking out of like the little crack in their window. And then the water just come back lower and lower and lower, and every day you just find more bodies.
Just more and more and more is revealed.
Yeah, and the kind of the diss on FEMA is like well placed. Like FEMA definitely mishandled this entire situation. To give you an example, it wasn't until the second week that we started convening at Zephyr Field where the New Orleans Saints practice.
Yeah.
Every morning at about 6 a.m., everybody that was on any sort of team anywhere goes to Zephyr Field and they have maps everywhere. And like, hey, these are the sections where the water's coming down. We need to like hit these. We've got people on roofs over here. By week 2, you're really just doing body recovery. There's not a lot of rescues we're making. And then there were days where it was so chaotic, no rescues got made. Where you're just sitting there and people are like fighting over whatever they're fighting over. And I was low man on the totem pole, so I wasn't privy to kind of, all the overhead there. But I remember days we're sitting there like, dude, it's like 10 o'clock. Why are we not on the water? Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
And then we're not on the water till like 2. But the water's like, it's subsided so far that you're like now a quarter mile where you launched your boats yesterday in the middle of a street, by the way. Yeah. And you're like, okay, we don't know where we're going, but let's get in these boats. And they have crocodiles and crap like through the middle of the town. Like, and then they have these Pontchartrain's so big, they have these fish that look like sharks, and they're about this big. And they literally have like a fin, and you see them swimming through.
Or like gar, like alligator gar or some shit.
I would assume they're probably gar of some sort, but they fin the way a shark does. So when they swim, they look like a little bull shark almost. But that's how I remember. This is how I remember it. 22 years.
So crazy the first time you saw that, dude. Like, what the fuck,
dude? The alligators was insane. Like we're like nowhere near water, and you see a freaking gator and I was like, what the? Can we shoot it? Like, what do we do with this thing? Yeah, and they're like, no, man, just let him go. And I didn't see this with my own eyes, but we had reports those things were chomping on bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a feeding frenzy.
It literally was, man.
Especially for alligators.
The amount of murders that took place. And so we assisted with clearing the Superdome as well, which was like the craziest thing I will ever probably see in my life. And one of the things we learned from this. And
the roof collapse in that thing?
No, just the
part of it.
It was the waterproofing fell off, like it blew off, but the roof, and it was leaking everywhere, but it never like collapsed.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a gag order on that entire thing because it was a collection point for displaced people before and after the hurricane hit. And when we cleared it, the news had reported that there was like 30 or 40 deaths or something like that from all kinds of things. But I will tell you, it was much higher than that with our own eyes. And there was some situations where people were holding court on the street with some stuff going on.
Yeah,
not to incriminate, I don't know what the statute of limitations is on these kind of things, but it got to the point. I mean, I don't know if you saw, this is just in the last few years, I think it was the chief of police in New Orleans, like, is doing federal time for like covering up murders and stuff. Like,
well, I did just look up. It says, I asked fucking Siri how many fucking people died in Katrina. It says 1,392 people died as a result. I'm like, that's got to be an extremely conservative number.
It is.
Yeah,
well,
that's what Siri wants to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. Some of the more affluent neighborhoods that we went to early on, because, again, with the security thing that they asked us to do, we kind of got farmed out to anybody that needed a gun. So we went to some of these more affluent neighborhoods just to do like a security check, make sure we weren't looting their homes. And one home in particular that we went into, there was obviously a murder that just took place because there's like blood splatter on the wall.
Shit.
And like, not like somebody off themselves. It was like somebody got killed in this house and they just dragged the body out and just left it because who's going to freaking catch you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing that going and like, well, what do you do about that? Who do you report that to? Like, no one's going to come investigate that.
Yeah.
But we,
Especially if they're a looter too. Like, fuck them.
oh, dude, it was, I mean, we got ROEs read on American citizens. We got told by week 2, we were said, they would say, hey, this is kind of what your orders are. Drop what you're doing. The next thing you do, deadly force, because the water was so contaminated that if somebody were to splash you, that was considered deadly force.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was
Damn.
like, I mean, we got, again, with being tasked out with all these different jobs over there. We were there with a couple scientists for a few days while they're just going around testing water in places. And I remember one of the groups of scientists we were with were like, hey, man, we found bacterial organisms that we've never seen before. Because there's never been a situation where this many things
Yeah.
were in this warm of water for this
Floating
long.
dead bodies in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
And
So-
it's hot and it's cesspool.
Right.
Ugh.
And when we got back, we signed that little letter. It was like the burn pit stuff. We're like, hey, man, we weren't exposed to anything while we were out there. And we're like, no, we definitely were. And the doctor's like, no, you weren't. Sign right here. And they made us sign that there was no toxic exposure while we were there. And
What the fuck?
luckily, that's kind of gone away. Like, the VA doesn't recognize these, like, waivers that we signed.
Yeah, until
Like,
you guys
meanwhile,
start
you're-
dying off.
Yeah.
Got an arm growing out of your ass. Fucking
Yeah, but
dick
there
flew
was-
off.
Man, there was one time in this one area we were at. This so they had Army little birds everywhere, with, like the comms.
Loudspeakers.
Yeah, well, they didn't have loudspeakers. They had these like comms towers on them. Like, I guess they were like
the CT
relays.
Oh,
CT
they're
bird,
relay
yeah.
points.
Yeah, so they were everywhere. And they had Coast Guard helicopters above that. You had Blackhawks everywhere. It was like the who's who of like Airedales.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the little birds came over us one day, and starts like the wash starts like washing our boat and like getting like this shit water blown in our face. And I was waving this dude off, and he was probably 40 feet above us, 45. I'm not kidding. The dude was, and he was like laughing.
Yeah, it's not
He's
funny,
an army
bro.
cat. And I'm waving him off, and the fire, and again, water is getting blown in our face. And I freaking like just pointed my M4 at him, and he waved way off. And I'm on the radio like with the tail number. I'm like, dude, please, like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, who
Yeah.
is this? You know, it's
It's
like
all fun and games, so you get some fucking rounds coming at you,
no
you
shit.
motherfuckers.
That's all I could do. I was like waving him off,
And you're like, all right, check.
yeah. And the guy's just like, I mean, I'm assuming he was smiling. Like, I don't know. And the way I remember is he was like kind of laughing, but I do remember I was like looking at him, I was like waving off, and he wouldn't. I just went whoof, like that, and he was like, whoop, just waved off.
Point taken.
Yeah, but you know, we ran across Blackwater while out there. We were about to go get acquire some supplies from the Walmarts, and a couple of buddies and I were like walking down this road to where the Walmart was at. But we got to make sure there's no looters inside. So we're like kind of staking it out first. We're like, hey man, nobody's here. We're gonna go grab some supplies because that's kind of what's going on. If there's a Home Depot or something, you just go in and get it. Get what you need to like go save lives. And there's a couple of vans outside, and we're like, you know, we're in flight suits and, you know, carriers and whatnot, our gear, and we're like walking up to the front of Walmart to go like breach it and just go inside. And these dudes pop out of his van like, hey, who are you? And we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's like a little deconfliction time where everyone's like, no one's pointing guns, but everyone's like, whoa, 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 who are you? Who are you? What are you guys doing? The guys, we start chatting with them, and freaking Blackwater is like,
Yeah.
and we're like, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, we're here contracted to like, you know, watch
Protect
over
Home
the,
Depot.
yeah. Well, they got
We're
contracted
keeping
for
people
Walmart.
like you out of our building.
Yeah, so we had like, so we chatted with him for a little while, and the guy's like, yeah, man, go do your thing. We'll unlock the door for you. Like, please don't break it so other people get in. But yeah, Blackwater got contracted to keep all the Walmarts from getting looted. But it just was a who's who of
Yeah.
people doing work down there.
Oh, yeah.
That's wild stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
what a
we
shit
worked with
show.
everyone from Secret Service. Like, we'd be in the P-row boats. Like, hey, man, we got an alarm going off at a bank over here. We need to make sure no one's, like, hitting the vault. Can you guys come with us? We're, like, in our P-row boats, like, zipping down this freaking little alleyway. And, you know, they go inside and, you know, the windows are blown out and there's water everywhere. And, like, just weird shit, man.
That's fucking crazy. So here's a weird thing for you, because I know they implored people, hey, you guys need to evacuate out of this fucking city.
It was mandatory, yeah.
Yeah, and people were like, I've been through worse.
Yep.
I mean, same shit happened like during Hurricane Andrew in Florida.
Yeah, same, yep.
And people are going to be hard-headed about shit. And dude, I would probably be the same fucking way. I'm like, dude, I'm not leaving my fucking house to whatever. I mean, maybe I would have. I don't know. Who the
Well,
fuck
especially
knows?
in that area where they're used to it, where they're like, yeah, everything's a Cat 5 till it get. So, I mean, there was a fair amount of that, but
Yeah.
It was a mandatory evacuation. Like, I mean, you were not allowed. You were getting arrested if you were still there, especially after it left, where they're like, hey, you got to go. But I mean, of course, people are coming back to rescue their dogs, and we had one incident. Like the only time I like almost pulled the trigger on somebody on I don't want to say on accident, but on someone that's innocent. This guy was getting stuff out of his house, but we had heard a bunch of like pop, 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 and we thought there were gunshots. It turns out there was there's like the station with like a natural gas pipe, and it was like just like blowing stuff off. We thought there were gunshots, and anyways, we thought they were coming from this house, so we pull up to this house. I get off the boat, and all the houses are kind of raised, so I'm in like ankle deep water, but it's like 8 feet of water outside. And I'm holding on this door, and I'm like yelling, U.S. Coast Guard, come out, and calling for our other boats to come around and back me up. And I'm like looking over my shoulder, and this guy like pops out this way, and I was like, I had my M4 out, I like clicked it off safe, and I was like, because it took me, because I was like, and this guy had something in his hand, and I was like,
Zombie!
yeah, dude, that's what it felt like, man. I was like, and I like clicked safety off, and I was like, look at his hands one more time. I looked at his hands, he had a picture frame in his hand. I was like, start walking towards it. Started like, adrenaline dumped at that point. And I was like, and the guy's like, dude, he lives here. He was able to show us a picture. He did live there or whatever. And I yelled at him because I was 22 years old, and first shot of adrenaline, just yell at whoever's in front of you. So, yeah, I mean, just like weird situations like that were kind of common where, people are there trying to just get their shit, man. I have a picture of a guy with a freaking guitar, like using the guitar as a freaking paddle with his dogs in a crate in front of him. He just went to go rescue his dog. He's like using a freaking guitar. I have a freaking picture of that. It's
That's
like
awesome. We went back for him.
wild as shit. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Jesus.
What a
All right.
unique time.
Let's take a quick
Time for a
break.
break?
Sure. Yeah.
Wipers!
Check one.
All right. Back in. We had some funny stories on the break, man.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Another plug for our Patreon. So there's like that story that you just told about page 7. Like, so if you guys are interested in like more context and kind of the funny behind the scenes stuff, we offer that on our Patreon. I think it's like $5 a month gets you access to that. Then we also have a $25 a month one that gets another level of chat, and then also a monthly cigar meetup, which is pretty fun.
And then,
Yeah, we're doing one on Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I want to kind of make that big announcement now that everything's final. We are officially doing a Vets React video. We haven't entirely decided what we're going to call it. But this is in collaboration with Black Rifle Coffee. And Black Rifle Coffee is now an official sponsor.
Yeah.
So big shout out to
official-
BRCC for noticing us. They came to us and said, hey, we love what you're doing, and we want to jump on board. So now you're going to get extra content out of us. And we're going to be sitting down collectively as a 3 and watching some crazy videos.
It's like Mystery Science Theater 2000,
Yeah,
or that was back in the day.
Yeah, and that's exactly what these two have been calling it, and that's exactly what it's going to be.
3 dudes, 1 table.
Actually, that's
I'll pay double for that kind of action.
Well, dude, and on top of that too, like if any of the viewers know of some, I mean, we've already been making
ample lists.
making lists of stuff that and these are going to be small, like 10 minutes of content of us or less of us
That kind of
watching
bullshit.
something and reacting to it and giving our stupid dick and fart joke reference to whatever it is. But yeah, if you guys see something that you thought would be funny for us to react to, shoot it to Ryan's.
Oh, I'm shooting you a list.
No. Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the
wherever you're-
comments.
Live in big old white lists.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
why am I watching Schindler's Fist again? There it is. You don't want the Lord Helmet version of that. You cannot fit that in.
No, I've seen some shit.
Sounds like a challenge.
Shaving Ryan's
Privates.
privates.
Jurassic Pork.
But yeah, I'm super stoked to get that off the deck, and we're recording this Sunday, which is in 2 days, and it's going to drop soon.
That's gonna be fun, man.
Stand by for that. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Especially with Kevin's whole BTS kind of knowledge and for those of you who don't know, behind the scenes, it's going to go well.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
So back to Travis. Travis, you are now post Katrina. You're jaded, scarred as a 21-year-old. What was that process like? The rest of your first career, and then that transition process?
Yeah, so we had this weird change out, because again, back to the Coast Guard, not wanting to keep people kind of where they're at. So we had this changeover in command completely, and I was one of the last guys left behind to train a bunch of new people from kind of chiefs on down how to do the job. And that was kind of, there was a lot of friction between the Coast Guard and I. And I'll preface this with, at 22 years old, I was probably the douchebag. So I look back, I'm like, man, this guy was a douchebag, whatever. It was probably me. Like, they're probably, like, I'll admit that. I was not the easiest guy to work with. And in my retirement ceremony will probably be a bunch of people that did not enjoy my company. So, but, you know, my 22-year-old self-training guys that were, you know, a little bit senior than me in rank, but I was senior to them in experience and kind of qualifications, if you will. So, quick little story. My last week in the Coast Guard, I had to go to a dog and pony show up in San Francisco for the president of Mexico and all their people. And we're just going to fast rope, hit a boat, kind of show them our capabilities. So we like did this whole workup for it. We get on scene. There's a Coast Guard boat, an 87-foot boat in the middle. We have all these boats around, and we're like, we got 2 helicopters going to come down to hit it. So again, because I'm the jump master, I'm the senior guy on scene for this this little evolution. I got my feet dangling on Helo 2. Helo 1 comes in, does their circle, and they're gonna drop their stick. And as they're doing that, we're in San Francisco Bay. We're near the Bay Bridge, and I'm like, hey, are you guys tracking this Cessna off your port bow? And they're like, no. I was like, okay, we'll pull off because we got a Cessna coming in low over the bridge. So they pull off a little bit, and we're on scene. We watch this freaking Cessna right below me dunk right in front of God and everybody. By the way, these boats have like news people on them and whatnot. Yeah. Guy lost his engine with his kid, dunks it within 300 yards of all these Coast Guard boats. We pull off station right there. They didn't even get wet, dude. Coast Guard jumped in there, grabbed these guys off, grabbed the thing. Or grab attach the. I think if I remember right, they attached the Cessna to one of the boats so it didn't sink, and they got everybody and they pulled one of the boats off station and just rescued them in the middle of the thing, and then we just carried on like nothing happened.
That's your demo.
Yeah. Best dog and pony
craziest.
ever.
I literally was like, I remember watching it up below me. I was like watching kind of the horizon. I watched this thing come over and it just goes, punk, right 300 yards away, and the other helos over here on station. And 2 of the boats break away. They just grab them and just take them over to one of the Coast Guard stations. Guys never even got wet, dude. And it was like all over the news. Nobody gave a shit about what we were doing for the Dog and Pony show. But
I'm sure the Mexican delegation are like, wow, it's pretty ballsy crashing a plane. Yeah. They're like, man, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we get it, Coast Guard. You're really good. But yeah.
How Trump of them. They just dunk his Cessna.
Yeah. So that was my last week in the Coast Guard. And you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got out. I went to a
what year was that?
2000, end of 2009, 2010.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm not sure kind of what I want to do. I just know I don't want to do this. I had a lot of friction with the Coast Guard on the way out. And again, very self-induced as a 23, 20, I think I was 24, maybe 25, something like that. I was hot-headed. I knew everything. I was like, man, no one's going to tell me what to do anymore. Like, I'm going to get out in the real world and make my own way. Little did I know that everybody tells you what to do when you get out. Everybody. And you don't have a freaking choice anymore. Well, I guess you have a choice, but your choice is live on the street or, you know, get with it. So I got recruited into the executive protection world from a job fair on the MCRD. I was walking around in uniform like my last 3 days in the Coast Guard, and I was just like, dude, I'm ready to get out. I don't give a crap what I'm going to do. This guy's like, hey, man, you ever heard of this company? It's this was it 3 or 4 letter? 4 letter?
4.
This 4-letter company. I'll just leave it at that. Starts with a G. But anyways, I was like, no, I never really gave it much thought, man. I don't really care. I blew the guy off. I was like, I don't care. I'm getting out, whatever. So I got a call a week later, my first week on terminal leave, and I had like 60 days on the book. So I was like, I'm going to burn all of it. and this guy calls me and goes, hey, man, I did an interview. I interviewed with a few different kind of contract companies, and I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And I was like, this executive protection thing sounds cool. So I went and did that, and the company was very new at the time. There was only like 50 employees. We had a lot of clients, but not a lot of people. So I kind of got in almost on the ground floor, and they sent me to their little training in-dock, whatever you want to call it. They call it the academy, for 9 days, and it's like you live there and you kind of learn all these different things. They kind of assess you while you're there, decide if they're going to keep you or not. So they kept me in.
Wait, where was this at?
It was in Pasadena.
I was going to say, was it
Yeah,
still
same.
the Pasadena
So
one?
it was actually.
It's different now.
Yeah. So I don't know when you went through it, because I did it again, right? So I came
same.
back 3 years later and
It's
had
at
to
the Boy Scout camp.
Yeah. So the first time it wasn't there. It was like kind of out in these different areas. But like kind of one of the only like notable thing within this training, I remember we're wrapping up a 15-hour day of like doing whatever we're doing. I was tired as hell. I'm in the van. We're about ready to go back to the hotel, and one of the instructors comes up and goes, "Hey man, I need a quick volunteer real quick." And I was like, "Whatever, man, I'll do it. What do you need?" It's like, "Come here real quick. Come here. We're in this orchard in the middle of like.
Does this look like warts to you?
Like, it's a thin dick. It's a thin dick. He's like, touch it. I was like, fine, one more time. But and that's the second time I got crabs. But he goes, come here real quick. And I was like, okay, whatever, man. It's like freaking sun's about to go down. We've been out freaking since sun up. I was like, we got to be going home. And all of a sudden, come around this corner and there's all these LAPD officers and all these freaking dogs. And I was like, what's going on here? This is and the dog. They're like bite dogs. And they're like, grab this stick and go taunt that dog. I was like, nah, my dogs love me, man. This dog's gonna be fine. I grab the stick. I'm like, taunting the dog. I'm like, what's up, buddy? What's up? Like, put this suit on. I was like, this is like the weirdest thing I've ever done. Like, what do you mean put this suit on? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And they didn't put a helmet on us. They just put the top, no pants. And they're like, run. And I was like, where? And they're like, down this freaking orchard. So I like take a couple steps. I'm like, I'm not letting this dog get enough space to like hit me full speed. And they're like, no, keep going. So I get down about 50 yards and I'm like, please don't let this fucking dog go. I thought they were messing with me. And they let the dog go. I'm like, oh shit. So then I start running like I'm going to outrun a freaking, like, I don't know if it's a Mallet or a German Shepherd. All I know is the thing weighed 500 pounds when he hit me. And I look over my shoulder and the thing's just in the air and he hits me on the shoulder. And I go freaking ass over tea kettle and he's like ripping into me. And I'm like, get the fucking dog off me. So I did 4 scenarios like this, all with not knowing what I was about to do. The last one being, they put me on the other side of this fence, and they're like, hey, the dog's going to, like, don't look back. The dog, and I don't have a helmet on, just freaking arms or like, the jacket. Yeah. Like, the dog's going to clear this 4-foot fence and a 6-foot fence, and I'm on the other side of the 6-foot fence. I'm like, dude, that dog's going to hit my fucking head. Like, no, the dog's going to be fine. I'm like, whatever, dude. So I just do this anyways, and the dog grabs me, like, right on the neck. Like, almost, he didn't get skinned, but he damn near should have because I was bleeding from everything this dog hit. And so we do this scenario, wrap the day up. Everybody ends up doing it. I was just the first idiot that, like, volunteered for this thing at the end of the day to do. And I was bleeding from every bite mark. I've never done dog training before, so this is kind of new to me. So that night, when we're done, they're like, hey, man, like, look up, YouTube this dog Ike. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's LAPD dog named Ike. So I like YouTubed him. Thank God they didn't tell us before because I'd have been like, I quit. I'm not like messing with this damn dog. I was bleeding from every bite through the freaking suit.
Through the bite suit.
And then the last scenario they do with you, though, they put you in a house after you've just got bit up by this dog with like 5 different bite scenarios. They put you in a house. They take all your shit off. And they're like, now stand here. The dog's going to go through the house. Like, nope, I am not doing this. That dog just attacked me. There's no way that dog's not going to know not to attack me. But they put a muzzle on him, but they don't tell you that. So I'm like, I have the door closed, and the LAPD officer's like, dude, you got to open the effing door, man. I'm like, I'm not opening the door. Like, fuck you. I was like, we're like deconflicted. I was like, I'm not opening, fuck you, I'm not opening the door. It's like, oh, dude, it's a scenario. Open the door. I was like, nope, that dog does not have a muzzle on him. Fuck that. Turns out he had a muzzle on him. They called my bluff, but that dog wrecked me, dude. That dog wrecked everybody, but the YouTube videos of this dog, Ike, you can YouTube him, man. He was notorious in the LAPD for just tearing fools up. Like, I don't know.
Literally a body count.
Biting fucking chunks out of people.
And what I didn't realize is throughout that day where we were training in this house, in this apple orchard, there was these printouts of, like, dog bites everywhere. And I was like, I didn't pay attention to it until afterwards. Like, these guys are trying to get in our head about, holy shit, this is what a dog will do to you if you don't have a freaking bite suit on. So... But yeah, that was like the only kind of notable thing during training is this freaking dog bite. But yeah, I transitioned into that. I worked for a little while, briefly for a pretty well-known soccer player, the Galaxy, who came from Man U, married a Spice Girl, that kind of person.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of him. But
tell them about a stadium.
yeah, dude. So the headquarters, and I don't know if we're gonna get sued, like me, if I'm gonna get sued for this or not. But I'll give you just kind of a heads up. They tried to model thing, and I say model like I've ever been to any CIA headquarters. I've never been anywhere like that. So what I would imagine like a CIA like safe house to be is what they kind of did. They give you a fake address to this ambiguous building, and in the interview process, it's kind of funny. You walk in to this building that has no markings on it whatsoever. You're watching a video. It's just a regular kind of waiting room, and then you go to an interview thing, and they're like, write down everything you just saw. And I was in there like an hour and a half, like looking at everything. I'm like, all right, let me write all this stuff down. And then they make you talk to a camera for an hour and a half so that you'll just kind of tell your dirty secrets. It's like Scientology, I feel like. But so I did the interview process twice. I did the first time. This is the way the first time worked. And the second time was a little bit different. And then you meet with a person. They kind of go through your background, whatever. And they're like, cool, we'll call you if we think you're a good fit, whatever. And you're like, this is weird. Drove all the way to Pasadena for this. Like, I don't even know what this was. And then they call you and they assign you to they give you an academy date, if you will. The second time, they had another building they had bought that you park around back and you walk through, and it's like a newspaper building.
Oh, that one. That was mine.
But I already knew the game, so I was like, because I'd been through the process before, so like, all right, whatever. Like, you want me to redo the thing? I'll do it. So I was like walking through, reading freaking things. I'm like walking through, and they sit there and make you wait for a while, and then they have this
Then you
like
go in and it's just like massive amounts of televisions of every client pinpointed and plotted and maps, graphs, and everything.
with their like code names, because obviously we're not going to use like the client's names. Have like the code names for them and where they're at.
It's like a flex.
Literally,
it's a hardest of flexes.
And they do a good job of
They do it well.
like making you believe like you are part of this like CIA organization where like you got assets, places, and freaking like that's what it feels like. We're like, oh my god, I'm part of this thing, man. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, in my opinion. But so yeah, you kind of go through this like weird hiring process, and the reason they make you like interview with like a screen is so that you'll be more honest with it than like if you and I are talking. I'm going to kind of tell you what I think you want to hear versus if a screen is talking to me, I'm going to be a little more candid with it, I guess is what their way of thinking was. Little they know.
There's no reaction from the camera. So.
I'm going to lie to both, so I don't care. So yeah, their joke's on them, man.
But then, there was extensive polygraphs and
yeah, the polygraphs were, dude. It was a lot of
crazy.
show. Like they send you to like this weird place. Like the first polygraph I did was in this random building. There was nothing in it. Yeah, a strip mall. But there was nobody in the first one I did. I walk into an empty room. There's a dude with a polygrapher, which for some reason I thought it was a dude who married a bunch of chicks. That's not what a polygrapher is. Learned that the hard way. I was like, hell yeah, polygraphy, man, let's go. I do with it. But turns out he just wanted to know if I'd ever like jerked off with salad dressing. So yeah, so that's neither here nor another story.
No,
I did.
just ranch.
But yeah, well, Thousand Islands I prefer, but everyone has their own thing. But yeah, so
Jerked off with salad dressing.
that's a real thing, by the way.
I love when the little gherkin's making my jerkin.
Speaking of Caesar salad.
That's right. I go to a salad bar, dude. Don't get me near that thing. I'm going to sexually assault that salad bar.
Dude, calamari ring wide open.
Yeah, there's a reason Soup Plantation's not around anymore. Yeah, that's right. So, oh, God. But, yeah, so it's just this weird, like, way to indock you into, like, what they're doing. And then, at the last day of training, they kind of give you, they keep all the guys in training they're going to keep. They kind of have conversations with the guys offline. They just people aren't there anymore.
Just
You're in suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, man, congratulations, you made it. We're going to tell you where your assignment is, and we're going to give you, like, the behind the scenes now. These are our clients. Like, sign your life away on these. And I'm not joking, man. This freaking thing we signed, Nick knows, man, it takes you like an hour and a half. It's like this effing thick. It's the thickest contract, which, for the record, most of it's not even legal. It's just things they want to scare you. They like to get guys out of the military because we don't know how to say no. We don't know that there's laws, labor laws. We don't know there's HR laws.
Yeah.
We only know how to say, somebody told us what to do, we say yes. And that's why Nick and I didn't last super long with this company, because eventually we're like, yeah, this is kind of sniff the bullshit out, and then they're like, cool, that guy's not going to, we can't have him around. So,
He's not going to make it long.
yeah, and that's truly what happens, man. I mean, it's.
But if you think about it, like, it's actually fucking clinically
It's genius. It's absolutely the best business model you could have.
Between going to a print shop, walking into something that looks like something you would see in a fucking Jerry Bruckheimer, Jason Bourne film.
For sure.
Which I know the two aren't the same. But, like, you're just like, good Lord.
Yeah.
And then being hooked up to a polygraph, like, the level of interrogations and, like, questions, background investigations, like, all this shit that they have. Like, you're like, oh, like, you would have no clue if, let's just say you erase, like, the application memory that you weren't applying for the CIA.
Truly. I mean, they make you feel like you're part of something. By the time you get through, you're like, dude, I made it through something that, like, because again, you feel like you're being, and, you know, having looked behind the curtain a little bit with them, like, you're not being scrutinized as much as you think you are, but you think, like, hey, man, I've made it through, like,
I did this.
Yeah, you're like, man, I passed these little tests that they had for you. So
we kept our coin as pride.
That's right. The coins came about later, man. Like, when I first joined, there was none of that crap. It was like the good old boy network kind of started when I first joined because there just wasn't a lot of guys doing it. So you were jet setting and you were doing, you know, you're in the Bahamas with so-and-so doing whatever, and you're doing all the things on TV, you're doing the awards shows and whatnot. And then when I took that break for 3 years, I was like, I don't want to do this job anymore. Then 3 years later after school, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this shit again. So that's when I came back in, did the process, and me and Nick met. But I was on this one detail, and we're doing this pre-awards show stuff, like pre-Oscars, whatever. So
award
like
season.
Yeah, award season. God, dude, I'll tell you what, man. Some guys want to be in front of the camera and be with the movie stars, and I was like, I don't want to be anywhere near any of these guys. I've been with enough of them that I'm like, the stress and the lack of sleep and the, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, I don't want any part of it. Put me on the back door, the exit. I'll guard that. Like, y'all can have the limelight. I don't care. But I was working this side exit, and we had this new director, and there were this, you know, one of our current directors like, hey man, I want you to kind of show this guy like what's going on. I was like, all right, cool. So I was sitting in our little area away from like all the movie stars, whatever, and this bus pulls in, or, you know, this 15-passenger, you know, Sprinter van pulls in, and Gerard Butler and freaking Adrian Brody get out, and Gerard Butler walks up, and he's hammered, and he's like, hey man, like, he's like trying to get through where our exit. I was like, sir, you know, just, you know, right over. And Gerard Butler's not the smallest dude I've ever met in my life. So I was like, all right, this guy's actually, he could probably Spartan kick the shit out of me right now. So I was like, and he was hammered, dude. And Adrian Brody wasn't there. It was just Gerard Butler walks up, he's like trying to get through us. I was like, hey man, just go right over here, sir. And yeah, you know, it's 50 yards this way, and you go through there, that's where you're gonna go. And he looks at me, like looks me up and down, and like kind of like does this thing like it's on. And the director that I was with, he kind of sidesteps behind me, and I kind of bladed off because I was like, oh, I'm about to take a kick. Like, and then Adrian Brody walks up and he goes, dude, I'm so sorry, man. Like, whatever, like, we got to go over here, man, whatever. And Gerard Butler like walks backwards. And I remember looking at this director, and I was like, his name is Scott. I was like, Scott, what is that? Why'd you step behind me? He goes, dude, because if he kicked you, I wanted to catch you. And I was like, thanks, dude. Like, I was like, and I literally was like, I thought that was what was going to happen.
I saw like, 300.
What's is the director like the AIC or something?
Yeah,
like a shift lead or something?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's a new guy that just got this like kind of promotion. He was like a major out of the Army, and that's kind of how this company works. Like, depending what your rank was out of the military, they'll just promote you based on that. And you're like, fuck, does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
But it was such a military-centric company that you just felt like you were still in the military while you were there.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Ran into a lot of those dudes on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you about the training process.
Sure.
And I want to know your thought process behind it, because when I went through it, like, I was fresh out. And I was fresh out of like recon, and, you know,
You're probably super bored.
pretty well dialed in. But no, I mean, I was going to say, like, the pool comps, like, so we did a beehive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Where
Yeah.
they're like pulling it in, like all the little floaty
In the
buoys.
water?
Yeah, in the water.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the pool cons. I
And we
completely
were
forgot about those,
wearing we were wearing like fully clothed, and then after every 5 minutes, it was, so first we did a 30-minute water tread, and then you were able to take off a piece of clothing. We're still wearing a vest, and instead of like our pistols and mags and like all this stuff, like we were wearing a weight belt that equated to the same thing. And when I went through, we had an NFL linebacker from the Buffalo Bills in there. We had a bunch of Navy SEALs, which actually the SEALs obviously has the flying motherfucking colors. And even saved like the NFL linebacker because he just like dropped down through the middle. And then there was a bunch of other individuals in there that are from different parts of the country that can't swim. And they're just
I wonder what kind of people those were, Kevin.
Sitting there just dunking other ones. And the SEALs are coming through like underneath us. And it's like, nope, I got you. And like lifting them up. And it's like, whoa.
Oh, it's the beehive.
Yeah. It was a beehive. But the premise that I'm kind of getting at is there's a difference in military like PSD and protection, and then what you need to do with the celebrities. And so the levels that we took, and even after I went to Blackwater, like the different formations in driving, the advancing locations, like all those kind of like nuances that you wouldn't know coming out of the military, whether you were a CAG or whether you were a fucking mechanic, were pretty interesting, and I would say like relatively thought-provoking. Like did you learn anything coming out of the academy?
No. The thing I learned, I'll be honest with you, like the thing that like the pool comp was funny because I remember the first time I went through when we were doing the pool comp. Again, coming from the Coast Guard and then coming from water polo and swimming, dude, like I love fighting in the water. It's like my favorite thing in the world. So the instructors, I beat the crap out of the two instructors. Like I submitted both instructors the first pool comp because we had guys that didn't know how to swim. And I was just like, okay, cool. If you guys are gonna fuck on me, I'm gonna fuck on you. So, but I remember I remember tapping out one of the instructors, and he tried to fight me, and I put him back under, and we went back under, and they had to break it up because I was like, hey man, like I'll do this all day. Like I like fighting in the water. Like I feel comfortable with this. So the first pool comp I did, the first go round was kind of a wash because I was like, and then the second one I was like, I know the game. I'm just gonna I got everybody into that circle, and I just swam in the circle, and I just fought the instructors for them, for the guys that couldn't do it. And I was like, hey, man, hold these guys up.
Oh,
so we did. It was a pretty coordinated freaking thing. So I was like, hey, man, the guys that can't swim, hold them. I'll fight the instructors. I'll do that all day long. The funny thing is one of the Kardashians and their then basketball husband was there observing at the time we were doing it just to see what we were doing. So I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that somebody was there. I didn't know who it was, but afterwards, we were in the pool for like an hour, and all I was doing was just fighting instructors for an hour because I was like, none of these guys are in as good a shape as me in the water.
That one.
Yeah, so I was like, I literally, that's like my favorite thing. I love fighting in the water. So I was like, because even in surfing, I've had to get in fights in the water. I'm like, dude, please fight me in the water. Don't fight me on land. I'll probably get my ass kicked. In the water, I got a pretty good shot. Man.
Just don't kick me.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's right. Don't punch me in the face. Just anywhere but here. But the thing I definitely did learn was, you know, we do a lot of work with I think the eye-opening thing was the amount of reaction time from when you see somebody pull a gun to where you can actually get to them with your hands on. Because again, the EP world, a lot of people get out of the military and think EP is I'm going to shoot the person who's shooting. Like you can't do that because you have civilians everywhere. No. So the odds of you actually being able to shoot are so freaking small. You got to get to where the shooting's coming from if you can, or tuck tail with your client, get the hell out. So it's counterintuitive. You're tucking tail and running and you're not fighting it out, or you're trying to get to the gunshot and you can't shoot back because you're going to kill innocent people, right? So, because it's not the president of the United States. You have no authority to like take unnecessary risk for the civilian population. So, you know, we did these exercises where they're like, hey, we're going to prove to you how long it takes you to react. And I know Nick's got a gun and he's got Sims, and we're going to put 5 feet away. And we're like, cool. Nick drawing me. I'm going to see how fast I can get. So at 5 feet, I can get him every time. 10 feet, I can get him again. 15 feet's a little, you know, he's getting a shot off, but he's not hitting me. At 20 feet, I can't. I know he's going to pull it, and I'm just waiting to react, and he's getting shots on me. So, like, that kind of stuff. And then we did the stuff with the knives where we're like, hey, man, we're going to put people at different distances, and you have a gun, and you got to stand here in the protector stance or whatever they were calling it. And yeah, so I'd be like, so Nick's the instructor, and he's like, hey, man, 10 feet away, I'm going to attack you with a knife. He's getting me every time. I cannot get that gun out. 21 feet is like the thing that we pressure test. Yeah. You can get 21 feet before you can actually like get out and actually get a shot on them. You know, the more distance you get. So these little pressure test things, I will say that's the best training I've ever seen, where they would take the theory, because, you know, this company, the owner wrote some books and been on some podcasts. Very smart individual. I won't take away from that. He's an extremely
He actually helped train the Secret Service in the 70s, correct?
Yeah, and he was on Reagan's National Security Council. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff, and he's a very smart guy with no experience to back it up, which is kind of the thing that opened my eyes from coming from the military. I'm like, if you're in the military, you don't know shit. And then all of a sudden you meet these guys that aren't from the military. You're like, man, these guys are actually kind of good problem solvers outside of what I understand problem solving.
Outside of bureaucracy.
Literally.
Yeah,
so I think the thing I liked the most, and the things I kind of took away from that is like, we pressure tested theories that even in the military, we never pressure tested. We just go, hey man, we just, you need to force, but we never like broke down like, hey, why, we did it enough times of this one scenario. And then we kind of averaged out what was the outcome. And then we pressure test, like, why does this work and why does it not work? And that was the first time I kind of ever did that in the civilian world. I was impressed by that part. I thought some of the team, like the movement stuff with the clients actually, did you do stuff where you're like walking around the mall with like a fake client? Like that stuff is actually pretty usable when you get out into the field. We're like, okay, this is actually,
like walking a diamond and shit.
Yeah, and not even quite like that because you rarely have enough people to do a diamond. It's like one or two people. So you have one dude doing it in advance while you're moving, one guy on body, and you're like trying to like do everything for that person. So, and then you do teams where you have enough with a diamond and you like some of these.
What I loved was like the lead to follow, right? So if you have one, like the one trustworthy person, like with the client, then you have like an advanced guy that's just kind of up ahead. Like you might kind of have like a probing question of like, what store do you want to go into next?
Yeah.
You know, but you're not trying to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I want to go to Louis Vuitton. And so you're like, Louis Vuitton. And then boom, your guy goes in there. And you go in, kind of assess the room. You're like, all right, well, 9 times out of 10, Louis Vuitton even has their own fucking security guard.
Yeah. Yep.
But then you go into like any little room or bathroom and kind of like just take a little peek. And you're like, yep, good. And then you go in. And like, but like those nuances. And let's say it wasn't a Louis Vuitton. Let's say it was a fucking Nike store. Or like any place you had to like put on clothes. Then like the changing rooms become a whole different fucking ball game. And like
take 3 minutes, she's taking a shit.
Dude, it's nuances like that though that are like my favorite. It's like, oh hey, so and so needs a bump.
Yep.
And yeah.
It's the gray area of the job is the only part I actually enjoyed. Where you're like, I mean, I think Nick's probably got the funniest gray area stories of anyone I've ever met. Just because Nick's life tends to be this like funny ass story of like
surviving in the gray.
Yeah, where you're like, how did you find yourself in this freaking predicament? But
in the frunk.
I tell that story to this day, dude. Anybody that'll ever live, because the problem with working these jobs too is you just sound like you're lying because you're like, no one's gonna think that you really did this thing with that person, right? So like that's kind of the while we're confidentiality is kind of the thing you don't tell who the clients are, but with people that I not on a podcast, I have no problems just name dropping who we were with. But that's kind of the hard part is you just sound like you're like there's no way you were really doing that with that. But you have some really funny stories with the Frunk and some of your guys. But yeah, the gray area of the job is what I kind of found kind of fun. Where you're like,
and that's also why Travis and I thrived, whereas like the other ones were very much like the straight and narrow kind of individuals, and especially with our main client that we had down here in San Diego, like I had to go through like a racism test before I even applied for this position. So meanwhile, I'm living out in.
Nick's also a good actor.
I'm living out in Palm
Not the only
Springs.
one, Kevin Kent.
My wife at the time was down here in San Diego, and I'm living in Palm Springs on a fucking air mattress.
God rest her soul. She's still alive, but God rest her soul.
Yeah. And so I'm paying 2 rents, and keep in mind the starting salary for this position.
Yeah, it's peanuts, man.
Was I think I started at like $48,000 a year.
And
wow.
In 2013.
to put it in perspective, it wasn't the worst money ever when minimum wage was like $7.50 an hour. You're making like 15. So you're making, it's not good for what we're doing. But yeah, go on.
But were you guys salaried or hourly?
Salary.
So we're salaried non-exempt, which means we get paid up to 48 hours, and we make overtime on top of that. So it's
after 48 hours?
After 48. But trust me, you get that 48 in the first 2 days. Like, no joke.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit, man.
Again, that's why they like the military guys. We don't know that there's no other option here. We just go, yes, sir,
Did you get your 15-minute break after 3
absolutely
hours of
not.
work?
Hell
I guarantee
no.
nor our freaking 30-minute lunch break
Yeah,
after every 8. We
exactly.
had none of those things.
Yeah.
Hell no, dude. It was a fucking nightmare. So I was trying to get back to San Diego, but at the time we only had one San Diego client. We probably even still do.
We have
They
3
still
that
do.
I know of based on my
you?
ears on the ground.
So I apply and I've been pushing it. I'm like, I need to get back to San Diego because I'm sleeping on an air mattress, working on a golf course in fucking Palm Springs, wearing long sleeves, everything for one of the richest men in fucking North America. Mm-hmm. And I fucking hate my life. And also Palm Springs being Palm Springs, the one gym that I have to work at is just nothing but full of gay guys.
Aggressive gay guys.
Oh,
not just normal gay
aggressive,
guys.
not normal.
Palm Springs is a
Hey,
different
can I
level of
spot
gay.
you?
Yeah.
And they're just like,
They're
and
not
they're
like the
eight
nice
creating my
gay guys. Like,
eyeballs.
they'll kick your ass if you're not gay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hands down.
It's the pink mafia, man. It's a real thing.
I had them work their way out like in the parking lot at like midnight, coming off a detail, and I'm like, buddy, I'm packing. And he's like, still am I. I'm like,
Like, you show me yours. Show me mine.
I'm going to blow your dick off.
I'm only 9 millimeters. What are you? Actually, it's 40. I'm only 40 millimeters. So it was a nightmare. So I ended up having to go through this interview process because the client that I wanted to go work for in San Diego was notoriously racist. And they're like, you're on the cusp.
Yeah, you're in the gray
You're
area.
right there. And I sit down.
Stay
I'm
out
like,
of the sun for a couple days. You can go work there.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, that's a start.
Yeah.
And so either way, I had the interview, and then that's when I got moved out, thank goodness, and moved down to Travis's detail and the local San Diego guy that we had down here. And that was a whole other ball game of getting just to like learn life and no, not learn life, learn their life, right? Mm-hmm. Because, and you've said this before, you can be a millionaire and you think you're rich until you're around rich people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then this was the person that even when you're around like the rich people, there's still somebody higher than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was this dude. That, like, to where there were no barriers.
There's few people on earth richer than this guy. There's a couple, but he was in that top percent.
2%.
Yeah.
I'd say top 2. To where, like, vehement collector, vehement pervert. Like, all right, so
Pretty
Travis,
sure I've worked for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have.
tell him about what our Sunday adventures would look like.
Yeah. Okay, so aside from the Scientology visits that you would do throughout the week, you would definitely have to go do the porn run for this individual was a little... he was afraid of looking at porn online because he thought people could see what he's looking at. So he would want to go get porn from his favorite liquor store. So our job, security, on Sunday afternoons, the Lord's Day, if you will.
Well, first, talk about the car selection. Like walk her through an average Sunday.
Yeah, okay. So I think at the time we were with him, he had about probably 70 different cars. He had an entire warehouse full of cars, and we're talking every Rolls Royce name you've ever heard of, some you've never have. I mean, all the way down to like kind of cars you don't care about, like a Camaro. You're like, who gives a shit about a Camaro?
I do.
I do too. But when you look
But it
at
was
like
a 95, not a 67.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't a classic car. It was a freaking it was like a 2008. Where you're like, dude, every Marine I've ever met like has that like. But so he has like, and he has them named, right? So he's got actual names like it's Kevin, that's Ethan, that's whatever. So
That was the hardest part of my job.
yeah. So
You have to
They
know
were
my
male
name.
names?
oh
All
yeah,
of them.
not all of them, but
No,
the only ones,
there
the
was a
only
couple.
popular ones, he had male names. I never knew a female name that he had, but
I don't either.
so when
That's gay.
yeah, guaranteed. But yeah, so your Sunday consisted of finding whichever car, because the night shift agent that put him to bed, sir, what kind of car you want to take tomorrow, or which car you want to take tomorrow? We'll take Ethan. You're like, cool, write that down. Text the guy coming in the morning. You're taking Ethan. You're like, who the F is Ethan? Then you're hitting up the manager there going, who's Ethan? It goes, that's the Ferrari, California, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. I'll
That's
go
the
get that
Rolls
one.
Royce. Like, fuck, which one?
Literally.
Oh, I got a story about Rolls Royce and Nick crashing one here in a second. Dude, oh shit, man. You want to talk about heart in the throat. This freaking Rolls Royce, this guy got a twofer. He got a Rolls Royce Phantom and these custom bespoke a Phantom,
and a Ghost.
and a Ghost. They were a package deal. I think the one you hit was about a $550,000 car. It was the first day he had them.
Nice.
Nick's backing him into the garage and hit the garage. And Nick comes up.
I hit the fucking the worker van.
Oh yeah, that's right. But Nick comes into the command
It
center.
was like a '91 Dodge fucking purple.
Yeah, it was like the house staff uses this van to like do grocery runs, but Nick hit it in this car. Nick walks up, wide as it goes. He goes, "I just hit the freaking whatever the Rolls Royce's name was." Like
the Ghost.
No, you didn't. He goes, "No, I just did." I was like, "Oh my god!" So we walked downstairs where the lower garage is at. And I was like, oh, shit, you definitely hit this freaking car. I was like, yeah, you're getting fired, dude. He's like, I think I'm getting fired.
I hit it going 1 mile an hour.
1 mile an hour. And it was like a tiny little scratch, but it's like a $50,000. And so with Rolls Royce, if you hit anything on the pinstripe, there's one pinstriper for all of Rolls Royce, and he sits in England. So if you hit something on that guy has to fly out to do that by hand. Every Rolls Royce is done by hand by one dude. So and these new ones have
Christ.
like a dude. It's freaking wild,
Fucking
man. I watched,
job security there.
no shit. Thankfully, the next morning, I do the pass down. Nick's like, dude, I'm getting fired, man. Just let me know. He like texts me, just let me know if I'm fired in the morning. I was like, dude, I'll let you know. I'm working overnight. Client wakes up. The property manager or the estate manager comes over and goes, sir, I got to show your car. Like one of the security guys hits it. And he walks down his box. Like, let me see the car. He walks down. Big fat dude. Looks at it. He goes, where's it at? He's like, it's right there. He goes, oh, that's nothing. I don't give a fuck about that. And like walks back upstairs. I text Nick, I'm like, bro, I think you're fine, dude. Like, yeah, but dude, I felt for him because like, dude, it's over. You haven't even been here that long and you're getting fired like night 10 or whatever. You know, however, you hadn't been there that long, but yeah, that was my heart sank on that one.
Dude.
That was an expensive paint job. I think they spent $20,000 to buff out this little tiny, because it's this custom whatever flake paint job that doesn't exist on planet Earth except for this one car.
Yeah. What was the Sunday experience?
Okay, so back to the Sunday experience. Sunday experience is you get in the car early in the morning, you drive up to this Scientology type situation.
All the way up in LA.
Yeah, so you're up there 3 days a week, you do their thing, and you're the one driving. You drive back, and then on the way back, he's like, hey, I need to get some.
Dude,
go for it.
There's so many nuances.
Dude, interject, because my memory is like shaky on something.
So on the way north, as you're driving up, you're going up to essentially like it's a cult church in a strip mall, and
it's basically Scientology, but without that name.
What part of LA is it in? I just drove by it.
Westminster.
Westminster.
We don't want to get too detailed.
Yeah, so we're up in Westminster. However, we stop off in the shittiest fucking, like, think of like a really big Denny's. So he is very habitual. So we go into a really big Denny's, and we were the only clients in the entire firm that were allowed to, or the only security guys in the entire firm that were allowed to eat with our client.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that was like a big no-no within our firm. Like, you never.
Is there just one guy on the
Just one
detail?
guy?
Yeah.
One dude.
Yep. Just one
Per shift.
Yeah.
That's
and it's just
fucking
you
crazy.
and that guy, and it's freaking awkward.
And
most of the
one
time.
guy at the house and one guy with him. So we go into this place and we sit down, and we always sit down next to the claw machine.
Of course.
And
It was a Denny's.
And so I'm sitting there, I make my order, but like I eat notoriously slow, so I always order like whatever's super small, and like I planned around it.
I ate whatever wouldn't give me diarrhea, which was only like 2 things.
Let me get them hash browns covered, scattered, smoked,
smothered and over top.
fucking Waffle House.
And so he would order his food. As soon as we would order, everything is on a fucking pin. He would get up and he's like, where's my quarters? And I would have notoriously a pocket of quarters.
Yep.
And I'd, here you go, sir. And he's like, yeah. And he just keeps on putting them in. And he was just like, claw machine. Like the same thing that it comes down, picks up the little teddy bear, and then drops it off on the little side. Habitual. Like playing every time. And he's like, ugh. And every time he would lose, I would cringe. Because he's like, fuck. And he just like.
And it's like Sunday morning, so it's like Mexican families ready to go to freaking mass like that morning. And you're like, oh man, just
like literally
profanities. Dude, I've heard weird profanities I've never heard in my life. Again, dude, I'm from the military. I thought I heard everything. Me and Nick used to just die laughing. I have heard profanities I've never heard before in my life from this guy.
Even when he was off, we'd be texting each other of like
always.
new
It's like,
shit.
dude, this is number one's new phrase. I was like, what, dude? We're gonna wind up on the news if anybody hears this.
What's a rim job?
Oh no, well surpassed.
I'm not even
that.
gonna repeat it because I will get canceled if I repeat the things that he said. But it was just things you've like, and it's combinations of swear words. You're like, I didn't know those could go together.
Very creative,
And
sir.
very creative. Yeah.
So let's
It was
just
his art, his
perpetuate
masterpiece.
a good day. And so let's just say he won. I'm like, oh, thank God. My job's so much easier today. Because
He
he's
would
like,
just go until he won
Oh,
one
yeah.
little fucking thing.
It'd be 100 stacks of ones in the first thing in the morning until he got that stuff down.
until he got it. And then his food comes. I'm like, hey, sir, your food's here. And then he would like come over and sit down and just like, and like eat it like Jabba the Hutt. And then like go back over and play. And then I'm like,
Christ, dude.
check, please.
So real quick, I don't mean to interject, but the thing that I learned with like the billionaire status is when the cost of something doesn't matter. Denny's and Ruth Chris are the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. Like the cost, like for
Yeah.
us, the
It's so
cost.
true.
You're like, hey, the more I pay, the better it is. But when you're that rich, you just like what you like and you don't care because the cost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that was like the weird thing with this guy is like Denny's and Ruth Chris were the same thing. We would eat at Denny's as much as we would rate it like Ruth Chris or some of these
Weekly.
other high. Yeah, where you're like, but sir, we could go. I don't care. That's what I like. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck
That's
it.
the craziest fucking shit too, because I mean, habitually you get what you pay for,
Right.
but
But at the end of the day, like
Yeah,
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, mate, like if you're at home, you're like, well, I got a PBJ or I got a steak I could grill. Like it's kind of the same thing to you. And when you
Yeah.
grow up that way, where there's no, like you don't
there's
know
no
the difference.
limitations, yeah.
So it's
Yeah. The price doesn't
PB&J
matter.
and a friggin' a fillet are like
Yeah.
the same thing to you.
the value of $1 and the value of $100
doesn't
is
matter.
the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
No, and it's mind blowing to me, right? Making $47,000 a year, living in Claremont, fucking having to continuously fucking pick up my fucking English bulldog because he's stepping on somebody's dog shit to like
Right.
wash it off my bathtub because there's no garden hoses. And I'm like, this is my life, and I'm eating mac and cheese and
Rolling
like
around
doing.
in it, but an hour before that, you're in a Rolls Royce Phantom, $550,000 at Ruth Chris, freaking
Punching myself in the face not to fall
tipping
asleep.
$500 out of your petty cash just because it's there, and you're like,
Or
yeah,
because he called
yeah.
some dude a spick.
Yeah, dude, the amount of money we had
God,
to spend
dude.
to like, because like some racial slurs got dropped at dinner, and you're just like, oh crap, my waiter's black. Let me tip this guy so he's
shit.
not like he's cool with it. And that happened a lot. We're like, man, here's like $400, dude. I apologize, guys. Like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like,
So what was
man,
our petty
say
cash?
whatever-
Say it again.
Usually it's around
Petty
5K.
yeah, easily 5K. At any time we had 5K. hundreds
Yeah,
on you.
and so to caveat on that, like one time I'm at Ruth's Chris, we're in between LA and San Diego somewhere, and I'm with this his what would you call
the assistant.
assistant?
Yeah.
I'm with his
He's a
assistant.
good dude, man. I like really like this guy. He's actually a really good guy.
Kind of like a Mr. Burns, like really kind of like stringy, not really good at anything, but like still just like did have our back, but like might throw you under the bus. He didn't know how
Right.
far to like cast
Yep.
that line, and so his assistant ended up showing our client the woman that won the world
Yep,
hot
yep.
dog eating championship
At Ruth Chris.
at Ruth's Chris.
on an
and-
iPad. He's watching this on an iPad. At Ruth
And they're showing him this. And dude, this is the one time that I broke every bit of character that I had because I glanced over and they're like, hey, Nick, come over here and look at this. And I just watched this chick just like
shoveling hot dogs.
just shoveling hot dogs. And I look up at number one and like, he's boss. And he's like, what the fuck? And like just loses his shit over this. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I just start dying
is
laughing.
this the blonde-haired chick? Mickey Pseudo, American Competitive Eater.
Well, I would pull up the video because like the video just made me die. And to see this like 70-year-old billionaire, like for the first time in my life, like dumbfounded over like how many wieners she's putting in her mouth. Like I
Like,
just
sure, that's
started,
nothing. I can show you websites where they're doing double that.
and I'm fucking dying, dude. And then it was a one time him and I had like a heart to heart moment, And he like looks at me and he just sees me like I can't stop. I'm just like shaking, like convulsing, like trying to hold in my laughter, and like tears are pouring out of my eyes. And he's like, hey. I got him. Like I finally made a security break.
Yeah. That was like the funny thing with him, because we were with him for like, so the way the company kind of worked is you're assigned to a client, but you get farmed out to a million other clients. So that was like our kind of day-to-day job. But then they'd be like, hey, client A or B needs extra people, and then you're kind of
go up to Hollywood.
Yeah, or you're like, for me, I'd be in Seattle, or I'd be in Colorado, or I'd be like these other places with these like clients that are traveling. So, but then you go back to like your main detail. But yeah, that guy we were with him for so long and so often. It was like our group was so consistent that you build kind of a weird relationship where you don't really have a relationship, but he recognizes you, and he's like, and like he appreciates when you think things are funny. Like the funniest thing I ever heard this dude say is buying porn mags one day, and he's looking over at these white rhino pills at this liquor store. And we go there every week. So the guys.
Oh, so this is the Sunday story.
Yeah, Sunday story. So the guys there know us, so they're like they know what to expect, and they know who we are, or whatever. And he's like looking at these dick pills, and he's like, well, what do these do? And the guy's like telling him, and he's like, well, he's like has the stack of porn bags. Like, dude, this is 2016 porn bags. Nobody buys porn bags anymore. He's like, gentlemen, I've officially outlived my own dick. And I was like, dude, this guy, this guy was just a character, man. Like, I don't know, man. I wish there was some way to like show this guy to the world, because he's actually a really funny guy. Like, I liked working for him. I liked him as like, he's just this weird, eccentric, like nut job, but I liked him. Me and Nick talk about this all the time. Like, dude, if we could just work for him by ourselves, I'd work there forever.
I would still work there.
Like, I love this guy. He's so entertaining. He's like just a real person.
But he's just some fucking billionaire, lives in San Diego.
Billionaire lives in San Diego, and just
That's awesome.
He's like a man child. Like,
but like the Sundays would always go from the Colt up north, and then on the way down, and this is when I first learned the word libation.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because same. I was like, what the hell is a
like,
libation?
what the fuck's a libation? And so we'd get off in like North County, and he's like, I'm ready for a libation. I'm like, fuck is that? I'm over on my phone, like Googling libation. And
Like,
I'm like,
I ain't jerking this guy off.
Not again, anyways.
I'm like, oh, cocktail. But
Not on a Sunday.
He would have his own spots, and he would go in and like hammer out like 3 martinis. And he'd be
I
like,
like this guy.
all right, here. And he
We should get him on here. You guys should have him on.
No,
Dude, you can imagine? Could you imagine?
I can't. It would be.
Another libation,
I'd
sir?
pay top dollar to see it, man. I'll tell you right now.
Nobody else would until they would.
Yep.
Yeah, it would spread like wildfires. So he would have his 3 libations, and we'd leave, and he would give me the keys. And depending on what vehicle of the day we would drive, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And so, but you can't.
Oh, was he driving before this?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
he'd be driving, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And that was sketchy all by itself, but that's a whole other story. Yeah.
So this story gets way better. So we go to the porn store, and like literally, this is every Sunday, right? Magazines come out once a month. He would buy the same fucking
ones.
magazines,
Yep.
and like especially if they came with a disc.
Love the discs.
Love the disc. And then also, if there was any bottle in there that said limited on it, it's yours.
Yeah, it's buying.
It's
he's
yours.
buying limited anything. Yeah.
And like, so I would need a shopping cart in a fucking liquor store and just like taking this around. And I remember one time I was sitting there with a stack of fucking porno mags, and like,
mind you, this is in one of I'm not gonna say the area to totally like give all, but this is in the most expensive area in San Diego, aka probably even the U.S.
east of the 5.
Yes, most expensive area you can imagine. So the people walking in there aren't just like people off the street.
Yeah.
They're people that.
There's no such thing as homeless
Yeah, it's that area.
or perverts. Yeah. Well, they're closet
Well, they're all
perverts.
perverts. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and I turn around,
They're called Epstein's.
and it's a mom and her daughter. And she like looks at me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. And she like looks down at my hands, and I got
Not for me.
It's not mine. She's like, sure,
stack
sir.
of pornos,
Sure.
and she's like, and like immediately the face just like fringed and like wrinkled, and I'm like, whatever, part of the job. And I
I
go
know.
up. The guy never took Amex, and I just like put it up there, and I'm like, here's an Amex.
please bag it quickly.
Yep.
Bag it quickly.
And so he'd bag it up, and he was like, have a good day, blah, blah, blah. So we would package it all up. So then we get back in, and I'm driving. And then now it's all just switchbacks going back to his fucking place. Well, this motherfucker loved cyclists.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Oh my God, he loves. And when I say when he says love cyclists, he effing hated them.
Yeah.
Hated them
I
with a
like
passion.
this guy more and more
Yeah.
every story.
Yeah.
Truly, like he is who I've become. I've become this guy. Like I see him in me all the time.
Yeah. And so, dude, I'm driving around, whether it be like the Ferrari F430, the Cali, a fucking, like, name any of the cars,
Yeah.
except for Lambos. He didn't like Lambos.
Yeah, he didn't like Lambos. It's fucking weird. He did not like Lambos.
Yeah.
Too flashy, probably.
And so we're driving around, and like I'm like coming around the turn. There's like an oncoming car. It's like super narrow, and he's like, "Get this motherfucker! Get this motherfucker!" And he'd roll down his window outside of like a Rolls Royce Ghost, and he has like this like gimp arm that's always kind of like at a permanent like L, but it can't extend. It just doesn't. It just kind of like naturally loves this. He's like, "Yeah, get him!" And I'm like, I'm at this very split second dichotomy right now to where I can do what the clients ask me to do, but also like it's not what the world wants.
Maybe it's what they need, though. Maybe it's what they need.
And so I'm like, fuck it. And so I lean over, and he's like, yeah. And he would try to punch the cyclist on the side of the road.
Out of a Ferrari
Or a
with
Rolls.
horse ranches on the left side. You're like, dude, what the hell, man?
And then the one time, dude, which I had to write up and report, right? So every day after we're done being with him, we had to write up everything.
Yep.
And I'm not, like, there's no holds barred.
The client communication is what you had. Yep.
And so one time he comes out, and he goes and he punches his cyclist in his back, and his arm gets fucking tweaked like this. And he's like, rah! And I'm like literally growls like a T-Rex. And I was like, oh, sir, you okay? And he's like, yeah, but I got that motherfucker. I got that motherfucker. He's like, fucking cunt, fucking cunt, fucking cunt. And I'm like, good Lord. And I'm like, what am I doing? And
He
then I
loved
look
the
at the
word
review.
cunt, too. Cunt was like, I say the and the way he says cunt. Yeah. Yeah. It was like, you hear it so often you don't hear it.
But then I looked in the rearview mirror, dude, and I see the cyclist doing this, and he just rears off into the fucking bushes. And I'm like...
Dude had it coming to him, let's be honest.
So then, meanwhile, he's at the house, like if I was on travel, and so I'm like, just nailed the cyclist, we're 5 out.
I'm like, roger that, let me put it in the report. Nailed the cyclist, 5 out.
And I'm like, he's in a great mood. And we'd always set the mood, like, for the onboarding person.
And that was, when you and I worked, that was always our thing. We're like, dude, we call him number one, right? We'd be like, let's get number one. Like we would purposely try to get this guy in a good mood. We were really good at it. He liked us. But we were the only two that, like, ever tried to, like, you know, like boost the mood or try and get him, you know, laugh or whatever. Like, we'd just be kind of personal with him because the company as a whole wanted us to be robots. Like, and that's kind of like the weird thing is like, I mean, I've had
Once
dinner
you be
with,
the gray man.
yeah,
Yeah,
and dude,
very.
truly like, oh my God, the fucking gray man is literally where this company is like, you only operate in this gray. And I mean, I've had those weird interactions thousands of times where you're like at dinner, but you're like, let me go sit at the bar, but sit where I'm watching you, but I'm so close that it's awkward that I'm sitting next to you but not eating with you while you're talking with your family and, you know, crap like that. But this was the only client that we were kind of permitted to get out of the gray area, if you were.
A smidge. But meanwhile, like, if our senior level leadership ever found out about it, like, Travis and I operated, like, perfect together.
Yes.
And then, like, number one, hated the other guys.
Yep.
Like, he didn't like working with them. When he knew it was Travis and I, whether I was at the house and, like, whatever, like, it was great. Which is probably why I didn't get fired bumping his fucking Rolls Royce into a car.
You're guaranteed. Yeah.
And so we'd get back to the house. I would pull up right to the driveway. He was always waiting, or I was always waiting. And then I'm like, here's fucking $700 worth of porno magazines and booze, which he barely ever drank. And then it would get distributed or just put into a corner and never to be seen again. So then the best part is when we would put him to bed. So explain the bed process.
Oh, yeah, man. So I don't know if you ever put a grown man to bed before, but or like a rich.
Yeah.
So more often than not, you get a call, I'm ready to go. They're going to hook the man's CPAP up to his face, and he's going to go to bed, right?
Oh, my God,
more often
dude.
than not, you walk in, you go down to the hallway, and like, sir, Travis or Nick, right? And you hear, porn on his giant screen TV, loud as you have ever heard in your life, and he's just standing there watching it. And you're like, sir, do you want me to come back? No, okay, just wait. He's just watching until he gets to his favorite part. He's like, and you're just standing there with like a hose and a freaking CPAP in your hand. You're like, sir, do you want me to come back? No, I'll come back. I'm like, I was watching porn for like a half hour while this dude's just watching.
Is he standing there with a fucking boner?
No, he's not.
Is he naked?
Boner. No, he's in boxers. No boner. He's just watching. He's just like he's like.
Wait, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Literally, he's like,
Look at
man,
the
my
lighting.
favorite part's coming. Hold
Look
on.
at the cinematography on this.
Oh, Rembrandt's
Think this
painting
is
his
in 6K?
masterpiece. Yep. So you just watch it, then all of a sudden he's like, all right, turns it off, and he's like, oh, I'm ready. And he like goes and sits down in bed. You're like, I just watched porn for like a half hour. It's so loud, my ears are ringing. And I'm like, sir, which car do you want to take tomorrow? What do you want to do tomorrow? So, yeah, the nighttime routine was, and then we had this upstairs area where there's all these like freaky dolls. Remember that? And it was always like the thing, you're like, dude, I'm not checking the freaking doll room. Like, this is free. And the dolls would like follow you. They had those dolls with the eyes would like follow you. So you go up there and you're like, bro, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
But tell them about the coochie
Like
coochie
sex
coo.
dolls?
no, I went. No, Nick effed all those. They got rid of them. They're like, why are these things so used? We just bought them.
Jesus.
Nick's just sleeping in the corner. Like, Nick, get up, man. Tell him about the what now?
The coochie coochie coo.
Oh, with the
After the pap. So
Oh my God.
part of the process of his raising kind of jaded him. And you can actually read about it, but that's up for everybody else to fucking decipher. So when I was a brand new guy, I put him to bed, put on the CPAP machine for him. I'm like, hey, sir, you good to go? You got everything? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Roger
Would he
that.
say that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Oh, yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off. I'm like, uh-huh.
Have a great night, sir. Sleep
Yep.
well.
So I pulled
Enjoy
the
your
door-
boner.
Wishing you had one, maybe.
You want this porn back on?
So part of our SOP was to like do laps around like the entire house, like check every
There's a
door,
massive
every window,
house, too, yeah.
massive. And so I like closed it. So his office was like right next door to his bedroom. This is where I found out what happened with the porno mags.
Oh, yeah.
And so I walked into his office and I'm like doing a loop. And so he had this like fully professional, probably 6 foot wide
Poster
printer.
size.
6 foot wide
Yeah.
printer.
Huge.
And I look at it, and it's a photo
Oh my God.
of one of the photos in the porno magazine that we bought that Sunday. So he would take a
Printed
camera.
6 foot by 6 foot. Yeah,
Wow.
like a print. You're like, dude, this. What am I? You had to like step back to see there was a cock and balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what's that? And it's just like pink. But then all of a sudden you come back and you're like, oh, that's a testicle.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
yeah.
it never was. It was always girls. But even still questionable.
Girls' testicles?
Yeah, you don't know. How dare you judge them?
Yeah, all right.
Her testicles were huge.
So we look at this, and that's when I was like, what the fuck? So in the same night, I'm like, all right, do a lap, look at all the windows, everything's good. I walk out, and I'm crossing his bedroom, and I just hear, coochie coochie coo. Coochie coochie coo. And I'm like,
Is he talking to me?
and just so I just crank it, because I was his door open, like just a smidge, and I cranked it open, I just like, deflate. And I look, here you got a 70-year-old fat dude just sitting here with the CPAP on, just like
With a stuffed animal?
playing
Yeah.
with the stuffed animal.
Real.
Playing with the stuffed animal and just like talking to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not to mention, whenever we'd have to travel, they had their own suitcases and they all needed to be left, right, dress, like on the bed whenever he would arrive. So you had to know the name of every single stuffed animal that was packed in every single fucking
Imagine,
suitcase.
imagine the
fucking
childhood
God, yeah.
shit that happened to a
Wow,
person
no
where like
shit.
that's like at 70 years
Yeah.
old, like a requirement.
I was going to say, is he
Yeah.
on the spectrum or
Oh,
what?
yeah, 100%. 100% of the spectrum. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
you got to think too, not to give like a ton of details about this particular individual, but you know, he grew up in 1940s, 1950s Hollywood where you know, he had a cleft lip, a cleft palate,
Yeah, yeah.
and you didn't have that when you were in the rich and famous. So
Right.
he was shoved into a closet with, you know, the help, if you will, raising him. So you kind of, it's like a weird, like, I'll be honest with you, like I felt bad for him.
He's like
He was
the forgotten.
literally,
like,
yeah. And he was like, you could like me and Nick loved this guy. Like I truly like to this day, like I have nothing. Like he was just such a wild person, but like at the heart of him, like he was just a guy that like had a crap kind of upbringing, super rich, but kind of a crap upbringing where he's just kind of hidden. Family didn't want much to do with him, so he had these weird like things like that. Yeah, you kind of get that look on the other side of the curtain where you're like, dude, yeah, man, yeah, it's so funny, man, because I do that sometimes. I mess with my dogs like that. My wife's always like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Never mind, I'm not gonna tell you the whole story, but yeah, you get this weird look on the other side of the curtain where you're like, yeah, like money is one thing, but then you see kind of how people really are. Then you see that like at the end of the day, man, people are just people. Like money doesn't really mean a lot because, again, like you see with this particular person, you know, like for example, we'd be in Vegas and he goes into a watch shop and he's like, "Hey, I want to buy this watch," and everybody kind of blows him off and he goes,
because he dressed kind of like a slouch.
You know, he looks like to me, he looked like a typical like Texas oil man, where he had a bolo tie, and an oversized shirt and some baggy pants. He didn't look like much, but then if you looked him close, you'd be like, all right, maybe that guy's got some money. He's got some rings, and you know, some bling on him. But you know, I don't know. It's just weird to see a person like that. That like, again, he could drive like this car that I could afford, and he would the next day drive, you know, his Ferraris or his, you know, his Rolls Royce. He'd eat Denny's one day. He'd eat. I say Ruth Chris, like that's like it's not, you know, it's medium grade, I guess, within the wealthy world.
Mr. A's or
that was one of the best parts of my fucking job, is because making $47,000 a year, I wasn't eating steak.
Right.
And like four times a week.
Right.
Like when I was on Sunday details and I'm like, bet.
Yeah.
Like, because
or Wednesdays, man, that's when you're really cashing out because you're getting lunch and dinner. Yeah.
And you don't have to go to the Colt.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, it was my favorite. And like every time I pass by every single one of those Ruth's Chris, I'm just like, thank you.
Yep.
Because I would get to eat with him anything I wanted.
Yeah.
And like he was very much.
And he would be mad if you didn't eat. Like that was the thing with him, is if you sat there and didn't eat.
Or didn't order dessert. Like you had to match his order.
Oh, fuck.
So like if he got a salad or soup,
don't mind if I do.
That.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you're just like knocking it down.
Well,
then, you know,
go ahead.
Go on. No, sorry.
No, you go on.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say it's like that unwritten rule. Like when you're doing EP stuff, it's like don't outdress the client.
Yep.
Don't out eat the client. Don't outperform the client. So you know you're expected to be kind of seen and not heard.
Yep.
You know, you're not smoking and joking and bullshitting with the guy unless you get a rapport with a client that enjoys having you around, that enjoys shit like that. But that's very few and far between.
I never worked with a client that enjoyed like interaction of any kind, other than I had one up in Santa Monica I worked for a little while that he was like one of the youngest hedge fund billionaires there was. This guy was a really good dude. And then like Sundays he'd be like, hey, he'd like come up to where I was kind of stood this detail up, and he'd come up. I'd be at his house pretty much. I was the only one there for quite a while. And like, hey man, what's your favorite football team? And I'm like, 49ers, sir. At the time, I don't give a crap about 49ers anymore, but at the time, like, cool. Let's walk to the bar. I'm going to walk to the bar. I need you to go with me so we can watch the 49ers game. Like, this dude was really, like, cared about, like, what we were doing with him.
That's cool.
But for the most part, none of the clients I ever worked for gave to, like, we were kind of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
You know, but you have some of these guys, you know, like him that we would eat with, and then, like, kind of the opposite of the spectrum. Like, you know, back to the soccer player I was with. You know, the wife, she got to the point where she was like, hey, I don't want any of our security guys to like, be on GPS when we're driving around. Like, you should know where the hell we're going. So I would spend all night.
Imagine that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I would get off work, and I lived in Long Beach, and I get off work in Beverly
what part
Hills.
Of Long Beach?
Why, you the ATF? Like, what are you asking those questions for?
No, I used to live up there.
Yeah, I was on 2nd Street, near 2nd Street.
Okay.
I was just off on Grand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so like, I guess
my cousin owns Lola's on 4th.
Okay, yeah. I don't know where Lowell's at, but I know 4th Street pretty well. Yeah.
A lot of fags there. No,
Is that what they call them now?
the cigarettes.
Cigarettes, yeah. But like we would do, like I would have to get out of work after working a 16-hour day and drive around just to get familiar with these. I don't spend time in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever go up there? But I have to like know the places so that when this lady goes, hey, I want to go to so-and-so, I would have to just know. She's like, no security guy should ever be on their phone while they're with me. But we kind of work around because we always had a chase vehicle. because they're always with their kids.
That was
in
before
case
the
something happened.
iWatch too.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know,
earpiece.
Yeah. So we had the weird the Bluetooth back in the day.
Yeah.
So I had my BlackBerry, and I would just call the guy behind me and be like, "Hey, sorry, man, where'd you want to go?" And just like I'd call him, and then he'd GPS it for me. So we'd be driving around. He'd be like, "Hey, man, turn left up here." I'm like, "Shit, I went right. Shit, give the next directions." But you have these people that you have this like kind of weird thing where they're like they want security to be robots, and again because we're such an inconvenience to their kind of life. But then I was with some super well-known clients. They have companies named after rainforests in the South of America, and I'd be with their kids, and I would get assigned to their kids just because I was good with their kids on one detail, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're with the nanny with these kids, so if we're on vacation, that guy's coming with us." So you'd get these weird things you'd work yourself into, or you'd be on a detail. Middle of the night, they'd be like, "Hey, this client's going to Colorado for 2 weeks. We need you to be with them because they want you with their kid, you specifically with their kids."
Oh wow.
So you'd be like, "Cool, I'm on the plane first thing in the morning going to." So it was just kind of like weird. You had your home base, which is your normal client, then you just get farmed out for all these kind of other details.
But if you think about it too, like in the Hollywood aspect, everybody's coming after them for something, right? In that world. But we are so pigeonholed to the firm that we work for to where they knew that we never asked them for anything. And like we were offered Rolexes as Christmas gifts, and which, God, I wish I would have said yes. But we consistently denied. And so that built up a level of trust almost to a deficit to where some dudes in our ecosystem ended up leaving and sleeping with the client and breaking up their marriage.
Oh yeah, so so I have a friend. I was actually buddies with him once upon a time, with a singer and a model. And if you could just Google any singer model who got broken up by the bodyguard, you'll see who it is. But it's like the world's most famous singer, world's most famous model. I've been on their detail a bunch of times. The guy who broke up the marriage actually got pulled into an interview about it. Yeah, he was like hooking up with her after hours, and then one of our guys was like, "Hey man, like, what are you?" He's a detailer. He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, man, I gotta get something." He's like, "You can't sneak past security. We are security. Like, what the hell are you doing, man?" And he was like, he raised the flag. He's like, "Hey, I think something's going on." And then our company launched this big investigation because there's a lot of money on the line, so rightfully so. And then I didn't want to say I got roped into it because I didn't, but I about a couple weeks later, had one of the directors come approach me in the middle of the night while I was working some other client. It's like, "Hey man, what do you know about this guy? You were in Mexico City with him. Tell me about everything." And I was like, "Dude, whoa, what the heck?" And I text the guy on the side. I'm like, "What the hell's going on, man?" He goes, "Hey man, just I'll tell you later, like what's going on." And I was like, "Well, I see it in the news, dude. So kind of out there." But yeah, he broke up one of the biggest singers on earth, the biggest models on earth in marriage, and stayed with her for like a year later and was their bodyguard.
Was it Kevin
and all this
Costner?
Stuff. I wish, man.
I think I made a movie about that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, the irony is the owner of this company was the main guy on that as a advisor for that movie.
No shit.
Yeah, allegedly.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Allegedly, that's kind of based loosely off a situation with him and a client. Yeah, so it's a great movie, by the way.
Well, and there's something to be said with like what you were saying before is like I've done EP for quite a bit as well, and having clients that respect what you do and that can see a benefit of having you without like talking down to you and without thinking you're just a fucking bullet sponge or some piece of shit that's, because I mean, I've been on both sides of the spectrum where it's like this dude is a fucking phenomenal
agent.
Phenomenal client principal. And then I've had other times where I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to get off this fucking detail. And they're like, "Hey, we want you to stay a couple days." I'm like, nope, I am fucking out of here. Yep. And even like what you're saying, like a lot of things that what people don't understand is you're literally beholden to these people. And some, like at least with your one guy here in San Diego, he was at least had a routine. And he was verbal with you, like, because, I mean, nothing's worse than having a client and you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to, you're going to sit outside the fucking house and wait until I tell you what's going on. And you literally sit up there for fucking hours. And then finally, you happen to see the dude. He looks outside his window like, oh, I didn't know you're still here. Yeah, you could have left like 4 hours ago. You're like,
motherfucker.
You fucking cockbag.
Yeah. Oh, you're still here? All right. So
I'm charging you.
What I'd like to do is take a break so that way we can debrief on how we proceed next, because there is a multitude of options.
All right, cool. Break time.
All right.
Now we can get the heck out of here, Kevin.
All right. We're back.
Cool.
I mean, I don't have a hard out. I just have a
Hard on.
another engagement. But what we were talking about over the break was some of the crazy shit in terms of how your far right and left lateral limits of some of your clients, and some expect this and some expect that, and you have some clients that are just super fucking awesome and communicate. At least like you're saying with your one guy, is like, if he has a routine, you're like, that's fantastic, But having somebody who just leaves shit vague. I mean, me and Mo were on a gig on the East Coast, and this dude, you could not get a read on this guy. Like, we'd wake up in the morning, and he would be like, yeah, well, it's noon. We're going to drive to New York in about 20 minutes. And we're like, what the fuck? We're like, how long are we going to be there? Like, maybe 3 days, maybe 2 weeks. And you're like,
Wow.
great. I got to pack all of my fucking shit and have the vehicles ready to go and, all this fucking shit. Oh, and by the way, we might go to Connecticut during that trip too. And and you're just like, what the fuck?
Well, I booked the rental car for 4 days.
Yeah,
so I should extend that.
Well, luckily we had a driver, and he had a body man too. So a lot of times we would just look at his body man and go, what the fuck?
Give us,
and
give
then
us
a lot
read.
of times he would go, literally had no fucking clue what was going on. But
yeah, it's the entire job is it's so hard to describe because you're watching people live their own lives. Like, you don't get to enjoy the fun things that people are doing. Like, I've been on private islands with people, riding jet skis around. Like, I'm not enjoying that shit. I'm watching them and making sure they're safe and making sure they have all the things they need, and doing all these kind of tertiary things behind the scenes. And, it sounds cool to like jet set to Israel or, go to the Bahamas or whatever, but, or, be in Telluride. But really, like, I'm working 18 hours a day. I don't even know what the hell day of week it is. I don't even know where I'm at because I just came off another, 28 days straight detail. So, like, there's so much of that where you're trying to read these clients, but more often than not, I'm just like in the ear of the assistant. I'm like, hey, man, what do you want me to do for them? Right. So you don't offend them, but.
Well, and it's also shit that those clients, a lot of times, they're not even seeing what you're doing. So
no
it's
idea.
Totally unappreciated.
Yeah, well, they don't know and they don't care. You're a line item, right? You're like, hey man, I'm paying, and they don't even know that's a line item. There's something on their budget income statement where they're like, they have security, but they don't necessarily know or care that it's Nick Betts or me, and they're doing all these things for them, but that's not like something that like enters their their atmosphere while they're living their life. So
Was there any point that you ever hit like a very uncomfortable situation?
Man, I think the whole freaking thing's an uncomfortable situation.
Well, it depends on who you are.
I'll tell you. So, not that I'm not going to say I'm like this most moral person on planet Earth. I definitely have like a flexible moral compass here. But, I'll tell you like one kind of weird situation, and it's not weird. It's kind of funny, I guess. But like I had one guy that, multi-billionaire. I had to go pick up his call girls from LAX. Like, I got pulled into detail just to do that.
Oh, the one I worked for in
yes, same one, same guy. So he goes, so I got pulled to this detail in the middle of the night. He's like, hey, you're gonna meet us at this such and such hotel. Like, to the hotel, like, hey man, I got some. He calls over to us, like, hey man, I got some friends meet me at the LAX, and we have our own private terminal. And he's like, I need you to go pick up my friends. I'm like, cool, who are these friends? So I just get in the SUV, drive. I know who his friends are. They're very bolted on, very smart looking people.
Big
so
set
I'm like,
of personality. Yeah.
huge personality.
Very
huge,
plastic.
Yeah, very, but just, great human beings. But so I pick them up, take them back to the hotel. It's like freaking 2 a.m. And I get a call at freaking 5 a.m. Hey man, can you take my friends back to the airport? And meanwhile, I've been up for freaking 32 hours. I'm like driving them back to the airport, like trying not to nod off. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've had any like morally kind of uncomfortable, even though, it was kind of a questionable. You're like, I hope I'm not, you're definitely maybe breaking laws, but who, not for me to decide because they're just friends. But yeah, you definitely get put in these positions where people are doing some questionable stuff, and talking about doing some of the disco sugar. Where you're like, people are doing stuff around. You're like, I'm trying to stay on the outskirts of this and not be involved in it, but you're also responsible for these people.
Yeah.
There was also a point where I realized that we kind of have this umbrella, essentially, of protection due to the people that we're around. Mm-hmm. So with the individual that you were just talking about, back when he built another house in Malibu, I got tasked with that. And I'm driving him to like a restaurant launch party because that's what she wanted to do. They were married at the time, even though this was happening on the side. And all of a sudden, like, I'm driving in this Rolls Royce and I just hear, "Hey, Nick." I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Look back here." I'm like, I'm kind of driving, sir. And he's like, "No, look back here." And I'm like, and like switch hands, and I come up like, and I turn the mirror down and I see him. I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "No, down more." And I'm like, and I crank it down and he's like, just finger banging the fuck out of this chick, like in the back seat of the car. And he's like, "Yeah, you like that?" And I'm like,
Nick's like,
"What
"Yeah,
the
yes,
fuck?"
I do."
No, dude, like,
Nick's like swerving in traffic.
like, no. I'm just like, I sat there and just like I'm stuttering now, I'm like, "Good on you, sir." And I just like turned up the mirror and like went back to like the actual window and like
You're a
kept
great
on driving.
American.
That would have been the answer.
Wash your hands.
But just kept on going. And I'm like, what the fuck on earth? And like, you know what I'd love is like a full debrief of like all of our reports that we had, like all those debriefs just like compiled into a book.
Yeah.
Because the one artist that you were talking about that decided to have a heyday or a hey years, after I got put in the frunk and we went back to the house, I'm in the security office and I'm like
Can you tell the story real quick about the frunk? Have you told it on here before?
I believe I have, but to hyphenate for those
yeah.
that don't. So I had to take said person to an award show, but she picked a Ferrari F430. And so we drive to the award show, and in the front, and as an agent, we have a bag that has an AED inside, medical, medical kit, spare magazines, radio, batteries, like this whole conundrum. And it's fucking big, dude. Like, it's like this big. So it takes up the entire frunk of this F430.
A frunk is the front trunk of a sports car, just for those listening.
So when you got a rear center engine vehicle, that's where you put everything, aka your groceries and no luggage. And so we go to the after party, we go to the award show, and she ends up getting obliterated. And she's like, "I want to go back with Katie." And I'm like, "I don't know who the fuck Katie is." I was like, "We can't do this." And she's like, "Nick, Katie's coming with me." And I'm like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "We're going to the after party." And I'm like, "You know I need to go with you." She's like, "Figure it out." Fuck. And already at this point, we're at the valet line. And I'm
what year about is this? Like, is Uber very prevalent? Or?
No.
It is. No.
It's new.
Yeah.
Uber's new.
It's in LA for sure.
Yeah.
And so I asked her, I'm like, "Can I please call her an Uber? I promise she'll get there." And she's like, "No, she's coming with us." Meanwhile, if I took a motherfucking Uber, I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Hands
course.
down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No." And so I'm like, "All right, what am I doing?" And she like grabs the keys from me, or grabs the keys from the valet, because the valet holds them out to me. She grabs them and then like gets in the car. And I'm like, "Please, no." And she's like, "Figure it out." And so I reach and I pop the frunk, open it up, grab the bag. I'm on the radio right now and talking fucking Kaz. And I'm like, "This is where I'm at right now. This is what I'm trying to do. FYI, like, it's almost like a SOS." And so I get in the frunk and I'm just huddled in here like this. And I'm like pulling my toes in, and the guy's like trying to like close the hood, and it doesn't close. And I'm like, "Sit on it." And he sits on it. It's like click. And I'm like, we're good. And
my
so then we
God,
take
dude.
off.
When you were
And-
telling the story before, I thought it was like a Tesla frunk, like a Tesla truck frunk. I didn't know it was a Ferrari truck.
Yeah,
This
dude,
is
that's
this
a
is-
F430. I remember the car.
The
That'd be like
flunkest of the frunks.
being that's like aching to be shoved into that little wooden box during Sears school where they have to sit on it.
It's that, but worse.
It's like getting into that fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you in this box.
It was about that. Yeah. And I'm 6'1".
Dude.
And so
Not
I'm
that
in
night
here.
you weren't.
No. And so guess what? And just takes off down Sunset. It's like, what? Just going, I'm like, I'm in the front of carbon fiber right now. And I couldn't even reach my mic. Like, everything was locked where it was. Like, I looked like a mummy out of Pompeii. And I'm like the guy jerking off, that would be me. Just like sitting there. And I'm like, I'm going to die.
Just
so
wait for her to pile it up.
We
Was
get
she
to
hammered
this-
dog shit too?
Hammered.
On all the
with
things,
Katie.
not yeah.
With Katie. Like, hopefully it was a lot of blow and not a lot of fucking anything else, because at least that'll, like, bring you back to life.
I wouldn't know. I heard.
Yeah. Did you get there on time?
We got there ahead of time.
Nice.
But the problem is, as soon as we fucking pulled in, she,
Forget you're there.
yep. So the valet takes me, and I hear, hey, thanks. And I'm like, hey. No, not a
Beating on the thing.
Well, no, and there's no beat. So all I could do is just jackhammer it like this. Like, all I could do is just hit with my wrist. And then, so the valet driver gets in. He's like, "Brrr," and I'm like, please don't take this on a joyride. And he like starts pulling forward. I'm like, hey! And I just start screaming. And so he stops the car, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And dude, when he opens it up, that hood is like, douche, like the front. I'm like,
He was probably like, what the fuck?
Thank God it's not a dead hooker again.
yeah, I know, again.
In a fucking suit.
Yeah, and like, dude, and I'm in a vest and gun and flashlight and radio and fucking spare mags, tourniquet, everything. I'm like, which way'd she go? And he's like, that way. And I get out. I'm like, fuck. And like, dude, everything's like up against my belt.
I
So
want
like,
to see what AI makes out of this because this is fucking hysterical.
everything's showing. And so like, I like redress myself. I'm like, tuck in my white shirt. And I'm like, all right. Guess who I walk up to on the door is fucking Kaz and the Brit.
Our
The Brit.
Our director who wasn't a big fan of Nick's arrive, but just say that.
Yeah, we didn't drink the Kool-Aid. And so I'm like, I just came out of the frunk. And they're like,
It's like, is that code for sex?
well, they kind of looked at me and Gary was like, the fucking frunk?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, mate. And he's like, stand in this position. I was like, all right, Roger. So I stand in that position. He's like, all right, go find your client. So I went around, found her, and I was like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. You're always in view. Like, have a great night. So then they pulled us and maneuvered us because this is such a big after party that there's probably 25 of our own agents there due to the clients. So then I get a radio call and it's like, hey, Nick, I need you. And we all had like our little fucking code words or whatever. And so I go up to them and they're like, hey, there's a bunch of dudes doing coke in the fucking room next door. Like, I need you to tell them to stop. And I'm like, all right.
And the narrator says, but Nick didn't tell him to stop.
Yeah.
Hindsight being 2020. So I go in the room and I walk in because the whole building was also owned by a client of the firm that we all work for. And they were just sitting there like watching all the cameras. And so I walk in and it is probably the highest of the high of male celebrity fucking sex icons. And they're all like, oh yeah, fucking, yeah, cunt. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, all right, gentlemen. The host of the party politely requests that you no longer do cocaine on the table.
You say the words cocaine to them, they're like,
oh yeah,
this isn't cocaine, man. Is that what you thought this was?
Yeah, tomato pineapple, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what would you have us do with it, mate? And I'm like, do it in the bathroom like the rest. And so then they all did it all, and then like
where the fuck were they doing that? Like a spare bedroom or some shit?
Yeah, it was like and it was like cordoned off. Like
it's like
this is
have
like
some fucking couth, do it in the bathroom like everybody else. You fucking.
that's literally what I said
like
to
a
him.
Christian.
Like a Christian.
Yeah,
But that's what I told him, and it was like, dude. I mean, I walked in and I was starstruck, and I'm like, oh God, like this is gonna be a fun conversation. And told him they did it all, well, what was laid out, and then like wiped the table, and he was like, fucking good, mate. Yeah, you're good. And it was just like the ringleader. Trust me, there was others. And then that was it.
Do you guys ever have like cops that work for that company?
Former cops.
Yeah, we had a lot of former cops. You know, the funny thing about like the people who worked for this company is I worked with a lot of guys who were former SEALs, and they'd get out and they'd do this job for about 3 weeks, and like, this is not what I thought it was
They
going
would
to be.
quit
out
right away.
Right? Like almost instantly. Every SEAL that, and it was like kind of a running joke, like, this guy's a SEAL, he's not going to be here longer than, because you can make more money doing a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
So guys would get there and be like, wait, I'm just going to be working at the estate. No, screw this. So they bounce. But I worked for a fair amount of different kind of special forces dudes, but then really those guys never stuck around very long. It was usually like us grunts that were like, yeah, I'll do this crap because I don't really know what else I'm going to go do, or don't necessarily want to go do contracting or whatever. So
Yep. Hands down.
Well, the reason I ask you that is because I did a contracted to do this WME like Oscar party, and half of our guys, like we took, there was like 6 of us, so 3 of us came from San Diego. We're team guys. The other 3 were ODOs, like LAPD.
Yeah.
And
current ODOs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so
what is ODO for the
off-duty
audience?
officers?
Yeah.
And so the dudes show like tell them like, hey, they want us in this. They want us in all black. They want us to basically blend in with the fucking the catering staff. They want us in black suits, black shirt, black tie. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like one of the ODOs shows up. He's in a fucking blue suit with a red tie, like red power tie, and I'm like,
certain dominance,
like, what the fuck, bro? Like what the
like
fuck?
running for mayor right there.
Yeah. And so, and the host was like, hey, we want to make sure we post one guy on this stairwell. We don't want anybody going upstairs. I'm like, well, looks like you just got the stairwell fucking assignment. I can't fucking put you anywhere else.
Good job, red tie guy.
Yeah. And then, but it was funny because same shit, you had people literally doing blow in the open, and you have these other 2 cops that are just like,
Yeah.
kind of having to turn a blind eye. At the same time, it's like, dude, like, there's like a moral dilemma there. And even like for us, because I mean, there would be dudes that come up and like,
What the fuck are they gonna do though?
The off-duty cops can't do it. Like, we never had off-duty cops working with us. We definitely had a ton of guys who were prior law enforcement. But because it was such a great...
It's L.A.
Yeah, and again, it's so prevalent. You're like, what are you going to do? Call the cops? I mean, I was with a guy one time, and we had another potential client that was hammered off his freaking ass, coming up to me, like, and his girlfriend's like, hey, can you give us a ride? And he's like, no, man, give me the key. She hands me the keys, and I was like, I'll give him a ride because they're just down the road.
yeah.
Smashed. I mean, this guy was like belligerent. Just rips the keys out, and he's like, I'm just going to drive myself. And I was like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, do I tackle the guy and like... So I mean,
it's
kind of,
like,
it is a weird moral
you're the
dilemma.
client,
You're
bro.
like, I mean,
That's
you're
a
not that
dilemma.
far, but you're like, I mean, I can't physically stop him. I have no authority here. Like, the only thing I can do is maybe alert the cops, which maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
But even then
I
you're
probably
definitely getting fired because you got a fucking client arrested.
Yeah.
And that's a big PR thing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
at the end of the day, like security, like you're also the fall guy. Like you're every part of security. You're the PR security also. So
and if you go into it knowing that you're the biggest scapegoat in the entire fucking room, then like,
you're gonna get blamed for everything. Yeah.
you know how to like play your hand.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, then you're dumb, and if you do, then you're smart. But
Yeah. Well, and I mean that goes back to like your client at the mall where they're walking around, and I know that this is particularly the case with the one guy that I still kind of do work for. Is he doesn't mind taking pictures and signing stuff for fans and shit. Mm-hmm. But as soon as he's with his family,
it's off limits.
and then he can look to us, and now we can become the asshole, and he doesn't have to be the asshole. So
right.
I know that some of those things too, where you have, same shit. Like, oh,
That's your job now.
It's like, hey, why not? Hey, well, no, let them through, let them through, let them through. And you're like, motherfucker, we just had this conversation. Yeah. Whereas in front of other people, he can say, oh, no, I love my fans.
Right.
Yep.
And then behind closed doors, he's like, motherfucker, what did I say? You're like, what?
Yeah, we had
fuck?
this incident, like the funny story I was going to tell a little while ago, with same said footballer. We were at Legoland, and we were with this person and their kids. It's me and one other guy, and he's signed. This guy's a super nice guy, signing autographs for kids, whatnot. And this dude walks by, and I'm kind of standing like a little bit away from him, while my other guy's like standing with him, just making sure fans are not acting crazy. San Diego, man, like anybody that comes to San Diego, nobody messes with them.
Yeah.
So, very low threat, very low risk. So I'm just standing there. This dude walked by, goes, yo, so-and-so, you suck. And I was like, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I was like, just kind of shuttle him around. And he was like, and then, the client looks at me and is like, hey, look at your face. You're ugly. And like goes back to signing things. And I was like, dude, you good? He goes, yeah, man, just got to let fools know. And he just like kept walking like there's nothing. And it became this like inside joke. Like sometimes you got to let fools know, man. Because this dude just like out of his way just sees him. He's like, yo, you suck. Like, got to let fools know.
Yeah.
It's so freaking random. This guy was super cool. He just kept walking like it was nothing. He was like, cool, man, I got that off my freaking chest.
Yeah,
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
So his wife one time I went to Aspen with, and because they asked like in like a group email, hey, who can either ski or snowboard because the clients are going to Aspen. I'm like, I can snowboard pretty well.
A place where the beer flows like wine.
And the salmon like
the salmon Capistrano, yeah.
And so, dude, we go up, and of course, Aspen is not. It doesn't favor snowboarders, right? Because it's all skiers. And this is later in the day, right? Because they've been doing engagements and all this shit, and so now it's just like Mogulville. So
I'm slow probably by that time.
I'm riding down with her and like her friend and one of the kids and going, and it's just like mogul after mogul. And like, dude, army knees. I'm like, goosh. And I'm like, fuck, these are getting gas. I'm like, all right. And so she ends up kind of like just hightailing it. And I'm like, fuck, I got to keep up. And so I just start like button hook it down, and like my knees are just screaming at me. I'm like, all right, I'm good. And as soon as she like stopped, I like get right up and I hit a mogul, and I hit it. And I'm like, whoop. And I just like yeet off this mogul and like come down, and like hands are out in front, but I still like barely bounce my nose off the ground, but it's enough to like give me a bloody nose. And like I come up and she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, so bad. And I was like, yeah, I'm so good. And like I was
bleeding out of your ears and nose.
No, I was fine, but like I wiped my nose. I was like, yeah, I'm good. And she's like, oh, okay, honey. And she's like, all right, well, let's go down. So we went down, jumped in
like
the fucking
you first,
jumped in the truck, and then that night I get a call from the detail lead, and it's like, hey man, you're fired, like off the detail. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, the client called me and said that she feels that you're unsafe, and did you break your nose? And I was like, no, dude, I got a bloody nose. And he's like, how'd you get a bloody nose? And I was like, all these fucking faggot ass skiers. I was like, I'm like, a
that's
snowboarder.
Right, I am dangerous.
I was like, I bumped my nose, but like I'm good to go. Like it's no issue. And he's like, dude, I get it, but like you're fired. And he's like, so somebody's a DIA right now, and they're coming up, and they're going to replace you. Like, trust me, everyone gets fired off of a detail at some point.
Oh yeah.
He's like, but you got to call an Uber from Aspen to DIA. Dude, that was like a
2-hour freaking drive.
That was like a $600 Uber.
Oh, guaranteed.
Dude, that's
and
some
I'm
fucked
like,
up shit.
all right. So then I'm just sitting there, like, just licking my wounds, thinking, like,
in the Uber.
Yeah, just busted my nose in front of so and so, and I'm like,
this is what your life came to.
You need to be better. You need to be better, Nick.
I left the Army. This is how I imagined it all going.
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't expect what my days would look like, but it certainly wasn't this. But, dude, it's a wild world, man.
Yep.
It is a wild world. So what are you doing now, Travis?
I work in the corporate world, kind of as my main hustle. My side hustle is video and photo, which, you kind of gave me the intro to. So I owe probably 3/4 of any success I've had to, you and Nick and my dad are the two people that kind of mentored me kind of on my way on this journey. But I wouldn't even known that was an option in life.
It wasn't when you and I were.
It wasn't because I didn't
days.
give a shit about photos.
Well, and the funny part is, especially because the main client that we work for in San Diego has one of, if not the best camera collections in the entire fucking world.
Didn't care two shits about it. I grew up, my dad being a professional photographer on the side, never cared about it. Bought a
that's crazy.
I know, right? So I went to Europe one day or 1 week or a couple weeks, I guess. And I was like, I don't want to take photos with my cell phone camera. So I ran to the exchange, bought a shitty little kit camera, Nikon. Hit Nick up. I was like, hey, man, how do you use this thing? I didn't know how to use it. Went to Europe, took 4,000 shitty photos, most of them out of focus because I didn't know autofocus even existed. So I'm like sitting here trying to do this bullshit because I thought that's how you did it. Like doing the autofocus. My eyes are terrible, so everything turned out like crap. And then that kind of spiraled from there. I had a couple of gigs like right when I got back from guys who were like, hey, man, you have a nice camera. You can come take pictures of us? And I'm like, I think.
I got a Costco camera.
Yeah, and then Nick just freaking threw me under his wing. The second I was into it, Nick's like, hell yeah, man, let me show you how to freaking do this. So Nick truly like pointed this freaking the ship that I have now with my career, pointed that for me. He's like, hey, man, he gave me enough like skills to be like, cool, you're on your own. Now, the fuck out of here.
Enough
like,
knowledge to hang yourself.
No joke. Like I remember getting the point. I remember specifically the one night I was sending him photos. He goes, cool, these are great. I'm not giving you more fucking advice, dude. Like I'm giving you all the shit I can give you. But I spent probably a solid 2 years with Nick just taking photos everywhere. Learn how to use the camera. Learn the business of photography and videography. And my dad as well. Kind of learned some stuff from him. But as far as my career, if you will, with the photo and video, like Nick was like my number one supporter, but also my number one mentor. Like this. To this day, I send him shit sometimes. Really, if I need something really like if I need like an honest opinion on, I get a little ahead of myself. I'm like, this is pretty fucking badass. Let me send it to Nick because Nick will give me the freaking, it's cool. Fix this. Yeah, no shit. Nick. He'll be like, that's dog shit. What are you? Don't ever send that to me again. I'm like, okay, I'll fix it. But like Nick's truly my I don't know, man. He keeps me honest with shit. So
I love it, dude, and appreciate it.
Yeah. Like I said, that's kind of my. To get to not to go down a rabbit hole, but like the purpose of like vets get out of the military. I spent a lot of years trying to figure out like what made me feel kind of what gave me like satisfaction in life, what like my purpose was, and I bounced around, never really knew what I wanted to do when I grew up, and once I found photography, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
That's cool.
I do it for free. I'm just freaking, it's crazy to get paid for this shit. Like I wish I'd have known this many years ago, but
you're killing it, dude.
I appreciate it, but
killing it.
But that's like I said, I give the credit to Nick because Nick was the guy who was like, hey man, I know what I'm doing. Let me freaking show you everything I know. And Nick just freaking grabbed me and was just like, dude, I'll show you everything I freaking know. And
well, coming from your background too, that's one of those funny things because I kind of used to be the same shit. I used to spend all my money on making my car go faster, right. Buying guns, shit like that. Now I got fucking $75,000 worth of fucking camera shit that I still don't know how to operate. Even during this, we had a fucking glitch and shit turning off, and you're like, you want to take a fucking sledgehammer to half of it, and you're like, you fucking piece of shit.
Yep.
But no, man, where can people find you?
Sunburnstudios.inc, I think, or LLC. I think I switched it on my Instagram. I do most of my stuff through Instagram, so it'd be sunburnstudios_LLC. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to take credit for that. I mean, I had a lot of people kind of pouring into me to kind of get that kind of off the ground. But I give the credit to other people on that. So
there was a time to where I was doing exactly what Travis was doing, and then I just kind of got burned out for whatever reason, and I took a marketing director role over at another company, and like I literally feel like it was just kind of this like swap between like Travis and I, as far as like where he's at, the clients that he has, because he has a very large list of clients within the military like complex, and is just continuously fucking killing it, and like now getting into video. And dude, it's so sick to see. And every time that like we hang out, dude, like it's always just like it's like we haven't seen each other for 10 years, even if it was like yesterday, but like always it picks up in the same place.
It's like, dude, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? So it's a lot of like swapping stories on kind of where we're at with things.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
You know what I like, Nick, dude, is, you know, you've been my friend for a long time, but like you never hesitate to just share your secrets with me, right? Like it's weird because you're like in this weird space where technically we're competing, but Nick and I don't see people as competitors. Like there's enough space for all of us, and that's how I treat kind of other guys coming up, reach out to me for stuff, just because Nick and some other guys treated me that way. They're like, hey man, I'll show you everything I know to help you be successful and then fly, man. Like if I can help you along the way, let me know. And like truly, like Nick's been such a huge part of any success I have had in this world. And you know, that's the one thing like that I've found kind of purpose that's in life is with this. And you know, Nick kind of freaking helped me spread my wings on that, man. So I appreciate that, dude.
I can't wait till it's full time for you.
Yeah. Someday we'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Sweet.
Real quick, I just want to say congratulations on your guys' success with this show. This has been crazy to watch how like fast you guys have made this thing happen. Thank you for having me on, but I'm proud to have sat where other buttholes have sat also. I feel like did Eddie Gallagher sit here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Our buttholes have been in the same spot, dude. It's crazy. Like this is wild. But,
Everybody sat
this
there.
is crazy. But yeah, congratulations on your guys' success, man. I'm humbled and proud to have just been like a tiny little blip in this, dude. So thank you guys.
We're still new to it, but thanks for coming on.
yeah,
It's a lot
man.
of
You
fun.
guys are killing. I appreciate you.
Still learning.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
Yeah.